jump right in. We're going to have the guests introduce themselves. So please tell us your name, age, location, and occupation. Go ahead.
My name is Karina, and I'm turning 28 next month. I am currently, I'm going to be a law student in August, so.
Are you currently a student right now?
I am currently waiting for school to start.
Okay.
I work at a firm.
But so you're like a paralegal, or you have your undergrad in something?
I have my undergrad in psychology, and I'm a law clerk.
Okay, very cool. What about you?
Hi, I'm Larissa. I'm 21. I live here in IV, and I just graduated from UCSB. So I'm actually going to start my new job as a behavioral interventionist and trauma caregiver.
And what was your major at UCSB?
Sociology.
Sociology. Okay, Soch. All right. What about you?
Hi, I'm Caitlin. I'm 20, and I go to UCR, and I'm a student.
UC Riverside?
Yeah.
Okay. What are you studying?
Media.
Media. Just media?
Or media and cultural
media studies? Okay. And cultural studies. Is one a minor? Or it's like this? That's the program?
One major, media and cultural studies.
And you're originally from Riverside?
Fullerton.
Okay, got it. What about you?
I'm Amy. I'll be 48 at the end of the year, and I'm a pilot and have been a bit of a gold digger.
You've been, like past tense or?
On and off.
Current. Okay, been a bit of a gold digger. You also, hold on, I had some notes here. In addition to that, hold on, you're also pilot.
Correct.
Model. You said model. And what's the other thing that you do? High end.
I've dated wealthy men.
Okay.
Who've provided for me.
But you're also a high-end companion. Do I have that?
Yeah, I've dated wealthy men who've provided for me.
Okay, got it. All right. And when you say pilot, is this a commercial license?
I'm commercially licensed. I've flown cargo and charter, and I've been a flight instructor.
Okay, wow. All right, cool. What about you?
I'm Shy. I'm 19, and I'm also from the Gold Coast.
All right. And are you in school or anything like that?
No.
What do you do for work?
OnlyFans.
Okay. How long you been doing that for?
6 months.
6 months. All right. And any school at all, like college? What do they call it? Uni?
Yeah, but I was doing my Cert 3 for beauty, but then I kind of just ditched that and became an OnlyFans.
For beauty. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Like cosmetics or?
Yeah.
Okay, got it. What about you?
Hi, my name is Serena. I am 21, and I just recently graduated from UCR. And this fall, I will be attending SF State to get my master's.
And what did you do for your undergrad?
Biology.
Biology. And what are you going for your master's? What do you?
Biomedical science with a concentration in biotechnology.
Are you wanting to be a doctor or?
I just want to go into research.
Research, okay. Yeah. What about you?
I'm Imogen. I'm 18 and I'm from Australia, Gold Coast.
All right. And what do you do for work?
OnlyFans.
Okay. What about you?
Hi, I'm Leah. I'm 26. I'm from North Carolina, and I do marketing.
All right. Welcome.
Hi, I'm Heather. I'm 35, currently a stay-at-home wife. I was a corporate director of food safety and quality assurance for a very large food manufacturer, and I will be a law student in August.
Okay. And Charlie, what about you?
Hi, I'm Charlie. I'm Erica's husband and father of two. We just had a new baby. So we have two under two. So, and yeah, it's book promo week. That's the only reason I was able to get away.
There we go.
It's one of my first trips since we've had the new little one.
Gotcha. Age?
Of the baby? Or of me?
Both.
1 month. I'm 30 years old. Yeah.
All right, 30. Got it. And you're also the founder of
a small little thing called Turning Point.
Turning Point.
And, podcast, radio, and all sorts of fun stuff. Yeah.
All right, rock and roll. Welcome everybody. So we're going to go around the table once more. What's everybody's current relationship status? So are you single, talking stage, situationship, friends with benefits, relationship, married, harem, polycule? There's all kinds of. It's 2024. All kinds of arrangements. If you're single, how long have you been single? And what's the longest relationship you've ever been in? Starting with you, go ahead.
I would say I'm off the market. I've been dating somebody for a few years now.
All right, so we'll say relationship?
Sure. Yes.
But you said off the market, so okay, but you said like 2 or 3 years?
2 years, yeah.
2 years. Are you guys boyfriend, girlfriend, or is there no title?
There's not. I don't like the titles before marriage, but...
Is it exclusive, like monogamous?
It's exclusive monogamy,
okay.
yeah.
We'll just say 2 years. Longest relationship?
I think like 3.5, 4 years maybe.
All right.
Yeah.
What about you?
I'm single. I've been single since 2023, and my longest relationship is like 2-ish years.
Like the beginning of 2023 or like the end of 2023? You've been single?
Like April-ish,
So about a year.
Yeah.
You've been single. And sorry, longest relationship?
2-ish years.
2. All right. What about you?
I'm in a relationship about 3 years.
3 years. Okay. And where did you guys meet?
UCR.
UCR. Okay. And is he like also? Are you going into your senior year at UCR?
Yeah.
Is he also going into his senior? Okay. Are you guys both in the like? Are you guys in sororities?
Yeah.
Yeah. Same one. Is that how you guys know each other?
Yeah.
Okay. Is he a frat guy or?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you meet at a frat party or something like that or?
He just reached out to me on Instagram.
Oh, he slid in the DMs. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Did you guys didn't have like a class together or anything? You just
No.
same
No
dorm,
class.
anything like that?
No.
Okay. You went same school, slid into the DMs. It worked. Okay, cool.
Worked.
And is this your longest relationship
This is
that
my
you've
only
had?
relationship.
Only relationship. All right. What about you?
I date 2 people casually. I've
Okay.
been seeing both of them for 18 years, and they are my longest relationships.
Okay, so I've never had to write that down. Dating 2 for 18 years. All right. Have you ever been married?
No, engaged, never married.
Engaged. How many proposals? Any proposals?
Many.
Many proposals. No acceptance of the proposals. They just didn't meet the. Or do you not want to get married?
I'd like to get the last round of the draft picked. That's what I'm waiting for. Just the very last
the
round.
last
Rock Purdy.
Yeah.
Okay. And so these 2 men that you've been dating, both for 18 years, do they know about each other?
Yeah.
And are they dating other women?
Not that I know of,
Not
but
that you know of.
they can.
They can. Okay. And so you said you've been casually dating them for 18 years?
Yeah, we don't live together. We have no plans for marriage. That's all I mean by that.
Do they live in different parts of the country? So you'll like fly out. How often would you
Correct.
say you see each of them?
Every other week or so, when I feel like it.
And they fly you out, or did you have something?
No.
Oh, okay.
Just
All of
Listen,
I'm
taking
learning.
it
I'm
in.
learning.
He's taking it in.
Yeah.
Yeah, we meet wherever we feel like it.
Okay.
The world's small. Everywhere's got airports.
Sure.
No big deal.
All right. And how did you meet those guys?
Internet.
Okay. All right. And in this 18-year period, did you ever have like a third person you were dating? Like you'll date a guy here, a guy there?
So, someone I met in 2017, I thought I'd probably cash it in and end up with that maybe permanently.
Sorry, cash it in?
Trade in everything else, my freedom,
okay.
other opportunity, whatever,
see.
and
Yeah.
pick this person. And that
Yeah.
failed after a few very romantic
Okay.
years. So that was about 5 years, maybe 6.
Sure.
I'd have to go back and look.
And the 2 men that you're dating
We
currently?
didn't. We hung it up for those years.
Okay. But the 2 men that you have been dating for the past 18 years, you mentioned that was it not professional gold digger? Or what was it?
You can say that. I don't mind.
Okay. Did you gold dig them?
I mean,
The-
they're wealthy.
Yeah.
That's my type. That's the sort I
Okay.
like.
What is the procedure for gold digging?
I don't.
Like, what's the process? Walk me through.
I only know my life.
Yeah.
So I can't speak for
But
everyone
maybe
else.
they get you nice gifts. They fly you out.
Sure.
She flies herself.
I mean, that
Pilot.
takes a long time in little planes, so not usually. I like to be in back and let the pilots
Do
work.
do you own a private plane or anything?
Can we next?
Okay. That'd be you could try to gold dig a plane, right? That's like that would be a good put it on the resume.
I'm fine for
I got a plane.
transportation.
Somebody bought me a plane. That's a W, right? Okay. What about you?
I've been single for 2 years.
All right. 2 years. Longest relationship? Any relationships?
Yeah, 1 year.
1 year. Okay. All right. And that was in Australia, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was he? I've heard this term bogan. Was he a bogan?
Yeah, I
Okay.
could say that.
Can you explain, just for the viewers in the panel who might not know, what a bogan is?
It's just like their lingo. It's just like how they speak and like what they do, like walk around in thongs all the time and like shorts and like
Sandals.
yeah,
The thongs. That's Australian for sandals.
yeah, and like singlets. Just like
Singlets.
yeah, like just like
Like
that
wrestling
Speedos?
singlets? Like they
Yeah.
just
Super fun.
they
yeah.
just pin somebody or text them or something. Okay. Okay. What about you?
I've been single for like a month or two.
Oh, how long were you? Sorry about that. How long were you dating that guy?
3 years.
Oh, rip. Frat guy? Was it a frat guy?
Yeah, but I knew him before he joined a frat.
Okay. So you said single for 1 month
Yeah, about.
or so, and was that your longest relationship?
Yeah.
3 years. Okay. Why did you guys break up?
It just didn't work out.
Didn't work out.
Yeah.
Who broke up with who?
I guess you could say he broke up with me, but
Yeah. What did you do? What
Oh, I
did
di-
you do to him?
I didn't. I didn't necessarily do anything. It was just more the fact that
Did you
like.
slash his tires?
No, I'm not crazy. I swear. But we broke up because of like cultural differences.
Oh.
Yeah.
Was he like?
He was Arab. Yeah.
So what were the differences that were sticking points in the relationship?
Like culturally, like if we were to get married, it wouldn't work out. Like I would have to convert to Islam.
Are you religious at all, or
Not really.
not really? But you didn't want to convert, basically.
No.
Yeah. Okay. And you dated him for 3 years?
Yeah.
Was this like something that came along later on in the relationship,
I
or was
mean-
he always kind of like?
We talked about it, but like we never like really talked about it until recently.
Is there a doubt? Would there have been a dowry? Is that part of? I don't know how it works.
What do you mean?
The dowry. Like you would pay. I think you or like your family would pay. Was it a bride price or something? I don't know. I don't know how it works.
That's very serious Islam. I don't think that would.
No. In any case, cultural differences. Okay. And so you guys split up. You've been single for 1 month. Any rebounds?
No, focusing on myself.
Like SIG-Ep? Any guys from SIG-Ep?
No.
No SIG-Ep
No
rebounds?
SIG-Up rebounds.
Pike? Did you guys have a pike? A
No.
Pike? Charlie, were you in a
We had
fraternity?
pikes.
I didn't go to college.
Oh, that's right.
I didn't go to college.
Okay.
Sitting closer to the mic.
Yeah. Okay, so no rebound then. Okay.
Yeah, no.
But are you kind of taking a break? Or you're looking for a new boo?
No, definitely not.
Definitely not. Okay. What about you?
I've been single for like a year and a bit.
1 year. Okay.
Yeah.
And any relationships? Have you had a
Oh
relationship?
yeah. For like 5 months, but we broke up like a year and a bit ago.
Okay. Was he also a?
Yeah,
Okay.
he was like an eshe.
I don't. What is that?
What is
Oh,
that?
like he wears like TNs and like he has like tattoos everywhere and like he's got like a rat's tail.
A rat tail.
Yeah, like a ratty. It's like a little plait. Back of
A
your head.
ratty. Is that
Yeah.
what they're called? Ratties. Okay.
And yeah, he was a bit of a bogan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you define bogan?
Like
It's kinda
just
like redneck, right?
Kind of like really Aussie. Like
Really Aussie.
Aussie. Like I don't really know how to like define it, but kind of just like Aussie and like you're just like yeah.
Like. Just,
I don't really know how to define it.
okay. All right.
Yeah, just like a really like big Aussie.
Big Aussie.
Yeah.
He was overweight.
Oh no no.
Oh, okay. So sorry.
No, like a big Aussie, as in like he was really really Aussie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right. What about you?
I'm single, have been for a year and a couple months. My longest relationship consecutively was a few months, like maybe 3 months, but it was kind of on and off for 4 years.
And is that the one that ended about a year ago?
No.
Okay. So, but your longest relationship was a few months, but it was on again, off again for a couple years?
Yeah.
Okay. How many times on and off? Or off and on, rather?
Oh God, dozens, if not
Dozens.
hundreds.
Wait, hundreds?
Yeah. He was real into drugs.
That would do it.
Yeah.
That would do it. What was his drug of choice?
Meth.
Did you partake?
No.
Oh, okay, not you, but he. Wait, so you said you on and off hundreds of times. How early on into this multi-year-long off again, on again relationship did you find out he was on meth? Like the first time you guys broke up?
No, so I
Okay.
met him in middle school, and then it was kind of like a talking stage kind of thing for a couple years, and we started dating, and then it was on and off again, and probably about 3 years in is when he was like, oh yeah, I tried meth, and I was like, oh, okay, and he assured me that he was not going to do it again, and he did not like it. And then we got back together, and about 2 years later, he was like, yeah, no, I saw my body under the pier for meth. And I was like, oh, okay.
Wait,
I'm out.
what about his body?
He would prostitute himself for meth.
Oh, that's horrible.
What? Hold on.
Yeah.
I hate that for us.
To
How
men?
old
Like
was
he would
he?
to men?
To men.
And you
yeah.
were dating him during this time?
Yeah. It was not a good moment.
I think you win the whatever podcast. That's pretty
Sorry.
wild. No need to apologize. Okay.
Is he okay now?
Oh, I don't really know. The last time I talked to him, it was like a year ago when I bought my house, and he was like, oh, congrats on life. And I was like, good to know you're alive, dude. So, yeah.
Huh. Okay, so off again, on again, hundreds of times. All right, we'll come back to that a little. I'll just write down meth. Okay. What about you? That'll remind me. Go ahead. What about you?
I am married, and my longest relationship was about 12 years.
Is that your current?
That was my ex-husband.
So this is your second marriage?
Correct.
Okay, and you have kids?
We do not.
How long have you been married?
April 5th, so a couple months.
And how long were you dating before?
About a year and a half or 2 years.
So you've been together for about 2 years then?
Yes.
Okay, 2 years. And no kids at all?
No kids.
No
Neither
kids.
one of
Do
us.
you want kids?
No.
No kid. Don't want kids. Okay.
Do not like kids. Cannot have kids.
Don't like. Oh, can't have kids.
Correct. I had some medical issues
Okay.
about 5 years ago and got everything taken out.
Oh, like a hysterectomy? Oh, okay. Sorry to hear that. All right. And well, before that though, were you inclined to have kids, or still not so much?
I've never really had the maternal instinct. I've always been very career and school driven.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. And your previous marriage, that was the one that was 12 years, correct?
Yeah, we were married for 8 of those.
And put together for 12. Okay. All right. And Charlie, I think you kind of went over it a little bit.
Kind of hit the top points.
So married for
Married.
How long?
We've been married. We got married in May of 21. So that is 3 years.
And then together, how long total?
5.5 years. Yeah.
All right, got it.
And two kids under 2.
2 kids. Congrats. Boy, girl, or?
Yeah, a boy-girl combo.
All right.
Yeah,
Awesome.
girl is older.
How many kids total are you aiming for?
We'll see.
Like a whole battalion?
Yeah,
or
we'll
something?
see. A quiver is supposed to be 5, so we'll see. I
Okay.
don't think we'll get there. but
What's
we'll see.
that? What's that verse about?
It's a
Children
quiver. Are a gift from the Lord.
It's something along
You're
the
supposed
lines
to have
of
a quiver, which is 5. So
There's this verse though, and it's something along the lines of children in a man's youth are like arrows in the hand. Something I'm
no,
totally
it's the
butchering
quiver
it.
verse. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
5-ish, but I don't think we'll get there. But we're super blessed and
Okay,
very happy.
perfect, cool. All right, so that's everybody's relationship status. Charlie, I mean, I'd like to. You heard a couple of the girls' stories here. I don't know if you had any that you
No,
wanted
I'm
to weigh
curious
in on.
about the gold digging thing. Do both men know about each other?
They do.
And are they married or are they single?
They're single.
And they're cool with that?
Everybody's different.
No, just tell me more. I'm curious about it.
What would you like to know?
Do they pay you?
Not in so much as actual handing me buckets of cash. That'd be cool though. But yeah, both of them have been very generous. I like things that way.
Okay.
Keeps the schedule freer too, so we can all see each other.
Have they ever met?
No.
And so they're in like different. Or would you mind if they met?
With me, are you talking
Or
about
just-
like biblically or something?
No,
That's
I'm
not my
not
thing.
biblically. No,
Oh.
it's fine. I'm just curious, like if they were ever to like meet each other.
That'd be up. Sure, whatever.
Okay. Interesting.
Nick, if you can change the split back to yeah. Did you have any other
No,
questions?
I'm just.
Okay.
Why not 3? More money, right?
I think everything in moderation, especially moderation. Like,
So 2's moderation.
for me, it's what works. I like my life as it is, so that's what works. If maybe I'll decide differently tomorrow.
No, I'm. It's a brave new world for me. I'm just learning.
Okay. I wanted to ask Charlie, do you have any plans to run for political office?
I do not.
No
God
plans?
forbid. No. I'm very happy the way I am. No, I'm too young actually.
Oh, you have to be 35, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay,
I'm only
sure.
30, so
Okay, maybe,
very
a
happy with the
couple
life we
years.
have right now. So yeah, super blessed.
Not even in the future?
No.
No?
No.
Okay. You don't want it?
No.
Yeah. Okay.
No, I love hosting radio, love doing the podcast, love doing books, traveling the country. So.
Okay, got it. I want to start off the show. We're going to react to a clip. Oh, wait, did I pull it up?
Of mine? Oh, great.
No, not of yours, but I definitely want you to weigh in on it. Excuse me. So, Nick, it's actually in the Dropbox folder. I forgot to put it on one of the tabs. It's, let me get you, I'm going to see if I can just send you the link, but one sec. Actually, just go ahead, pull up the Dropbox folder. My bad, forgot to get this pulled up. It's Dropbox and then the videos tab. Podcast folder. Nope. In there. Podcast. So it's actually right there, the first one, the first video. Wait, no, it's not. It's in this one. Yeah, that one. You should actually just pull it over to the tab.
Do you want to know one of the
mute the audio, please? Okay, can you pull it over, please? You got it?
Yeah.
Were you able to like pull it into one of the tabs?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Oops. Oh, that laptop came out of nowhere. Okay.
Who has that
Can you
want? Do you want to know desire?
Nick. Okay, wow. All right. Nick, can you, okay, at the very bottom there, Windows tutorial. Okay. Okay, and that, all right. Go ahead and start from the beginning, please. All right, we're going to have you guys react to this.
Do you want to know one of the saddest realizations I recently had? Was that as a liberal woman, it is really hard to find a man who is willing to play the more traditional masculine role in the relationship in today's day and age, who is not a conservative. A man who wants to pay on the first date, who wants to open your door, who has that want and desire to take care of you and to provide, who is not a conservative. And obviously, as a liberal woman, I do want to be respected for my independence. And I do want to have my own autonomy in the relationship and not be confined or conform to the traditional female homemaker, childbearing role. And most of the men that I've dated who do have that more natural provider masculinity about them are normally conservative. So I don't really know what to do because I don't want to compromise my morals and values just to find a man. But am I asking to have my cake and eat it too?
All right. So we're going to get the girls' reactions, just going around the table. So what are your thoughts on the clip? And do you think that liberal women deserve chivalrous treatment? Starting with you, go ahead.
My question is liberal the same as progressive? For the most part?
They're largely synonymous.
They're pretty much synonymous,
they're
right?
cousins. They're not exactly the same.
I think because of that, it'll be hard for her to find somebody who's, who has anti-liberal morals while still being progressive at the same time. With that being said, I think she is also grouping morals into just like political values, which is kind of dumb. I think she can find a guy who's morally in the right place with his head and still doesn't mind that, she goes to work. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your thoughts?
I actually agree with everything you just said because I feel like that's the only type of guys I date. Like every guy I've dated fits under that, so it's not that rare.
Wait, every guy you've dated fits under what?
What the type of guy that she described she's looking for.
So like liberal, feminist, progressive.
I don't date conservative men that are like straight up conservative, but I only.
But you still get the traditional treatment.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. What about you?
Oh, I don't really have an opinion.
Do you think men should pay on the first date, everybody?
For the most part, yeah.
Yes.
It shows your role as like you're willing and provider. Like,
Oh, I totally agree.
yeah, any guy who went 50-50 with me is like.
So what do you think of
Probably
the
not
feminist
dating me.
movement that says women should go 50-50? What do you guys think of that? On dates in general.
I'm totally down for that, and then we're friends for life. we're not dating if we're going 50-50. I go 50-50 with my guy friends, personally.
Well, so we'll go around the table. Who should pay on the first date? Can you tilt the microphone down just a tad?
If it's an actual date, it's the man.
A little more? Yeah. Okay, what about you?
The man.
The man?
I think it depends on who asked the person on the date. So like if I asked my boyfriend on a date.
Well, so first date.
Oh.
This is for first date.
Or even your boyfriend? You would pay with your boyfriend? Wow.
Or like Like, say if I initiated the first date, then I feel like I should pay.
Okay. Well, with your boyfriend, when you guys go on dates, you've been dating for 3 years. Do you guys kind of, is it 50-50 or how's it with your boyfriend?
I mean, he like usually initiates to pay, but I try to pay and help. Like, not
What do you
just
mean
like,
you try?
Or like, cause he doesn't let me. So.
Okay, so like overwhelmingly for like dates and stuff, he'll pay.
Yeah.
Okay, and then before you met him, if you were going on first dates, what was your experience there?
He'll usually pay.
The guy will pay. Because you said whoever asked should pay. For first dates, have you ever asked a guy out?
No.
Interesting. Okay. What about you? Who should pay on a first date?
So she's correct. That's the typical etiquette rule: is whoever asked is the payer.
Uh-huh.
For me in my romantic life, I like generous men, as we've talked about ad nauseum. So I would not be attracted to a guy who wanted me to pay.
Has it been ad nauseum?
But not yet.
I don't know if it's been ad nauseum yet. Okay. What about you?
I think the guy, but
Yeah.
I honestly don't mind. Like, I wouldn't go 50-50 with the bill. I would rather pay the full amount, or he like pay the full amount. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But
Sure.
yeah.
Yeah, typically I think usually the guy should pay for the first date, but then I feel like after you guys been like dating for a while, then usually like in my past experience, I would take turns. Like if I'm paying for dinner, then he would pay for like dessert.
Well, you were in a relationship for 3 years, right? So was that the case in your 3-year relationship?
Mike Davis donated $300.
Yeah, thank you, Mike
What's
Davis.
up, Kirk? Panel epitomizes modern culture, where a pack of nobody girls can be on the same panel as a man of stature
I
like
don't hold
Kirk.
that view, for the record.
Charlie, you have a lifetime free pass at BK. Keep
Burger
America
King.
great.
He owns like 100.
Does he really?
That's him. Mike Davis. He's a longtime supporter.
Are you serious?
That's Mike Davis. He owns.
I want to meet him. That's cool.
We'll arrange it. He owns like hundreds of Burger King.
He could be nicer, but I would like to meet him.
Yeah, he's a little sassy. He's a little sassy. But thank you, Mike Davis.
He could be a sweeter person.
Wait, so going back to you with your relationship, what was the dynamic there?
Definitely when we first started dating, he would pay for a lot more because
Okay.
he had like a source of income.
Okay.
And then the longer that like we started dating, it definitely went more 50-50. But
Sure.
also it kind of depended, like if I wanted to go somewhere more expensive, but he like didn't want to eat there, then I would pay because I
Okay.
want to go there.
What about you?
I'm like 50-50, like it doesn't really matter. But like on first date, I feel like it would be good if a guy could pay just for like a good impression, like gentlemen. But when it comes to like further down the track, like it doesn't really matter.
All right.
I think it should be 50-50 regardless of who asked.
Okay. What about you?
I think the guy should pay. I think it shows that they have more of a provider mindset.
All right. I do want to get some follow-up a little bit on the clip. We'll come back to it momentarily. Charlie, who should pay
Yes,
on
the men should
first?
always pay regardless of what date it is. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, no matter. Men should always pay. No questions asked. Even if you have to go into debt, borrow money, it's a complete humiliation or embarrassment to have a woman pay for a date.
All right. There you go.
Do you agree?
Absolutely.
We agree. Yes,
Yes, sir. Yes,
it's
sir.
I think it's the downfall of a lot of things in society where we're asking women to pay for meals. You should look yourself in the mirror and figure it out. And if you want to court a woman, regardless if she, by the way, women shouldn't be asking men on dates. I mean, not that there's anything wrong with it, but I'm saying like men should be the assertive driving force in that. But sometimes it happens the other way.
Okay.
But
And sort of a follow-up question on some of your guys' answers. Going around the table, do you consider yourself a feminist? Starting with you, go ahead.
I feel like that word has been so misconstrued. For example, like feminism has given rights to even like men who have had SA in the past and they're able to speak up on it now, or
Feminism.
feminism.
same-sex sexual. Oh, okay, I got it.
Yeah.
We just for
Yeah.
YouTube.
I got it. No, I'm just trying to keep
Yeah.
up with the lingo.
Yeah, so men who have experienced that, women at one point weren't able to visit the hospital without their husband, and now it's given patient privacy in the sense that it's
Wait,
like-
hold on. Women were not allowed to get
Visit-
health care from a hospital.
without their
So if they had their
male
like,
counterpart
they
present
had like
or
a
father.
limb chopped off back in the farming days or something.
I'm sure they had
couldn't
emergencies.
Go to a hospital.
I'm sure they had emergency, but like in terms of checkups.
This is a new feminist talking point I've heard, that women were barred from getting treated by a doctor in a hospital.
Without a man, yeah. So
I
think it's called patient privacy
I think you just kind
rights.
of manifested this out of nowhere.
Oh no, I like searched it
Never.
up before I got here.
Women
so
were
I'm just trying
barred
to do
from
my-
getting medical care.
Yes.
That's a new feminist talking
Yes.
point. Okay.
However, let me finish.
Go ahead.
Just that one point. I don't believe in a lot of modern feminist ideals. I don't think men are worse than women. I don't think women are better than men. All
Sure.
that stuff.
So do you consider yourself a feminist?
I honestly, at this point in time, no.
Okay. What about you?
As a nice, easy answer, yes.
Okay.
I think I'm just neutral on that topic.
Well, you got to, okay, you kind of didn't want to react to the clip there. You're neutral. Okay, let me ask you a question to perhaps help things along. Do you believe in a patriarchy? That there is a patriarchy? Into the mic if you can.
Oh, I don't know.
You don't know? Did you take any like feminist studies or sociology classes in university?
No.
Okay.
Do you think men run America?
No.
Okay.
Do you, I don't know.
I mean,
trying
I
to
guess there's
frame-
more like men like in positions. I guess there's more men like in position.
Okay, and do you think that's a problem? Do you think there should be a movement towards egalitarian?
Equalizing it, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it could go both ways. Like, if a woman wants to step up, then
Sure.
yeah.
It's a bit of a non-answer, but so do you think there ought to be a movement towards egalitarianism and equality in all realms? And do you think the current social order, at least through the feminist standpoint of there's this patriarchy, do you think we ought to dismantle a patriarchy, if there is one?
I mean, I think in the end, like, it could be equal, but I don't know.
Okay. What about you?
So can we define what you're using the word feminist? My understanding was that women should have equal access to rights and pursuit of happiness, sort of thing. But I could be wrong on my definition.
Oh yeah, there's different.
There's second and third wave feminism.
Yeah, there's different.
First, second, and third wave. I can define it if you want.
Yeah,
okay.
absolutely. That'd be
Thank
awesome.
you.
Yeah, so first wave feminism would be like the Equal Rights Amendment. No, going back before that, universal suffrage, that women should be able to vote. Second wave feminism was like Gloria Steinman, where she wrote The Feminist Mystique, where she was rather nasty in her writing, saying that women are in a prison cell called the home and barefoot and pregnant. But that led to a lot of women in the workforce and a lot of career advancement for women, for positive or negative. Third wave feminism is that any inequity that we see between men or women is inherently wrong. So that, for example, if you have modeling, women should not earn more than men, and men should not earn more than women. That if there's any inequity, third wave feminism is very much as I forgot your name. I'm sorry. Karina, you said it's rooted in a hatred of men more than the advancement of women. That's third wave feminism. Second wave feminism is more of a critique that child rearing, nuclear family development, those things are largely negative, and that women should be allowed to be liberated beyond that. I'm generalizing, but that's first, second, and third wave feminism. So first wave feminism goes back to the passing of universal suffrage and all that. So I hope that's helpful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks. I didn't know the history well enough. Hating men is wrong and stupid. We need them. Even if you don't like them, we need them. So that's weird. And then I think it's a shame if anybody. I'd like a world where people can do what they want, and that's a shame if that people have been told that being a stay-at-home mother, all these other things, having children, is lesser than, because it's not. It's just different, and it's not lesser than. So I believe that's wrong too. So I guess it'd be a no.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Can I ask you a question? Do you guys think that women, if we were to get into a war, should be enlisted in the draft?
No.
Does anybody think you should? Because this is currently being debated in front of in the House, Congress right now, the Senate. Senate Democrats are pushing to say that men and women, if we were to get into a time of a draft, which we had back during Vietnam, both should be drafted into war. Does anyone think that should happen?
That's how the Israeli army operates.
It's true.
right?
Both
But
men
they
and women,
don't
yeah. That's
necessarily
right.
put them at the front lines.
Well, I think Charlie was speaking about the United States.
I know.
but no,
yeah,
you're right.
I'm just
The
kind of
IDF
comparing.
does have it. That's
yeah,
right.
I'm comparing two together. I wouldn't want to personally.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
How about any war, no war?
No war.
No.
I can get back to you.
Yeah.
Why are you torn?
I mean, are they going to pass the same physical standards? Because then there'll just be
No.
fewer of them
No,
because of
they're
virtue of
accommodated.
sexual dimorphism.
They're accommodated for female fitness standards.
When military activity requires less physical strength and is more sort of hacking and flying drones from a building, perhaps women's military service could be.
But does anyone think that women should be sheltered from the horrors of war and men should lead into the nastiest, ugliest things for society on behalf of society?
Think about it.
It's a big question. It's actively being debated right now. And the reason I ask is because feminism, if it's implemented at its core premise, is they want equal outcomes, but then also equal treatment, which is that if we go to war, women have to go storm Normandy Beach next time too, not just men. Anybody?
I want you guys to answer that question, but let's actually get the answer to, are you a feminist?
I think so.
Okay. Did you answer this? Yes or no? We can just get a yes or no.
Yeah.
I don't know if you answered it. No, not a feminist.
You're not a feminist.
Yes.
Yes. A little louder, please.
Yes.
Yeah.
No.
I am not a feminist.
Not a feminist. Charlie, feminist?
Whatever the opposite is, that's what I am. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I love women, and I think women have a beautiful place to play in society, but especially third-wave feminism is a toxin on society. And I think also the degradation of stay-at-home motherhood has been really, really dangerous and destructive for our society. It should be celebrated as an option for women.
Sure. And back to Charlie's question, so going around the table, so this is something that's currently being contemplated. I think, so my understanding is they're also, instead of men having to register for the selective service, they're just automatically
So that's right. Everyone automatically gets enrolled, male or female.
male and
included.
female.
Yeah.
And it passed the House, but it goes to the...
Well, they're debating it in the Senate Armed Services Committee, and it very well might pass.
Okay.
Which is I'm just curious what young ladies think of the perspective of maybe having to go into the military.
Yeah. So the
at
question,
a time of war.
Yeah. So the question is, do you think women ought to be drafted or required
or
to...
protected from the draft,
Yeah.
which would be my position.
A lot of conflict going on. So do you think women ought to be subject to forced military conscription, aka the draft, aka the selective service? We'll just go around the table. What about you?
I wouldn't
Can
say.
you straighten your mic a little bit?
Sure. I wouldn't say that they should.
Perfect.
However, perhaps they have to have a more concrete role in their place either at home or if they choose to serve the country, to do it in a way where it's not at the front lines.
Can I interrupt? But the front lines argument, I think, is a little bit disingenuous because a drone operator is not the front lines, but you could kill more people as a drone operator than being on. So the question is, should we shield women from the ugliest frontline massacre situations that we can imagine?
I would say to reach optimal results, if we're speaking on war, then yes.
Okay.
Yes, women should be drafted?
Yes, we should shield women from the draft.
But I want you also to think, sorry to interrupt,
Go ahead.
beyond results too. Do we have a moral obligation to protect women from bullets, missiles, and artillery shells? It's an interesting question.
I mean, I
Not
think
the missiles. The other stuff I'm fine with, but the missiles, I think they can get the missiles. Go ahead.
I don't think women should be drafted because at the end of the day, it wouldn't really help the war in any much way. Like you said, the drone.
Whoa, that's a really sexist statement of you
No,
to make.
because like I'm making frontline physical, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas if you're saying, oh, should they have a place in the war? Yeah, I feel like if a woman wants to be able to be in the war,
We're
yeah.
talking about force though, right?
Yeah, no force. But if a woman, I feel like they definitely have a role in the war. They're a good, smart, intelligent woman can definitely advance the war for our side. But you shouldn't just draft any and every woman in the terms of equality, you know?
Wait, you shouldn't, in terms of... Wouldn't that not be equality then?
Yeah, it wouldn't be equality in terms of a war, but I'm okay with that.
But didn't you say you were a feminist?
Yeah, I said as an easy answer, I'm a feminist. But like he said,
with
there's so
terms
many...
and conditions.
Nuance, right?
Yeah, there's so many nuances and so many things with feminism where I don't agree with everything he... Like if he says, are you that type of feminist that he just described? No, of course not.
Wait, the type of feminist that's for actual equality?
Like the third wave, you mean?
Yeah, I'm not third wave or even second wave to its full extent.
Well,
I'm not,
what about the feminists that in pursuit of equality want women to be drafted? Which is very few, I think, to be honest.
yeah.
It's mostly men that are actually pushing for it in
Yeah,
the Democrat
exactly.
Party.
I don't think many women want that either.
Yeah.
Okay.
And by the way, just sorry to interrupt.
Yeah,
I don't mean to
absolutely.
interrupt.
No, go ahead.
The women of America are largely silent on this. And for as much people hate Donald Trump, he was the one that said women will never be drafted. But I'm curious if we want to.
Yeah, well, just going around the table, do you think women should be subject to military conscription? That's the original.
I think if they have like like attributes that will proceed, then I think they should. But if it's
Well, it would
not
just be a
gonna-
blanket general draft. So like you're 20, correct?
You're eligible.
You would be eligible for the draft.
Yeah, like if I wanted to, then
Not if you wanted to.
oh, like being forced.
That's what
forced.
happened in Vietnam or World War II. Every person, every able-bodied person. How would you feel about going to war?
I mean, like I wouldn't want to.
Like if we go to
but-
war with Kazakhstan tomorrow, you're there. You're in Kazakhstan.
Yo,
Are you?
I'm Uzbeki.
Oh, okay. Wait, is there
Neighbors.
conflict?
No, it's just funny.
Oh, okay,
It was
alright.
so random.
I don't know. I didn't want to. Anyways.
Yeah, that was pretty politically neutral, I guess.
Sorry, what was that, Nick? You wanted to pull something up? But so, yes in favor of the draft for women or no, not in favor?
I just think if everyone does go to war, then like everyone goes to war.
Okay. What about you?
I look at it from a biological standpoint. Like, if you think about animal husbandry, after war, you tend to need to repopulate, right? You have a lot of death.
Yeah.
So sperm is abundant. Uterus is busy for about a year, a little less, right? So when you do animal husbandry, you tend to need more females than a male. Oddly, we have a 50-50 sex ratio. I don't think anybody really understands why, because it probably shouldn't be. But that said, I think losing uteruses to war death is probably long-term more damaging from a society. So even if you hate men like men, hate women, love women, you probably don't want to sacrifice the uterus people when you're going to need
The
them.
uterus people.
The women, right? Because
Yeah.
you're going to need them to repopulate. So I would not like a female draft.
Well, let's assume like the draft, you know, on a micro level, I think that argument makes sense. But on the macro level, what's 50,000? You know? It's not going to.
And you're a pilot. You'd be frontline bombing.
Yeah.
Just dropping them from
But
above.
let me ask you: would you feel as if it's consistent with your nature to get in a plane and drop bombs?
No, I would not enjoy that. If I was drafted and it was my service, I would do it because I love my country. But I would prefer not to.
Well, there's been an attack.
They
on the
had
whatever
female pilots. You know about the
podcast.
night witches in
Oh, yeah,
Russia?
no, there's-
We've done it when we've had to. When we
Incredibly
as humanity
qualified,
have
but these are largely volunteer. Well, the Russian is not as much, but they have exemptions for their draft.
What do you think on this?
I think it's up to the individual themselves.
No, but okay. So the question is like this would be something that's forced. So okay, so currently I know you're from Australia, but I suspect there's probably a military draft or conscription in Australia where they have to register. The men have to register anyways. So in the United States, I assume it's the same in Australia. Men have to register for something called the selective service, which in wartime, if the government opted to, they couldn't find enough soldiers, they could force males to join the war effort, become soldiers. That's strictly men currently, but Congress, the government, they're contemplating making it both men and women. So do you think women should also be subject to potential forced military conscription, aka the draft?
No.
Okay, what about you?
Yeah, no. I personally would not want to go to war.
But okay, so that's not the question. You personally wouldn't want to go to war, right?
Yeah.
But speaking in generalities here,
Yeah.
it would, because you're 21, so you would potentially be subject to draft.
Yeah. No.
So women should not. Okay.
I don't really have like an opinion on it. Like, I feel like if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
I'm sorry, you guys are giving the most non-answer answers to this question, but if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
Like,
Okay.
it is what it is.
Early.
I don't know what that means, but
I've read in.
okay. All right. What about you?
Yeah.
For the sake of everything being 50-50, then yeah, sure, go
Okay.
for it.
What do you think over here?
I don't think women should be drafted. I mean, I know women aren't necessarily frail, but I know we are a lot weaker than men, especially of same size and stature. I mean, they could beat us at any point in time, unless like we have a gun.
Sure.
Granted, I know in war we probably would. And then I think just the emotional trauma of like seeing somebody killed. It's females are more emotional than guys are generally, and that would be a lot harder for us to get over.
So, and then I would imagine no one has a problem if the war got really crazy for men being drafted, right?
I mean, just historically,
Right.
men have been the ones who've always been
So
drafted.
then, for those of you that said you were feminists, do you see any inconsistency between saying that you want equality, but you're cool with sending men to run into machine guns to protect your society? Does anyone wrestle with that?
How do you reconcile that? Yeah.
I didn't say I was a feminist.
No, I know,
This
but
is
some
definitely
did.
mental
There's a couple
gymnastics,
feminists
right?
at the
No, but
table.
what I'm
Couple
getting at,
feminists.
though, is that it's easy, and I know that you have all been so polite, but let's just dive right into it. It's easy at times to bash the patriarchy. Taylor Swift just today was one of her songs, F the patriarchy, and everyone in the concert screams that, right?
Can we Google that, Nick? Yeah.
Well, it's a lyric of one of her songs. It's
Oh,
some
okay.
like name tag that was dropped, but she says it like a rallying cry,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
F the patriarchy. When it comes down to it, it's like you're cool throwing men to the front lines of war, but not yourself.
Why do you think the third wave has happened? Do you think it's revenge? Do you think it's a mind virus? Like,
Well, I think it's
what do you think?
a great question. I think that it is a idea toxin where we have really denigrated having children and staying at home for a lot of women. And some women, that's the right path. For some women, it's not the right path. But for a lot of women, it is the right path. And there needs to be an ideological reason as to why you don't get married and you don't have kids for the vast majority of the population. And they developed feminism, where they said that for young women, becoming a CEO of a shoe company is as fulfilling as having children. And for some people, that is true. But for a lot of people, that's just not true. And you look at the way Gloria Steinem wrote the feminist mystique. It was, I feel as if I'm in an open air prison, being a stay-at-home mom, barefoot and pregnant, basically, being in the kitchen. And it started this whole push, which is where we are the same as men. And that's the problem with third wave feminism, is that it ties with the trans movement, is they don't believe there's any sort of biological differences between men and women, which we all agree is insane, right? That men and women are made completely differently. And yeah, I think it's an intellectual and ideological cancer that needs to be crushed. And I think deep down, most people don't even believe it. And the draft argument actually, I think, really draws that out, where when it comes down to it, most American women are okay sending men to war, which you should be, by the way.
Do you young ladies, like if you feel like you say, I'd like to marry and be a stay-at-home mom and not work, if any of you would say that, I don't know, do you feel like other people would shame you, that you get more social clout by saying something else?
I think it's praised right now to be a stay-at-home mom.
Okay.
At least from my social circles.
Interesting.
Like everybody.
Before
That's,
we
that's a new phenomenon. But yeah.
Before we do move on, I'm not going to
I can
allow.
speak on that,
hold
so.
on. I'm not going to allow you guys to weasel your way out of Charlie's question here. So just show of hands. Who of you guys said you were feminists? I believe you, and then you. Oh, come on! Don't reel it back here. So both of you said you're feminists, but you also said you're not in favor of women being subject to military conscription. It occurs to me that feminism, in the most, I guess, generous definition I could give it, is a movement towards equality. That's not honestly the definition I would give it, but to be charitable, I'll give it that. So how do you...
Davis donated $300. Kirk, I'm a fan, but stop that corporate nice Christian boy facade.
Being too nice.
America is on its last leg, being overrun by illegals and degenerates.
Oh, wow, okay.
A time for being nice and a time for war. Now is time for war.
This is Burger King, guy.
This is Burger King. It's Mike Davis. All right, Mike Davis, thank you, man. Appreciate it.
That's why men should be in war.
Yeah.
A woman would never say that.
Because
It's time for war. I've never uttered that
That's very
phrase in my
astute.
life.
No, that's a very smart point, actually.
And so, back to my question, those of you who consider yourself feminist, how do you reconcile being a feminist, being for equality, but also not being in favor of women being subject to forced military conscription the same way that men are? Go ahead.
Because the feminism isn't just feminism, as in if you're a feminist, you have to agree with every single thought and every single idea that every feminist pushes forward, like the draft, for example.
Well, it's not
so
clear to me if that's a feminist, like specifically a feminist position.
Well, then if I'm not a feminist under your eyes, then that's fine. I just...
Would you acknowledge, though, that that would be a pure equality between men and women?
Yeah. If everyone
So you're not in
got
favor
drafted,
of
that would be-
equality
Yeah.
when it doesn't stand to benefit women?
Yeah, but again, I never pushed for 100% equality within feminism. Not
So
every
you only
feminist
want the
believes
equality
that.
that benefits women?
No, I want the equality that benefits humanity.
Okay, so can I
Like,
can I
as a
interrupt?
society.
No, okay, so if that is, are you guys then okay when you find out that women might earn less in the workforce than men?
Yeah, if it falls under that same
Okay, you're
benefits
consistent,
humanity and society, then yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I think women should be, if the women are doing the same exact job and producing the same exact amount, quantity, and quality of work, I think they should be paid the same.
Yeah.
But generally, that's not the case.
You know, you're right. Yeah, the law, you can't discriminate based on sex, but usually there's a lot of other factors such as where you went to school, what you studied. So yeah, I'm just trying to flush out the consistency or lack thereof here.
Yeah, I don't ever think it's men versus women. It's like masculine complements the feminine. So I think the new wave feminism, if they're talking about, hey, women are better than men, that's like the dumbest thing that you can ever say. I think women complement men, which goes back to your, draft concept.
Well, I'd like to ask you another question here. Do you think women should be barred from volunteering for the military?
No.
Well, that's interesting. They shouldn't be barred from volunteering, but they should be barred from being forced into conscription despite men being forced into potential conscription. I'm a little confused there.
What's confusing about that?
Well, why would you, if you're fine with women volunteering, why would you object to women being forced?
I feel like we made so many points on why women shouldn't be in war. Do I have to go over them again? I can.
Did you make points? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I did actually. Like, for example, a woman being sent out to war. Well, actually, let's use her example. That was one of the best ones. If we send half women, half men to war, and we lose an incredible amount of population, what would it be of the country and our workforce? Like
well,
she said, women are the ones that are able to have one child at a time. Some occasions, 2, 3, if you have twins, triplets, whatever. But one man can produce how many kids in a year? One man can repopulate a population so much quicker than a woman can.
Okay, well, let's assume the conflict we get involved in is similar to Vietnam, where it's not like we're drafting like huge swaths of the U.S. population. It's more like, I just Googled it, I think the United States military conscripted 2 million service personnel throughout the course of Vietnam War.
World War II was way more than that.
Yeah. So, I mean, if we lost, 1 million from a population perspective, I don't think it would be catastrophic.
But again, those 1 million women aren't just 1 million women randomly. They're occupying special type of forces. Like, for example, teachers. How many teachers would we lose because of that?
What do you mean? We would get like 18 to 22-year-olds. They're in the middle of doing or college or something.
All of Isla Vista would end up being the Marines. So can I ask?
Okay.
The Bronaces donated $300. Get rid of those silly Australian headbands twins. I have been to Australia and all their women are like them. Replace them with Jojo Leche bags. Charlie Kirk looks like he's battling Metro Man.
Metro Man?
Anyone know what that means?
I have no idea what.
I think they're saying you look metrosexual.
Oh, really? Great.
Rude. Okay. Thank you. Appreciate it, I guess.
That was so cute.
So random.
Oh, I see what happened there. Okay. All right. Where were we? Forgot.
So can I just ask a question? So if you are with your boyfriend or husband and there's a home intruder in the house, who would you expect your husband to put himself first into that situation to take care of it?
Absolutely. I mean,
or husband, boyfriend, or male counterpart.
I mean, I know my husband and I have had this conversation multiple times. I mean, we have multiple guns in the house, and he's told me, he's like, go hide in the bathroom and hide in the closet. He's like, and I'll take care of you. I mean, and I know where the guns are, and I know how to use them, just in case he dies for some reason. Or I can, shoot and hopefully scare somebody away.
Right.
I think you were maybe in the middle of making a point. You said, well, that they would be teachers, and so that's why we shouldn't
Well, you were
draft
saying
them.
how like 1 million women dying doesn't really hurt society, and I was saying that it does because women have a higher amount of like in certain roles, like for example,
Women's
like
jobs are
nursing.
more valuable. Is that
No,
the argument you're
I'm
making?
saying like a lot of women's jobs are already majority women.
Right, but I was arguing
So
your
if-
point about like you're making this point of, well, if all the women go and die to war, how are we going to repopulate? But
Yeah.
like I don't think any conflict would reduce the female population to such a degree that it would like have some catastrophic if they were drafted frontline, whatever.
But like we're already at.
Actually, it'd probably be good. I'm going to get canceled for this. It'd actually probably be good for the population if women got drafted, because here's what happens actually with the volunteer force of women. If they ever do face a deployment, a lot of these female soldiers just get pregnant to avoid having to be deployed.
Genius.
So it actually, this
The
is
fertility rate would
Charlie,
go up.
Hold on, Charlie. I think actually conservatives need to get on board with the female draft.
Maybe. But no, you have to stay pregnant.
Charlie, I need you to commit on the whatever podcast here that you
No,
actually are in
I-
favor of the female draft, because they get drafted, right? We draft only women, and then they're gonna get pregnant so they can avoid being deployed. A lot of women do
If
that.
there,
A
if
lot
there
of
is a
women do
pregnancy
that.
exemption, they still allow certain
Right, what
pregnant
if-
women to.
what if-
No, if you're pregnant, you can't be deployed.
How about like only third trimester can't get deployed, but first
I'm
and
just-
second.
look,
They
I'm
have,
just
they
saying-
have pregnancy jumpsuits, but they're not in the Air Force, which is just
I think this
insane.
could be a
But-
great talking
Yeah.
point for the
No, it's a real
conservative
thing.
party. Let's draft the women, and then we'll fix the population problem.
Which we have a huge
lot of women will
we have a huge
get. A lot
population
of women get pregnant. We will have to ban schmishmortion, and just
And then everyone's
For
going
that-
to be raised in a single parent
Kidding.
household. That's horrible.
no.
I hate
of
that.
course,
I hate
they
that
get
for
married
everyone.
or something. They get married.
They get married to their husband who's deployed. Also,
Hey, why not?
everything sucks.
We'll figure it out. Anyways.
War is bad across the board.
Yeah.
But wait, so okay, don't draft women because then we can't repopulate. Is that kind of the argument?
Yeah, that was one of them. Yeah.
Okay, what if we only draft like 100, or excuse me, not 100, 1 million women?
Okay, so you want to put a marker on we can draft 1 million women and unlimited men. Wouldn't that also not be equal under
No,
your
just
eyes?
like say 1 million women, 1 million men, or 10 million
Okay.
women, 10 million men. That would
Okay,
be equal.
And if they can prove that those 1 million women are competent and would advance the war just as much as those 1 million
Probably
men.
not, but
Exactly,
we
that's
still
my
draft
point.
them.
No, but that's
No,
my
but
point.
equality, we still draft them.
But wouldn't you want in a war, the people
Then
going
why
to
do we
war-
have women for the volunteer force, which you're in favor of?
Because I do believe that the women who are volunteering know that they can provide quite a bit to the war. They're not just like,
Oh, really?
well, I would assume so. Why would a woman volunteer if she's
mean-
not certain that she can provide some type of,
Well, I mean, people volunteer for all kinds of reasons. Some people do it for financial reasons. Perhaps they're coming from very low socioeconomic position. Getting into the military can be helpful in that way. Perhaps people want an experience, discipline. They want to serve their country.
That's true, but I
Sure.
don't think most women would put their lives on the line and have that be their number one option. Just volunteering just because like shits and gigs, like I want to volunteer,
Okay. Right. So I haven't really heard a compelling reason, at least from the feminist viewpoint standpoint, as to why women shouldn't be drafted.
But why would you want women to be drafted is my question as a
For-
man.
for the sake of
who
equality.
wants- yeah,
For the
but
sake
wouldn't you
of
want
equality.
your country to like do good in war, not just for the sake of equality?
What? So if I make that same argument about like the workforce, would you call that a sexist statement?
With what exactly?
Would it be a sexist statement? I'm not arguing this, but the same argument you're making about, well, wouldn't you want the best for the war effort? Couldn't you just make that argument about the volunteer force so women can't join the military? You could say about policemen, police officers, firefighters, etc.
I'm not really catching your drift.
You said
You don't
wouldn't
want women,
the
so you're trying to
best
exclude
people?
women from other workforces is what you're asking me?
Well, you said, wouldn't you want the best people?
Yes, for the war, yeah, because
is
the
who?
war, because like if we lose the war, is that not a big deal?
That'd be a big deal.
Yeah, so
That'd
that's
be
what I'm
pretty
saying.
bad.
It's kind of like,
But you
let's put
could
equality to
so
the
you
side
could-
in terms of the war, because the war is really going to affect all of society, not just man or woman.
But you could even draft women into positions of, for example, not frontline soldiers.
Cybersecurity.
Yeah, and if you can
And
prove
most-
that those women are competent and they can do that, then
Right.
yeah, go ahead.
That still wouldn't really be equality, but it would
It
be
wouldn't, but
closer.
that would be good,
It
yeah.
would be closer to equality. And
Exactly.
actually, most positions in the military are not frontline combat positions. So I wouldn't, so I'm just a little confused here.
What are you confused about if we just agreed on the same point? Just because I label myself as a feminist and I have the same opinion within this as someone
But
who's
it
not a
seems
feminist?
like when you want equality
No,
only
because
when
I've
it
made that
suits
clear.
women.
I've made that clear that I don't want it when it just suits women. I want it when it benefits society.
Well, so then you acknowledge...
Is that really hard to understand?
A little bit. So then you acknowledge that there's an inequality that's currently impacting men because men are the only sex that are required to register for the selective service.
Yeah, that's an inequality in terms of, if one sex has to go to war,
So
the
your
one
solution
doesn't,
then is
not
to get
equal.
rid of the draft?
My solution to that would just be let's not go to f***ing war.
Well,
that would
that's-
make shit equal.
Yeah, war bad.
But obviously
War
that's
bad.
exactly. But since that's not a realistic thing that the U.S. will do, and that's why we're just
What
continuing
if it has nothing
with,
to do with the U.S.? What if there's a belligerent force like China or Russia or something?
Okay, well, either way.
Beaten
war's
Cheeks
war.
donated $300. Here is a point. Feminism should have never been brought upon society by evil men pushing women to become babyless career boss B words. In the West now, what are women currently oppressed on? I'll wait.
Beaton, I'll ask that later. Are you... Okay. So assuming we can't get rid of war, assuming there had to be a draft,
Exactly.
do you acknowledge the current inequality that exists? And
Yes,
shouldn't
you've
you as,
asked me that question
but
like
shouldn't
4
you
times, I
shouldn't
believe.
you
I
as a
said yeah.
feminist be desirous of moving towards egalitarianism and equality?
Yeah, I've made that clear. No.
Can
Not in
I ask
every
it,
single
can I ask it a
aspect.
different way?
Yeah.
What would a victory for the feminist movement look like, or your view of feminism? Like what?
What's my view of feminism?
Yes, or like
Okay.
what is an injustice or something wrong in America that you would like to see remedied or cured with your view of feminism?
Okay. I can get real specific with it. I work in the healthcare field, and I see a lot of inequality within that. So that's one way where I'm a feminist, where I can see, okay, women aren't being treated the best way within the healthcare field specifically. They don't have the same rights as a man does.
Wait,
specifically.
can you elaborate on
Do you
that?
mean patients or the
Patients,
employees?
yeah.
Okay.
Wait, can you
talking about
elaborate
patients.
what you mean? Like, what is the inequality?
Patient care, a man as a patient versus a woman as a patient, very different.
Can you articulate it a little further?
Women don't have the same care as a man.
Isn't it the case that women see doctors more frequently? They get more. They're more likely to go visit a doctor.
Yeah, that's 100% the case, but that's because they're not getting adequate care. That's why they have to keep seeing new specialists, new people.
Wait. I don't think that's the reason. I think women just tend to care about our bodies, and men only care when they're on their deathbed. That's like the typical reasoning.
Women, like for like Medi-Cal or whatever. I don't know what it's called.
The reimbursables for women are like 7 to 1.
They're
Meaning-
more likely to use.
Yeah, especially under 50 women.
But
yeah.
it's taken me like 6 months just to get a checkup. Like just
I don't think that's because you're
standard.
a woman, though.
You don't think so? Okay.
I think that. Why would it be because you're a woman?
I don't know. Maybe because women's health care is harder to get. I'm not sure. That's
So
just
you're talking
me
like your
shooting in the dark.
OBGYN? Like it's- or
No, just
where-
primary care physician.
Why would
actually.
Why would that be because you're a woman, though?
It actually might be because I have health care.
It also could be because we're just brought a couple million people from the third world into this country.
Yeah.
That
kind
a
of
lot of
creates long lines, but that's a separate issue.
Well, could you elaborate a little further on the healthcare thing, though?
Do you want me to just keep going, listing examples?
Well, you
of-
said women have. I don't know if you said
Like-
rights. Like women have X that men don't.
Yeah, women are behind in the healthcare field, so that's something I would want to see women progress in.
Like in
That's-
nursing.
No, as a patient. I've made that clear.
Oh, as patients.
Yes.
How are they behind?
A woman doesn't get the same adequate care from her primary doctor, from her specialist, from whatever person that a man would, and that's been statistically proven.
I'll actually
I'm in the healthcare field. I see this firsthand. I'm told about this by my coworkers, by my actual patients, by the people I work with. So that's just my experience. So you asked me for a specific example about feminism, and that's what I gave you.
So what would solve that?
Honestly, I'm not an expert within the healthcare field to be able to say you need to do this, this, and that. But I just believe that there is something that could be done.
Do you think
under-
that women sometimes might be overemphasizing a condition that might not be a big deal?
No, I don't think so. I mean, yeah, possibly person to person. There's many women who could do that. There's many men who would do that. How is that relevant?
No, because the survey you're citing is that women think they're not getting the care that they deserve when I think they actually are, and then some. But you're right, men will not go to the doctor unless they're missing a limb, where a woman will call their doctor as soon as they have a sniffle or a sneeze or a cough. And so they engage in the healthcare system more often. So when you have more interactions and more touch points, you'll have more people who think that there's an injustice when there really isn't.
I see your point.
And you also, well, actually, here, we'll come back to that a little bit. I did also want to get an answer from you really quick on the draft thing, then we'll move it along to a different topic. You said you're a feminist, but not in favor of women being drafted. How do you reconcile that?
I mean, I think that there should definitely. I think there should be definitely things that are more, or I guess not more important, but like, I'm more for like, if I'm working a job in a lab and a man is working a job in the same lab and we're doing the same things, then we should be getting equal pay. But
what if you work harder than him? Should you get more money?
Well, what do you mean, like work harder?
Put in
like,
more hours, show up earlier?
I mean, wouldn't I?
What if you're better than him?
Then they would probably recognize the hard work that
But
I
I thought you
put
said
in.
equal pay.
I mean, I think it would depend on like your lab position and like how high.
But you
up
have the same
are.
title. Do you want it to be based on merit or just equality no matter what?
I mean, I guess like if you are working harder, then I feel like you should get paid more regardless if you're a man or a woman.
So men are more likely to show up early at work. They're more likely to not take 7 to 10 years off for having a child, whether you like that or not. More likely to ask for a promotion, more likely to ask for a raise. They're also more likely to get their boss to notice their hard work. They're better at that than women. So maybe it's not that women are getting paid less than men. Maybe just men are better at working the corporate system than women.
Well, then if that's the case, then I guess that's something we need to work on.
Wait, I have a question. Well, you didn't really answer the question, but you did bring up the wage gap there a little bit. So the question was about the draft, though, because you said you're a feminist, but you're not in favor of women being conscripted into forced military conscription. So, like, just how do you reconcile that?
Well, I think they brought up a good point about how, like, biologically, women are not as physically strong as, like, men. And I don't understand, like, or I guess, like, they do bring up a point, like, how would it benefit, like, the United States if we're putting more women onto, like, the military if we're not putting, like, the strongest, like, people out?
Well, if they're not benefiting, then why would we allow women to volunteer?
I mean, but that's, like, that's what they want to do with their time. It's better than not having any volunteers.
Do you guys think the military would be better if women weren't in it? If it was just men, hardcore men that want to win for the country? You know women better than I do.
No women.
Do you think the American military was a better fighting force when women were not in it?
I think they're a lot more aggressive, a lot more assertive. I mean, I don't want to sound like I'm hating on women, but I just think guys, when they're, especially in a war, I mean, they're out there, they're wanting to be out there fighting for their country. Women, that's not our
instinct. Wait, Charlie, what was your original question? So would the U.S. military be better if it was just men? Is that
yes,
kind of the
and
question?
I say this for a group of women who know female nature very well. You know your friend's female nature. If you're trying to create a fighting force to defeat the Russians, defeat the Chinese, and all these stupid wars, I agree with you. But if you want a good military, should women be in the military at all?
Let's get everybody's answer on this. Go ahead.
If you want the best military, not an equal one.
Just men. Just men.
I mean, but women are such good FBI agents. Like, we're just naturally good at...
Not private investigators, because women are the best at finding out that your boyfriend's cheating on you.
Exactly.
But we're not talking about that. We're talking about...
So how do we decode, like...
Just answer the question.
No. We're talking about storming Normandy, defeating the Nazis, winning a war.
I mean...
The Kazakhstans.
Oh, gosh.
The Kazakhs.
The Kazakhs.
They actually had women in the military in the Soviet Union, but that's a separate issue. But
yeah.
Go ahead.
For the sake of argument, no. No women.
Maybe no. But also make sure that every single man that is in there also is up to par.
Sure.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think if the men are really passionate about it, then no women.
Okay.
I don't want a world where people are barred from much.
Okay.
No.
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 I don't know if you guys even remember the question. I don't know.
I'm trying my best here to kind of like.
It should be all
okay.
men.
You think it should be all men?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to come back to what you said really quick here. You did kind of, when I asked you the question, you brought up the wage gap, like equal pay for equal work or whatever. Do you think that that should also apply to like police officers? Like they're doing the same job, right?
Like between.
And like firefighters. So like should men and women be paid equally?
Like between police and firefighters.
Yeah, like with police and firefighters?
Yeah.
Okay. But
Can I ask a question really quick?
Yeah.
For our two Australian friends, can I ask a question for you? Yeah. Do you think men models should make the same as female models?
great question.
Yeah. Like,
So you'd be willing to take a pay cut?
what do you mean by
Like
that?
they take it
Well-
out of your pocket.
Well, because men, when it comes to online,
it's a tragedy.
what's the word I'm looking for? Online
Adult content.
presenting yourself earn fractional what women earn, like 1/10.
Nobody wants to see balls.
I mean, I've always been told like the gay people actually get a lot of subscribers, like more than women.
We're going to run this experiment. Me and Charlie are going to open up an OF account, and we're going to see,
No.
and we're going to, but not together, not together.
Let's just
our
take
own separate.
For
OF accounts,
example,
not
the best paid male model in the world makes about $3 million a year. The best paid female model is like $35 to $40 million a year.
Wow.
Yeah, it's not even close. It's like a 10x, and it's almost across all disciplines.
I didn't even know that myself.
And so, in hands, I imagine this to be the case. I mean, for example, I'm not a fan of pornography at all. I read about it in the book how I'm not a fan of it. However, in online pornography, female actresses earn way more than male actresses. Not even close.
Well, isn't that because of the subscribers? They're more male-based. There's
Sure.
like, what is it, 60%
Oh, there's reason.
of men
Yeah,
or something like
for
that?
sure.
I don't
Yeah.
wanna
Well,
just-
men consume pornography more than women. Women
Right.
increasingly so.
Right.
So I guess for my two Australian friends, do you think that there should be a law that says that you should earn the same as your male counterparts?
No.
DRJSR 2019 donated $300. Show the panel the opening scene of Saving Private Ryan and see who would still believe the battlefield is a place for women. Communism
private
is
chat.
of the devil and destroys the human, which breaks society.
Pull that link up. DRJSR, thank you, man.
yeah,
Come
so
back to
just-
this. Thank you.
I don't think that at all. I think it's just up to how much you post. Like it's up to you how much money you earn by how much you are posting on your.
So it's about merit, creativity,
Yeah.
ingenuity.
It's about like consistency kind of thing. Like,
And trying to find the right niche and everything for yourself.
Nick, you want to pull that
So,
up?
so therefore, if there was a law generally in America where it says that women should be paid the same as men, you'd be against that
Well,
because it would apply to fans, because it could harm you. See, you're both in an industry where women earn way more than men.
yeah.
So you'd be, because progress is easy to support until it hits your bank account.
There
I
are
have
many
a-
men in
Nick, pull up
OnlyFans.
the
They're
photo,
just the
please.
managers.
No, of course.
This is actually I went to a protest. This is me. It's This is like potato quality. Equal pay for men on the. I went to a protest. I had a bunch of crazy protest signs, and so yeah, I think men should be paid equally on OF. That would be fair, right?
I have a
Yeah,
question though.
I agree.
Do you guys set your own prices? So how come the man just doesn't set his own price equal to the
Because
woman?
no one buys it.
Exactly. So how would you guys can implement that? You guys paid this, get the same.
No, of course, it's
You guys-
market driven.
Yeah, exactly. So if
So
the law
shouldn't-
gets passed, they would still make more than the man
Well, no,
because
not,
they have more subscribers, right? And not because they're getting paid more.
it depends how it's written, but in the abstract, it would say that equal work for equal pay. That's literally what they just marched in the streets for.
So your question is not so much as like getting paid by the same rate pay, but you're saying annual pay?
It depends. So let's say there was a company that employs OnlyFans models, and then they take a cut and they do all the work for you, okay? And they employ male and female OnlyFans models, and they both work 10 hours a day. The female OnlyFans models will earn $1 million a year for the company, and the males will only bring in $100,000 a year for the company. Should they have to pay both of them the same because it's equal work for equal pay? Or should they give more money to who's actually bringing money through the door, the women for the company?
I don't know.
I don't have like an opinion on like that
Pulling
kind of
teeth.
stuff. Like,
I think you both know the answer. You're just afraid to say it. That,
oh no,
that
like,
women should be able to earn what they earn and they provide in the OnlyFans model. I find it to be disgusting. That's a separate issue we talk later. But I'm just trying to find this. However, how is that any different in a corporate environment when men are more likely to travel for work, they're more likely to go make the second or third call for a promotion or a raise? So the equal pay for equal work movement kind of falls apart when it comes down to online female modeling, doesn't it?
Honestly, I don't think like I think it should be fair. Sorry, I think it should be fair between like how much they earn, but that it is actually up to like how much you want to earn by the amount of posting you're doing. If you're not posting anything, you're not going to make just as much as that girl that is posting all the time.
Okay.
Yeah. Me and Imogen don't earn the same. She posts more than me, and like she makes more than me.
Is that fair?
Well, I think it is fair because it's up to me.
I agree.
I think
So shouldn't we structure all of society that way? Who works the hardest gets the most?
Yes. So
We
I'm
agree.
like,
The feminism is dead.
let's say I work 2 hours a day, Imogen's working 8 hours a day doing TikToks, Reels, and all of that stuff, like making content for the OF wall and everything. She's earning more than me,
Private
but
chat.
then I'm being like lazy and I'm laying back. I'm not making that much. So it's
You're
it's the
making an
same-
argument for
it's-
market-based capitalism pretty well.
I think that it's up to the men. If he was to work just as much as Imogen, doing 8 hours a day, then he should just earn just as much. But then
By
you've gotta
law or just let it happen?
just let it happen.
Okay, and if he falls short and he ends up earning half?
Then just work harder because she's been working hard.
Got it. So if you look at a big company like Apple,
Yeah.
and I tell you that the female engineers earn less than the male engineers, just let it happen, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Just let it happen. No?
oh no, I agree.
Oh yeah, just let it happen.
Yeah.
Okay, I agree.
Chill.
Yeah.
That we are wrecking new age feminism here.
Destroyed. Annihilated. Okay. I want to come back really quick. You brought up the wage gap. Let's see. Wait. Hold on. You brought up the wage gap. You're saying, well, should be paid equally in, if you're doing the same job. Is that correct? So
Yeah.
and do you believe that there is a gender wage gap? Since you brought it up into the mic.
I mean, that's what we've been like taught in school.
Then it
That's-
must be true, right?
That's what you've been taught in school. Okay, so, shoot, I missed my notes on the specific thing with the wage gap. This is kind of an interesting stat that we found out recently. So what are your thoughts on, for example, they actually found that Asian women out-earn white men. Do you subscribe to that wage gap?
I don't know.
Nick, could you pull up the data on that? So median weekly earnings of full-time workers, white men versus Asian women. So you have white men, Asian women there. Recently Asian women, you guys are killing it. Good job, Maddie. Good job, Maddie, back there.
Why is that?
You guys are killing it.
Do we know why?
Good for you guys. Cool. Different, I don't know.
Like, okay.
Is it a skill issue? Something like this?
I don't know, man. But is this perhaps evidence of Asian women oppressing white men? I think that's what it is.
Oh my
I think
gosh.
Asian women are oppressing white. I'm kidding. Men.
Or just working harder.
Could be.
Yeah.
Could it?
Sometimes merit explains a lot of this.
Almost all the time.
Oh, I remember my question.
I agree with you.
Sports. So, when it comes to basketball, soccer, there's been a bunch of articles on this. Do you think that women in sports should be paid the same as the men in sports? So, like men's basketball, women's basketball. I want to start with you. I'll open it up to the rest of the panel.
I mean, I think that generally the men's sports are watched more, so I think it would make sense that they would get paid more because they have more views and
Anybody want to?
sponsorships.
Say, I agree with that. I mean,
Anyone object to the differential payment though in sports? Should it be equal in sports? Should it be equal?
Check him out.
Female basketball players should be paid the same as male basketball
It's
players?
like the most based panel ever.
Well,
We're talking about pro sports, not like the Title IX stuff in colleges and like spending on
professional
sports.
sports.
Okay.
Professional sports, yeah.
Let's say like where I grew up in San Antonio. I mean, we had the Spurs.
You don't have thoughts on this?
No,
No
I
thoughts?
feel like it's equal. Yeah, that's fair. If men's
No, but
sports
so
are watched a lot
women
more
don't
than-
earn as
Yeah,
much
that's
as men
fair.
do. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Reasonable. All right. And by the way, JSR, I'll just quickly adjust your message that came through. By the way, I've just paused them temporarily, really quick, just to get through a few things. I'll let a few of them come in. JSR, yes, the scene from Saving Private Ryan, absolutely excellent. Also, All Quiet on the Western Front, it's available on Netflix. Strongly encourage you guys to watch that. It kind of shows the just savagery and brutality of warfare. Okay, we hit that. We've hit the draft stuff. Actually, really quick on the draft stuff, Charlie, I got to push back here against you a little bit here. I'm in favor, Charlie, of women being drafted. Now, here's why, Charlie. First off, actually, that just occurred to me, the whole well, then they would just get pregnant.
The fertility thing.
They'd just go and get pregnant to avoid deployment. Service guarantees citizenship. That's the other thing. And then also, I say frontline combat too. Soften them up a little bit. Then when the men come in, soften up the enemy. So send the women first,
Right.
and then
So,
they
distract, yeah.
soften them up, and then
Jeez.
the guys can come in and finish the job.
Right, like a shield.
Do you concur?
To use women as human shields?
No,
for
not as
others?
human shields.
As a stupid war?
No. But throw them in, soften them up a little bit.
Oh, throw them forward as
as the combat.
What are we
And
supposed
then-
to do?
and then,
Flirt with them? Stop them
we
from
can come in and take
attacking?
all the credit.
Oh, yeah, I'm not sure I'm on board for that.
Okay.
They do use women as
think it
honeypots.
over.
That
Think it
does
over.
exist.
Okay, so I did want to ask. I don't know why I wrote this down. I wrote down capitalism for some reason. Just really quick, is everybody in favor of capitalism, or would you prefer some other?
I mean, it creates problems the over usage of adult content, for example. I think that's a product of capitalism, and
So there would be no OnlyFans if we were communist or whatever.
I think they're probably not.
Charlie,
There's probably still going to be
work,
some
it's pretty
runaround.
bad. Maybe
from
we
that.
should-
But I mean, no,
You
that
think we
doesn't
should
mean
go
that.
communist?
No. One doesn't negate the other.
Okay, fair
I
enough.
still, yeah.
So, in favor of, I don't know why I wrote this down, but okay, in favor of capitalism, or would you prefer socialism, communism?
Capitalism is okay.
Okay.
I say it's fuck capitalism, actually, but I also, that's the only option we have at the moment. I'm not for socialist or communism or any of that, so,
Okay.
yeah.
So you acknowledge that there's issues within capitalism, but despite those issues, it is currently the best system that we have.
Exactly.
Okay.
I don't really have an opinion.
So if, let's say we were communist, you would not be able to, if it was you wouldn't be able to dye your hair blonde. If it was
How do you know my
communist.
hair's dyed?
What's that?
How do you know my hair's dyed?
Just a guess. Just a hunch,
Oh, so can you just define it then? So that
Hair dye?
No,
Or define what?
Yeah.
I'm gonna defer.
What
to
is communism?
Charlie Kirk here.
I'm not saying this.
Or,
Do they
why did he,
do they
bring
teach
up-
communism in college anymore?
Or I'm just saying why do you bring up me being blonde?
Well,
Or,
he
dye my
he
hair?
was making a tongue-in-cheek point of saying that in communism, it's total control of one's life, totalitarianism. So you can get stupid and arbitrary rules like that. In
You probably wouldn't be able to buy hair dye.
Yeah, communist dictatorships. Yeah,
Maybe they prioritize that. I don't know.
maybe.
Here, just show of hands. Anybody against capitalism? So I'll just move it along.
I think total unfettered capitalism is a little brutal. That's why we have, antitrust laws and some things to regulate when
Sure.
it's completely unfettered. But for sure, I'm going to get it wrong, but there's somebody famous who said it's a terrible system, but better than all the others, right?
Sure. Okay, I think that's nobody. I'll let a couple of these chats come in. They're going to come in just a second. Then I want to come back to that clip we saw because we didn't really get a full reaction to it. Then we have a couple other things we need to react to. Sorry, guys, we're just letting a few of these come in, and I'm going to shoot. Sorry, guys, we're on a delay here. By the way, guys, Charlie's book.
Oh,
Right-Wing
it's
Revolution.
going great. You guys can all
Dr.
get a
Nabby
copy.
donated $300.
Thank you, Doc.
Bangs Jr. There are more women than men doctors in primary care, and there is a specialty exclusively devoted to women's health. Men do not. How are women patients underserved? Cheers, Charlie.
Do you want to address that really quick? How are female patients underserved?
I don't feel like addressing that right now. We've already moved way past that.
Do you want to add like one little thing?
I'm good.
I'll ask you a question. We're not going to debate it, at least now anyways. Do you think that part of your position on that has to do with abortion rights?
Yeah,
Okay.
slightly, yeah.
Okay, I'll write that down, perhaps if time permitting. We'll get to that in a bit. Joe Murphy, hold on, where was the other one? Sorry, guys, a couple of these chats are coming in. I'm going to read them, and then we'll get back to the reaction to that clip that we pulled up. Kirk, can you make the same argument about equal pay about any other institution but fans?
Yeah, healthcare.
Okay.
Female nurses earn more than male nurses.
Thank you.
And there are also more female nurses than male nurses.
All right.
And also teaching as well, elementary school teaching. There's also more women that are OBGYNs than men, OBGYNs.
All right.
That's
and
just
then
off the top of my head.
Cheeks here says, I'm extremely disappointed that nobody on the panel knows what real feminism is. In extreme, short, feminism is the destruction of the nuclear family. Patriarchy never was about equality. Drizzle, drizzle. Okay, thank you, Cheeks. Appreciate it. By the way, if you can, just scoot into the table a little bit. Sure. You're just getting cut out of frame there. Okay, thank you, guys. I'm going to pause it just temporarily just to get through our next couple things, and then I'll get the soup chats later. So going back to, if you guys recall that clip that we were looking at, so you guys all remember essentially she's this kind of more liberal, progressive woman who's like upset that she can't find, at least among the men that she wants to date that match her values and, you know, match her progressive, liberal, feminist values. She doesn't get the traditional treatment from those guys. What are your thoughts on that, on the clip? And also, do you think liberal women deserve chivalrous treatment? So I think we were, I'll just ask you, do you think liberal women deserve chivalrous treatment?
Can you explain more on that?
So do you want me to like repeat the question or? So, okay, do you think liberal women deserve, do you know chivalry, right?
Yeah.
The guy opening the car door, paying for the first date.
Walking on the left side of you on the street instead of the right side, so he's walking closer to the car in case something happens.
Like,
Sorry,
do you agree on that?
So do you think liberal women, because chivalrous treatment I would categorize as traditional treatment, but it's not clear to me if liberal progressive women are traditional women.
So you're asking me
Do you think liberal women, so let me hear, do you think non-traditional women are deserving of traditional treatment or chivalrous treatment?
No, I don't know.
All right, what about you?
Deserving. I don't think it's for me to say what people deserve and don't deserve, but I do think that if you're dating liberal men, you're less likely to get the sort of traditional types of things. We see that in Scandinavia, for instance, where women have even more power and money per capita than here, and so men are very 50-50.
Right.
So
I'll just get your guys' answers again if you already answered it. Do you think liberal women deserve chivalrous treatment?
Of course.
And you said you've received it.
Yeah,
correct?
every guy I've dated.
Because you consider yourself progressive, right?
Yeah.
Liberal, feminist. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not like hardcore liberal,
Right,
but I'm progressive, and I don't see a reason to ever date someone who wouldn't give me chivalry. It's kind of like
okay.
what?
I think every woman deserves the wonderful experience of a man courting her and treating her well and respectful.
I agree. I think that they deserve to experience. Yeah.
And so you deserve that, correct?
Yeah, I think I
Okay.
deserve it.
Yeah, I think women or liberal women do deserve that.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with that as well.
I think ladies deserve to be treated like ladies, and not all women are ladies.
Well put. Okay.
See, I think everybody deserves the experience of at least once of having a chivalrous guy. I don't believe that all women want the chivalry. Sure. Especially the more progressive feminist.
That's true.
Okay. Charlie, I think you recall the clip. What are
Yep.
your
I mean,
thoughts there?
you don't always get what you deserve in life. But yes, every woman should be treated the same, regardless of their political views. But if you are a progressive and you go out of your way to go, date femboys, then don't be surprised when they can't even hold the door when they open it.
Well, I have a question for you, Charlie. I mean, do you think the type of men that are more likely to give women that more traditional treatment, do you think they would lean more conservative or liberal?
Chivalrous treatment?
Chivalrous.
Oh, conservative, without a doubt. Yeah, without a doubt. Because and that's a generalization. I mean, there's exceptions to every rule, but the vast majority of conservative men would, at least everything I understand, would consider it to be insane not to treat the lady with chivalry. Because the conservative movement in general is much more understanding and appreciative and trying to protect the natural order of male-female differences and distinctions. And that's one of our differences. Do you have a thought on that?
Yeah, I have a question. I completely agree with what you said right there. But what would you say about incels who describe themselves as part of the conservative community?
Incels? So
Yes.
They should go find a wife. That's what I say, regardless. I mean, I think that it's destructive if we have single men is a big problem. In the Bible, it says, God said to Adam, it's not good for man to be alone. Men being single over 30 is a big problem. And by the way, women being single over 30 is also a big problem, and I talk about that. But single men are more likely to commit crimes, more likely to go to jail, more likely to get into drugs, more likely to be isolated and distant on society. Men need women as much as women need men.
So if it was up to you, you wouldn't allow the incels to be a part of the...
Well, allow. I mean, if you believe in my value system, but if I ever am confronted, I'm going to tell you, get your life together, get your act together.
That's valid.
Stop being a loser.
Valid.
So...
This is actually a perfect segue into our next segment. Charlie, you came under a bit of heat.
I've never said anything controversial.
Never. You got some backlash. You got slammed. That's what the news articles. Nick, can you pull
can I
those
give
up?
them a trigger warning before
Oh,
we? Yeah.
should we-
This is a spicy clip. But you guys can say whatever you want about me. But it's not the full context. Just so we're clear.
Got
it. I did say it.
Yeah. So Nick, pull those up. There's some news articles. You're always in the news, Charlie. But you said, and I think they're probably taking you a little bit out of context. But Arizona
I said
Republic.
it, but that's not the totality of the point, right?
Birth control is why women are so bitter.
That's
Slammed.
that's not the only reason.
You got slammed for calling women the third. Not
And I
at
said
their prime.
hormonal birth control messes with women's brains, which is true.
And then you faced backlash for saying women in their 30s are past their prime.
Again, not
Now-
exactly what I said, but that's okay.
I do, if...
you could defend me.
By the way, so we're going to pull up a couple of the clips. If they exclude any additional context, you can let me know. We can pull up the whole
No,
thing.
it's fine. I don't care. I mean, it's fine.
Or just tell us what the additional context is.
No, I hope you get the spiciest clips. So
Okay,
we
we'll
can
get
have
the
best
spiciest
conversation.
clips. So we'll start with the first one. There's 3 total. Nick, if you can go ahead. Go for it.
A lot of them are on birth control too, and birth control really screws up female brains, by the way. Every single one of you need to make sure that your loved ones are not on birth control. It increases depression, anxiety, suicidal ideation. Birth control is the #1 most prescribed medication for young ladies under the age of 25. They will give young ladies birth control for pimples, for acne, to control their moods, their period. It is awful. It's terrible, and it creates very angry and bitter young ladies and young women. That bitterness then manifests into a political party that is the bitter party. I mean, the Democrat Party is all about bring us your bitterness, and we'll give you free stuff. It's like we'll trade you. Bitterness for stuff, essentially. That's like the Democrat Party. A lot of them are on birth control, too.
We can play it again.
Yeah, exactly.
To be clear, I meant hormonal birth control, to be very clear. So, yes.
I think it'd be interesting to at least hear from the women. Is anybody here currently on hormonal birth control?
No, I actually hated birth control and how it made me feel. So
do you sympathize with what I was clumsily trying to say?
A little bit. A little bit.
How did it make you, can I ask, how did it make you feel?
I was kind of confused when you mentioned, what was that you said? What causes them to go into that political party? They
The
start
bitterness,
getting
we
bitter.
can get into that, but I'm more focused on how did it make you feel? Like, were you depressed, anxious?
Oh
just
yeah,
not
it made me
yourself?
feel horrible. My skin was awful, and I didn't feel like I was aligned with my life, but maybe I'm just too in tune, but it's not better or worse.
I'm also not on birth control. I also didn't like my experience with it.
Okay.
I've never been on birth control.
I took it years past in my late 20s, and I also didn't like the way it made me feel. It's heavy progesterone, a lot of depression, and yeah, I no longer have to deal with that.
I used to take it when I was younger, but I didn't agree with it, and the way it made me feel like sick, gave me a bit of acne, and I think it's the reason why I did like come up with endometriosis.
Wow.
Yeah.
So sorry.
So I didn't agree with it.
I'm not on birth control, but I used to be on the pill. Personally, for me, I didn't experience any side effects. My skin was really clear, luckily. But I stopped taking it because I was just scared of the side effects that it might have.
Oop.
Rip. Hold on. Keep going, guys. Keep going.
I've never been on it before. No.
Never been on it.
I'd say in addition to the side effects, there's also been a couple studies that have come out showing that women that are on hormonal birth control look at more the beta guys, and then once you get off of it, you're looking for more the alpha type guy. And I would say my experience, I was on hormonal birth control because I had endometriosis and PCOS.
Oh, wow.
And my ex-husband was very much a beta. Had hysterectomy, decided I wanted to divorce him, and I am now very much with a very dominant alpha male.
Awesome.
But yeah, terrible side effects.
Do you feel, those of you that were on birth control, that they properly informed you of the possible side effects before you went on the pill?
No.
They didn't let you know about the spiritual side effects, which was like hanging out or getting guys who were like less of your caliber or whatever that was for you. Because I had the similar experience of like unalignment generally.
So you felt that you were attracted to different people while you were on the pill?
Sure. I was
that's
very.
amazing.
It was only like a few months, but yeah.
Maddie, can you fix that, please? Okay.
There's an interesting study at my alma mater that they found out exotic dancers made way more money when they were not on hormonal birth control because they're not sure either men could sense it, like maybe smell or
pheromones,
or maybe we don't know, or maybe women liked men better. They don't know for sure, but it made a distinct difference in their income. Go figure.
Okay, Nick, there's another clip. Can you also just see the volume on Twitter?
Quick. You said you had a question, though, about the second part of it, of my comment.
Oh, yeah. What did you mean about they were distressed? Was it distressed?
I said that bitter.
Oh, bitterness.
Yeah, if you get too far in your life, most young ladies deep down want to find a partner, they want to get married, and they want to have children. There's exceptions to that. But if you suppress that for too long, it can create a lot of bitterness.
Okay. I can see that.
Nick, can you pull up the other clip? It is maxed. Okay. Sorry, chat. The volume's a little low on these clips.
Now he's saying, get your kids off birth control. And praise God, they shouldn't be on birth control if they're your kids.
No Christian parent should ever allow their daughter on birth control, ever. Period. That is, and if your daughter's on birth control or granddaughter, get them off immediately.
Now he's saying,
Yeah, same thing.
Yeah.
And again, I meant hormone. I was using a filler term of hormonal birth control.
Okay. And then the next clip, I think, is the one that drew the most ire, not just from both sides.
Can I say this ahead of time?
Sure.
So a better way I could have said this is that as you get older, your dating pool shrinks. I said it fine, but like there's one word that's clumsy there. And I met my wife Erica when she was in her late 20s. We're now super happily married, and we have 2 kids.
You did nothing wrong, Charlie.
Huh? No. I want to be clear though, because again, no one is above criticism or reproach. However, the essence of what I said is 100% true. That's what I will say, is that you can kind of sometimes, stumble over your words, but the essence is 100% true.
Got it. All right, let's play the clip. Girls are going to react to this. Go ahead.
We've basically told a great generation of young women, don't get married, don't have kids, go get a corporate job, and it's created mass political hysteria. And then in their early 30s, they get really upset because they say, the boys don't want to date me anymore because they're not at their prime. And people get mad when I say that. Well, it's just true. If you're in your early 30s, I'm sorry. It's like you're not as attractive in the dating pool as you were in the early 20s. But again, you have your corporate job and cats, so I thought, we basically...
There you go.
Was the audio boosted on that one, Nick? Oh, okay. Yeah, it was super low. Anyways, your reaction to the clip, starting with you. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. Where's the crickets? You can cue the crickets.
Yeah, I'm gonna play the crickets. You can say whatever you want. I don't.
I really don't have anything to say about that. I mean, yeah, the dating pool does shrink. That's very true.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
Any reaction to that?
Also, I don't really feel like I have to make a comment on that. There's really not much to say.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What about you?
Sure, dating pool shrinks. Also, some women want a job in cats, and for them, that's a good time. Again, I lean toward a world in which people can do what they want.
Mm-hmm.
Sound like an anarchist, right?
I honestly don't have an opinion.
We suck.
Yeah, I know.
Here, I'll ask.
I thought when you told me you were going to play my tapes, Brian, I was going to get screamed at and people were going to throw stuff. I guess I'm not as controversial as I thought I was.
Yeah, see, you got a warm reception here.
Yeah, I don't know.
They co-sign everything.
Run for
Charlie.
politics.
We don't have to answer now, but I do have a question. If you want to make it cooler culturally for women, young women to want to be mothers and be married and, anti-Steinem stuff, then there's got to be a long-term plan, right, to change the culture.
Yeah, and I mean, that's part of what I'm first trying to live what I believe and build a family, because I think that's important. Then I'm also trying to advocate this in a culture where it's not always celebrated. And I would love to just really go quickly around the horn, super quick. If you had to choose between, if you could only pick one, marriage or career, which would you choose? If you had to choose. Can we do that?
Yeah, can I add one thing? So is it great, amazing career or beautiful, healthy family?
That's correct.
Okay, that was
if
a
you
good
had to
distinction.
choose. Now, you can have both in life, but if you could only pick one.
I would say marriage.
Marriage.
Yeah, the healthy family.
Family.
Marriage.
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 Marriage. And can I answer the other question?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So I actually want to back him up on, you're not really in your prime once you turn 30. I know I got married at age 23. I mean, I was pretty, I was an athlete, married the wrong guy, became obese. Yeah, not now, obviously. But yeah, once I divorced him after I turned 30, the dating pool was vastly smaller.
Well, thank you for defending me. I could have used you a couple months ago. So
I'm in Phoenix, so.
No, that's right. We should talk. No, and the last question that I'll ask is, I want you to think about it. If every single one of you said marriage, are you making deliberate steps every day to get closer to that goal, or are you making steps to get closer to the career goal?
Starting with you, go ahead.
Because I believe that in a marriage, since you're coming together as a contractual agreement, I do want to provide to a certain extent, just in case my husband can't. I am going towards a career.
Okay.
At the moment.
No, and I only ask and again, we don't have to go on the horn. I think it's important, though, to answer your question. Far too often, we do not tell young ladies, if you have to prioritize one more than the other, would you rather have your tombstone say, CEO of a shoe company, or loving mother of 3 children and a wife? And if you would rather have loving mother and, of 3 children and a wife, then you should prioritize that more in your early 20s than your career or going to college. Because the tragedy is there are far more single early 30-something women in this country than married 30-something women in this country. It's the fertility rate's the lowest ever been, marriage rate's the lowest ever been, and it's because we tell young ladies you can wait forever to do this, and that's not the case for everybody. It's the case for some people, but not the case for everybody, and I think it's a tragedy.
I think while even you have a family, you should...
I'm trying here, man.
Even when you have a family, you should still have what happens when the kids are done and they graduate and they move on out of the nest? What does a woman do then?
Grandkids.
Does woman just take care of... Well, that's assuming
that's
that
a really
your
smart
children
question, though.
want to.
In fact, we are doing everything the opposite. We should say, focus on family formation in your early 20s, then go to college in your late 30s.
Sure. But what if you marry
Because college
the wrong
will always be
person?
there. No, that's a very fair point. Love and life come with a huge risk.
Sure.
But the greater risk is dying alone.
But I feel like we also have to acknowledge the fact that one of the reasons why so many women don't want to prioritize marriage right now, just straight out of you're 18, let's work on getting married and having kids and then think about college, is because college gives you so many opportunities that you can focus and work on that directly. You come out of college, you have all these open doors. Whereas if you're 18 and you decide not to go to college because you want to prioritize a marriage, that can go wrong in so many other ways where you have no backup plan. Now you're 25 making minimum wage, so much farther behind towards a marriage than the woman who already graduated college, who has financial stability to be able to have kids and provide for her kids. So that's where
that's a fair point. you could always go back to college. I'll reiterate that. However, that's not the problem in America. The problem right now, as it is, because the problem you're talking about was the problem in the 1960s, which is what Gloria Steinem said. If my husband left, I would have no way to feed myself. That was the core essence of her critique. Like, if my husband left, I would be having to go to get food stamps because I have no skills except being a stay-at-home mom, which, by the way, is like the most important thing ever, being a stay-at-home mom, but that's a separate issue. So, but right now in America, we've gone to the other extreme, which is you could delay it, you can delay it, you can have kids whenever you want, and we have 15 to 20 million single women in the country that have great careers.
And I feel like another reason why women right now, it's so hard for them to just prioritize having kids is because if you haven't gone to college, got the education, you don't have a husband who also is very financially stable, who's gonna provide for those kids? You know what I mean? We're in times where it's so iffy.
I don't sympathize with that argument as much. First of all, if you get married, by definition, your costs go down because you have two people then paying for rent, right, or for a mortgage. So you can actually consolidate income. But studies actually show men earn more as soon as they get married and have children. Something primal kicks into us where we take a second job, we work extra hours, we figure it out. Men are actually men are super simple, women are very complicated. Men, as long as we feel appreciated, we feel noticed, and we feel special, and we see our role and our purpose, we will go to the ends of the earth to feed our family. We'll figure it out. And I think we're underselling American men. We say, oh, I wait until I'm 27 or 28. That's fine, but look at the cost of that. And the cost is, right now, just as we're clear, we are on pace 10 years out from now, we're gonna have 20 million 40-something women that never got married or have kids, but they have big apartments and they go on lots of vacations. And I also think that's one of the reasons we're seeing the suicide rate, the anxiety problems, the depression problems in our country. Do you have a thought? Or?
Yeah, I just feel like how many people that are like, or how many males that are 20 are like ready to get married and like ready to
Great
have a
question.
family?
So the question is, which one leads which? Men, yes, but in the 1950s or 1960s, the time we're supposed to hate, young ladies looked at, it was my task to find a husband before the age of 25. And it was like the most important thing for them. Now that came with a lot of costs. Some people would say that it was handcuffs and, being in prison. But if young ladies, first and foremost, no offense to my two Australian friends, got off of and stopped, posting naked pictures of themselves online and made themselves harder to get, men would step up to the plate. One of the reasons why men are grown infants is because women are so easy to get right now in America. There's no desire, there's no hunt, there's no search. So you can be a grown infant and you can get sex. When it used to be in 1950s, women would be like, I'm not giving myself over to you. You're a man-child. Like, you don't even pay rent. You have nothing going for you. When now, unfortunately, you can pay $10 a month to go see a woman naked. No offense, well, actually kind of offensive, but
Aren't
that's
you
a
guys
separate
like
issue.
$5?
But
Yeah, I think so.
Sorry.
But I'm saying
no,
that.
that's okay.
But to my OnlyFans friends here, do you think that you both want to get married, right, and have children?
Yeah, of course.
Do you think that you are more desirable or less desirable to a future husband when you post suggestive or naked pictures online?
I think that we're entitled just as much as other people.
No, you're totally entitled. You have freedom to do it. I'm asking a
Yeah.
different question. Are you more desirable or less desirable for a
It's
man?
always been the same for me. Like, I've always received love the same way, and that's pretty shit. Like, I don't really receive it. They all looked at me the same from the beginning.
How do you know how men look at you?
Because when I talk to them, I usually feel head over heels for them, and they all view me the same way. So whether or not I'm doing OnlyFans and selling my body, or not doing OnlyFans and selling my body, I'm still looked at the same way. They still think that of me.
Yeah, you don't know the male mind very well.
But they've already told me themselves how
And men
they
are
view
really
me.
good liars. Do you know that?
True.
Then how could you know they're telling the truth?
I don't know. I just take their word for it.
You just said they're good liars.
Well, I don't know.
I'd say a lot of the guys that I know are more, I guess, the higher value type guys.
And there's actually-
they don't take girls seriously.
No, yeah,
and
just-
they
Yeah,
will never
but
look at them for marriage.
some people actually do want trans women and want to marry trans women and have kids with trans women.
Erroneous!
But very few.
Erroneous!
Well, hold on.
Very
No,
few.
do you think those men are virtuous, high-quality men that won't cheat on you?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
It doesn't sound like it, but it's actually really normalized in my area.
No, the fact that it's normalized is not the point. The point is it good? Is it right to post suggestive pictures of yourself online, number one? And does it get closer to your goal of being married for the rest of your life with a soulmate that you love?
I feel like, obviously, like, I want to get married, and obviously, like, I feel like if I was with a guy and he didn't accept my past, I wouldn't want to be with him.
Not your past, if you're still doing it.
If he,
Like,
if
if
he
you
didn't
quit-
accept it, then
So
piss off.
let me ask you a hypothetical. If you met a man and he says, I'm earning $2 million a year, would you quit OnlyFans?
Okay, like that, yes. If they can make as much as I can, then yes, I'll
So you would quit OnlyFans?
But if they're going to say, like, stop doing it, but they're not doing anything with their life, then no, I'm not going to
Okay,
stop.
so it's just purely financial for you?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Would you agree it's just purely financial for you?
Literally, yeah.
Okay. Do you think that you have more to offer to the world than your body?
Of course.
Yeah.
Then why don't you do that?
Because I
we
just chose not to.
Yeah.
Because you chose. But I know. But don't you think
I mean,
you're?
we have more to offer, but we also want to be able to travel and explore.
Okay.
You know
No.
what
Now
I
we're
mean?
getting
And
somewhere. So you want a fun life.
Yeah, a free
Yes.
life where we
Okay.
can travel, like, live our life, like, young.
Everything in life comes with a cost.
Of course.
And the cost for you is that your body will now be shared by tens of thousands of
Yeah.
people, not just your soulmate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But don't you feel a little bit of sadness that you wish that your body would just be sold with your future, shared with your future soulmate?
I did have that mindset, and then, like, I feel like men actually changed me and turned me into this person. And
Who did? A men?
No, like,
Oh,
men in general, like, they just turned me into this person. I didn't plan my life going this way. It was literally a 1-minute decision, and I thought, I might as well. They all view me the same, so I'll just throw my life in and do it.
Well,
But I feel like if a man wants to be with me and love me for who I am, then so be it. But if they're going to judge me for what my work is and what I do, then I'm not going to let them in my life.
right. So the judging is a separate issue. I'm just, do you think the type of man you want, I imagine, is one that tells the truth and that is loyal to you?
Yeah.
That pool of men that you eventually want to have a family with,
Yeah.
do you think they will look fondly upon OnlyFans girls?
I don't know. Like,
Yeah,
generally, I don't know.
I could tell you as a man that we look so lowly on OnlyFans girls, it's the equivalent to digital prostitution.
Yeah.
That's your opinion.
No, it's not.
Really?
It's the average Western male.
I don't know if it's
Wait,
like.
what is his opinion?
I mean, it's not an opinion. It's,
Yeah,
it is factual that the average Western male looks at fans no different than an escort service delivered digitally.
Well, isn't it just objectively true?
And I'm not
that-
trying to attack either of you. I think you're both victims caught up in this terrible trend. I just want to ask you, have you thought deeply about how this might get you further from your goal, not closer to your goal?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I have definitely thought about that.
But
Like, when,
that's-
like, I first started it, I was like, this comes with, like, consequences, though. So, like, I obviously thought about it and was like, but I'm going to do this, and obviously it's going to be harder to find a guy to marry, but I'm taking that risk.
Yeah, I've always thought about just taking the risk. And I've always been like a risk taker. I don't really care about what anyone else thinks. Like, that's up to you and what you think. But if I think that I can get somewhere by it, then I'm going to do it.
Do you both want children?
Yeah.
Well, I do, but I don't know if I can.
You mean physically or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you were to have children and you were to go to your first grader's career day and you were to present to a bunch of first graders, how would you describe what you do to a bunch of first graders?
Well, I don't think that I'll still be doing OnlyFans when I do have kids. I feel like that's something that I would stop before
Okay.
I did have kids.
Yeah.
Just so, like, it's not like, obviously, like, the internet is always going to be there. But I
The
feel like
internet
it's
is forever, yeah.
Yeah, but I feel like it's something that I would stop before I did have children, kind of thing.
Can I ask approximately? I have no idea. How much money do you earn annually? Is that okay to ask? I'm just curious.
So in the last 6 months, I've earned over $115,000.
U.S. dollars or
AUS.
AUS. So what is
Yeah.
that conversion rate? Like 80%,
So
right?
like, yeah. So it was
You
like,
can buy like a croissant or something with that.
Yeah, exactly. No, I think it's 80,000 American, right? About?
yeah,
Is that correct?
yeah. I think so.
I'm guessing. I don't know.
That's
okay.
in 6 months?
Yeah,
So you're projected to have like over 180,000 by next year? 160?
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
12 grand a month.
Did you have more on that?
No,
or-
I just want to make sure everybody watching and you guys all think deeply about that and how men view not just trans culture, but you all said marriage, and some of you said marriage and kids is the most important thing, but far too often our actions and what we do every day is actually not getting us closer to our stated goal.
Well, you can say that to the subscribers too, who subscribe to their.
I think that
contribute to their pockets, but that's what I mean.
They should be shamed.
How can we find husbands in our 20s, in our early 20s? I'm not in my early 20s, but how could we find husbands if they're busy subscribing to chicks?
Yeah, well, not every man is, and that's a
Sure.
really good question. So where did all the good men go? I talk about this in my book, actually. The first piece of advice I have for young ladies is do not post suggestive material of yourself online. Men want what they cannot see and cannot have. Mystery is lacking in the West.
Mm-hmm.
And I know this is lost on a lot of young ladies. They say, the more I post of myself on, with a bikini on the beach, the more men will like you. No, I mean, the more they'll want to have sex with you, but then they'll look at you as just a visual or a commodity, not as a future soulmate.
Mm-hmm.
And the second part is, to be perfectly honest with you, religious men check a lot of the boxes that you guys are looking for. I know that. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, that's my. I feel like that's one reason why I was able to find men like that. It's because even though they weren't conservative, they still had very, very deep religious values.
Can you tell me more? That's so interesting.
Mainly Catholic. I'm also Catholic.
Yeah. So, and they believed in the God, right? They wanted to have a family.
Yeah, they didn't necessarily read the Bible word for word every
course.
day, but they followed the Bible.
So would you say that's, if you're looking to find a man in the West and it's your number one priority, and you were given a random selection of a Catholic man or kind of a femboy atheist, you would take the Catholic?
Yeah, I would.
Would you?
The Catholic, yes. I think femboy atheist is so funny.
So how many of you are then going to church actively trying to find a man?
I mean, I don't need to.
I know, but
I didn't meet any of my boyfriends in church,
fair enough.
and I feel like I wouldn't have, if I'm going to be honest. I feel like you can meet a really religious man outside of church.
Fair enough, yeah.
You just have to find where you guys both coincide, and like at the library, studying for your exams, for example.
I actually recommend to my single friends to find men in the church because
I agree.
Usually stand-up guys, typically.
Yeah, and I mean, there's exceptions to every rule. And so my advice to my two Australian friends is that if you want the thing that is the most important thing to you, start making those decisions younger than older, because you might end up be filled with a lot of money and a lot of regret.
Well put, Charlie. Well put. Let me read two of these chats that we have kind of. Hugo, here we go. Thank you, Hugo. Appreciate it. Yeah, I'll get it. And then he sent in this other one here.
He sent in a lot of Bible verses.
Yeah. Hugo, Brian Reed, I know your faith, service, and perseverance, but you tolerate that fake prophet Jezebel, who leads my servants into sex immorality and idol worship. She refuses to repent, so I will cast her into suffering and make her followers suffer unless they repent. Rev 2:19-22. And then in this one, though, you said it was 1921. So, thank you.
Might be
Appreciate
a different one.
Could be, yeah, it could be a different one. Yeah, these are the same. But Hugo, thank you, man. Really appreciate your chat, guys. If you want to get in some couple chats. So I do want to get into our next topic here, and that topic is, we've asked this on the show a couple times. It went viral. This conversation, not from the show, went viral. I think it'd be good to do it while we have Charlie here. Question is, would you rather be stuck in the woods with a random man or a random bear? Starting with you. Go ahead.
How random?
Totally random. So the U.S. male population is like over 150 million, so just a random man.
I've heard really good arguments for both.
Well, what's I guess kind of your knee-jerk
What resonates for
gut choice here?
How long am I stuck?
I think you're overthinking the question a little bit, but so it's just random man or random bear.
Oh, okay.
You get randomly plopped in the forest.
Sure.
The man gets randomly plopped in the forest. You are going to cross paths. The choice is between crossing paths with a random man or a random bear.
Random man.
Okay.
So I'm going to preface this. I was on the show a month ago,
Yep.
and we had that question, and I did answer bear. And I'm just going to say, I'm going to change my answer for the sake of, I don't feel like arguing for the bear.
Wait, no. You can't change your answer for the sake of not wanting to argue it. Answer honestly.
No, because the reason why I chose the bear last time was for the sake of the argument, if I'm going to be so honest. Like, if a random man, the chances of it being like all those points I made of the violent, the essay, all that, the chances of that are pretty low compared to the chances of the bear seeing me, running after me, so I don't feel like arguing for the sake of the bear. We're going to choose the man today.
So to be clear, your answer is the bear, but you just don't want to argue it because Charlie's here.
No. I said I chose the bear on the show last time because
Okay.
I, for the sake of the argument, I had so many reasons to argue for the bear. Whereas, like, right now, I'm like, why would I even do that? Like, the chances of it being a violent man and all those things that I had already mentioned, which, you know.
So I convinced
so low.
you through my argumentation.
No, the thing is, I already knew that from the start. Like, if you told me, if you phrased the question like this, one of my male friends, or a male I knew, or a male that I've even
that's not the question,
is in
though.
IV that I know, like, you know,
Not the question,
atmosphere
though.
here.
Not the question, though.
I know, but
So it's a random. It's a
I'm being so
random
real
man.
today.
Yeah.
Are you?
Yeah, that's good. So I'm gonna choose
But
the man
you're
today.
saying I choose the man if you frame the question like
No,
this.
I'm saying like that just adds to it. But I'm choosing the man either way today.
Okay.
Man.
By the way, don't let people's previous you can if somebody else says man, and you think bear, don't let them pressure you into answering otherwise. Go ahead.
Of course, man, but I'm curious what your reasons for bear were. I guess I'll go watch that.
Yeah, we can get into that.
It was a whole
Go
segment,
ahead.
girl.
I'll watch it.
Man or bear?
Yeah, I don't understand why I would be with a bear, so.
Wait, okay, hold on. Okay, let me just explain the scenario here. So, there's a button on the table, we press it, boom, instantly you're transported into a forest. So is a random man, and so is a random bear. You guys are gonna cross paths within 5 minutes, let's say.
Okay, man.
Okay,
I would say bear.
there we go. Okay, we got a bear, all right.
Man.
Man?
Man.
Man?
Man.
Yeah, man.
You would rather. And so we'll get into the reasons why. I think when we ask men this question, I'll frame it differently for you, Charlie. Would you rather your daughter be alone in the woods with a random man, totally random man, or a random bear?
Probably man. I know how vicious bears can be, and you might get a man who would be charitable.
So you say bear. Come on, guys. You were bear last time. We'll just. Okay, anyways, why do you say bear over man?
I just think like the chance of you potentially getting stuck with a man that could like yeah, you can get mauled by a bear, but like a man can like keep you in captivity and like
They could,
Like,
they could torture you. They
Yeah,
could,
But
then
they can
I-
also help you out of the
yeah,
woods.
but
Help you survive.
yeah, but I feel like I could probably do it myself too.
Fair enough. So you said that there's a chance that the men could do X, right? So they could, whatever. What percentage of men do you think in this scenario would opt to victimize you in some sort of way?
I mean, I would say maybe high, just because like even if I'm walking on the street, I'm like getting harassed. So like.
Okay, and that's wrong. But so when you say high, can you give us a percentage? 50%, 60%?
I want to say 50, but. I don't
So, okay, so 50. So in the scenario, you think 50% of men would choose to attack you or do something untoward in this situation?
I mean, you never know. I just think like, yeah, like a bear, you can approach the situation more calmly and you can
Could
walk
you?
away.
You could. What if I told you bears run faster than humans? Does that change anything?
No.
Okay.
Because I think if you,
So you think 50% of men are inclined to victimize you in some sort of way?
I just would rather not be in the forest with a man. I'd rather be alone with a bear.
Well, yeah, that's the question. So there's how many men are in here? We've got 2, 4, is it 6? Yep. We have, so half of us, 3 of us in this situation would try to do something gnarly, you think? Or
I mean,
that's 50%, right? It's that.
but if it's the whole population, there's probably a good amount of men that would want to try to do something that's not helping you get out of the forest.
And is that percent of the population, is that 50%? I think that's the number you used.
I mean, potentially.
Okay.
What if the man has to be afraid of us?
Do you think it's fit? You go to UC Riverside, right? Do you think it would be
Femboy.
Do you think it would be 50% of the men at UC Riverside would do this?
I mean, if anything, I think
Higher?
no, definitely.
Oh, lower at UC Riverside. Okay.
Yeah, but I don't think if I was stuck
What's the population of the United? Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
if I was stuck in the forest with a man from UCR, like I don't think they're gonna help me. So
What are they gonna
Okay.
do?
yeah, like I don't think they're gonna do anything.
Okay, so what's the population of the United States? 320 million or something? Anybody know?
It's 350, I think.
350. Okay, so then how many is that? That's 170 million men, about 175. So half of let's say half of 170 is 85. Do I have that right?
Yep.
Sorry, it's been minutes since I took algebra. Right? 75 million, or wait, what did I say? 70?
It's like 125, right?
75 million? 100.
It's about
Wait, so half of that is, oh my God,
just over 87.
Sorry.
350 is 87.5
80,
million.
85 million?
87.5.
85, let's just say, okay. So are you prepared to state that 85 million men in the United States would choose or opt to victimize a woman in this scenario?
Hopefully not.
Well, what you hope is kind of irrelevant here. I'm just trying to get clarification on if you think the number is actually that high, that you think
mean, if
half of men would
I just think it's
do
a
this.
50-50 chance that the person that you're stuck with is that
Right, so
they will either
50.
help you or help you not. Like they won't help you.
Well, okay, well,
Like,
you think it's a
depending-
50-50
like,
chance
depending
that
on
they
the
would help you or
person.
not help you?
Yeah, depending on the person, there's a 50-50 chance that they will help you or not. Not saying
Well,
50%
But
of
you said
men.
your fear is about being attacked. So how does helping you play into this?
Or like there's a 50-50 chance of them either attacking me or wanting to like help me get out of the forest.
So 50% of men would choose to attack you.
No, I'm saying like
It's a
it would be
50-50
an
means 50%.
individual percentage, like I don't know how to explain.
You mean like on the basis of choice? Like a man will
Yeah.
either hurt you or help you?
Yeah.
No, I think it's either he'll help you or not help you. And then within not help you, maybe he'll attack you, but
Yeah.
that percentage goes very low. So
I mean, I feel like I've been camping enough, so I feel like I'd rather just be with the bear. So,
Have you ever seen a bear in person?
I mean, no, but
Me and my friend discussed this one time, and she chose bear. She genuinely thought that like baby bears were like Winnie the Pooh size, and like adult bears were like German Shepherd size. So she's
Wait,
like,
Nick,
oh,
do we have
bear
that
all day long?
meme? The Steve or
They're
whatever. no?
huge.
yeah. But
And vicious.
Yes.
Nick, can you pull this up? This is kind of related.
Oh, you've been in our chat?
No, it's the one that should already be. Brown bear, 9 feet tall, 1,300 pounds, claws up to 4 inches, bite force 1,200 psi, speed up to 35. Kyle, 5'10", 174 pounds, project engineer, said hi to you at the gym. So this is kind of like, this is my views on this. It's just, I don't know, it's just pretty interesting. So, I mean, Charlie, so we've asked this question a bunch of times on the show. A lot of women say bear. This panel, we only have the one here. What are your thoughts on this sort of the women picking the bear?
Well, I'm curious, have you been victimized by men?
like random men, yeah.
I'm sorry.
Like catcalling is, I think that's what you were alluding to before, right?
Yeah.
Like guys harassing you on the street or
No,
whatever.
I'm curious how many people give those answers have had repeated negative interactions with random men.
Right.
Because it could definitely color there.
Daily.
But, daily? I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah. But no, I mean, in America, a lot of people would think that men are out to hurt you. And they're not totally wrong sometimes. But, I mean, percentage-wise, you're much more likely to have a bear rip you apart than have a man rip you apart. So.
What are the stats on, like, it's 1 in 3 or 1 in 4 women report that they've been sexually assaulted?
Yeah,
it's a lot,
It's
right?
way inflated, though. There's a lot of rapes and sexual assaults, but that's...
What are the stats on I hung out with a bear and lived to tell? 0, right?
I've seen
nobody's
seen a grizzly bear up close and personal, and I've lived.
Right?
Yeah.
Only them.
That is not fun. You don't want to see a grizzly bear. That is not fun.
Scary.
Oh yeah, they're huge. I mean, and I'm a tall guy, and you look at
Yeah, you're tall, Charlie.
Yeah.
What are you, 6'4"?
Yeah, 6'4", 6'5", and
okay.
they get up, and you look up at them, and they grizzlies are the worst. Now you didn't specify what type of bear though.
Oh yeah,
You see-
koala.
I was being reasonable.
Well, koala, but if
random
it's
bears. It could
if
be
it's a
grizzly.
if it's a black bear, they will not hurt you. But if it's a grizzly bear or a polar bear will hunt you.
I thought I thought brown
Nick,
bears
could you
safe.
find the black
Yes,
bear?
brown is
Black
no. It's, I
bears.
said, yeah, brown is safe. Well, brown is a mixture of black and grizzly, but
Okay, so that's
black
what I
is black is safe. Brown, it depends how you define it. It's not a real term. Grizzly is a round face, and they'll hunt you down.
Right, he
But
knows so much
polar
about
is the
bears.
worst. Polar
Polar's
is
bad.
Polar
Polar's
is the
bad.
only animal that actively hunts humans.
Yeah, see, if Brian would have specified polar bear that first round on that
See?
last episode,
There
I
you
would
go.
have never chosen
Polar bear, as soon as they smell your scent within like a 50-mile radius, they're hunting you.
Oh my gosh.
So if you pull a tag to hunt a polar bear, it's a two-way hunt.
Yeah, I think everyone is under the assumption it was the other bear.
Yeah, but the grizzly bear will leave you alone as long as you don't like overly provoke them. But a grizzly does kill humans. Very rarely does a black bear kill
We
humans.
actually had, I think a month ago, within
I've
the
done
past
a lot of
month,
bear hunting, so.
Within the past month, here in California, first ever black bear fatality. A woman.
Is that right? No,
a
it's
woman,
extremely rare.
It is rare. A woman was killed by black bear up in, where
She
was it?
must have been a
Sacramento?
real. She must have done something weird.
She tried to poke the bear. I don't know.
Or,
tried to
yeah,
smack him.
that's-
So, Joke, if
I
you
got
take a
the news, go ahead.
22 when you're bear hunting, make sure to like
Oh, 22 is
stand
too
off the
weak.
end because then it'll hurt less when the bear shoves a beer. Because
A 22 will not slow down a bear.
you'll just
Yeah.
anger it. Like do
Oh, yeah.
nothing, right?
No, that's bear spray is actually more effective than 99% of firearms in stopping a bear. That's a good little side note if you're ever backcountry hiking, because most guns will just piss off the bear.
What is bear spray? What's in bear spray?
I don't know.
Probably
It's
pepper spray.
yeah, it's like pepper spray, but it's so irritating to the bear, it just flees the area. Yeah, it goes right up their nasal cavity, and they get out of there. So, I mean, again, the goal is not to kill the bear; it's to get them out of the way. So,
Yeah.
so you do not want to mess with the mama bear either. That's no fun.
Now, I did want to get back into some perhaps dating related.
David doesn't know what he's talking about.
Friend?
There you go.
Sister's friend.
Some dating related topics. So, actually, I don't know if we went around. Would you guys date did we already ask this? Would you guys date a conservative guy?
You didn't ask that.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah? Okay.
If he wasn't hardcore.
Hardcore.
Hardcore?
So no
Hardcore
MAGA hat?
conservative.
Yeah, like I can't have MAGA hat. That's
No.
not an
No MAGA
option.
hat.
What
So
if-
I'm-
what if he's like a conservative from like a different nation?
Like
Kazakhstan.
like Germany.
Yeah. Wait, no.
See,
no.
got her.
No, not part of ISIS, but like if there's like a country where conservatives are
Anti-German
like
bias.
not hardcore, not Trumpy, just regular guys.
Like the UK, would that be a good? They're kind of less conservatives in the
Yeah,
UK.
they're
less,
they're like Democrats.
Yeah.
I'm
yeah,
curious.
so
Like,
I would date a UK.
I'm not here to debate you.
Yeah,
I'm curious.
sure.
When you hear of like MAGA e Trumpy, what is like? Give me a word association. What do you think?
Someone who wouldn't like me. I like for one, like it's not even just that. Like they
Is it the
wouldn't.
hair?
Huh?
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 I didn't say anything.
What?
Is it?
I
Is
mean-
it the hair? Like, is that what they would not like about you?
Yeah, this hair tends to attract a very different type of man than the
Like
Trumpy.
It's like the bangs.
Yeah, Trumpies don't like the bangs.
They don't like the bangs. Okay.
But that's good because I don't like Trumpies. I don't want them approaching me either way.
Trumpies. Okay.
Yeah.
What about Trumpies don't you like?
Oh my God! Do you want a list of things?
Give
No,
us
I'm
a
curious.
list.
I'm
Give us
trying.
a
I'm
list.
Okay,
I don't
well-
meet this
Well,
sort
if
of.
I'm gonna get really specific,
Get specific.
the type of Trumpies that I grew up with, because I'm from Woodland, California, so those are like
Okay.
the redneck.
Yeah,
Trumpies.
Redding, California,
Like
sure.
no, like
Even north of that?
yeah, like you know where Sacramento is.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, right next to Sac, and then right in between Davis, so it's like Cowtown, like farmers
Okay.
land.
So that's his Trumpy world.
Yeah, I can't do redneck.
But I think you were going to list kind of some of the reasons why
Well, I
you
don't.
wouldn't date a Trumpy.
Yeah, because that's the type of man I'm envisioning. A racist redneck who drives his little tractor around town and raises goats for his free time.
Sounds like a good time. I mean, the tractor part. Maybe
mean-
not the racism.
Yeah, well, I'm also Hispanic and I speak Spanish, so it's like, yeah, these men wouldn't deal with that.
Aren't there like Latinos for Trump?
Oh, they're a huge.
There's a lot
coalition.
of conservatives
Huge
that are like
coalition.
Latinos.
Tons.
but-
Yeah.
What about are there like immigrants for Trump, or is that?
Oh, there's all sorts of
That's probably
coalitions.
That would be, something. But
that
no,
would
I'm
be
not.
interesting.
I wouldn't date an immigrant for Trump either.
Okay.
No.
So that's like a no-go. MAGA
Yeah.
hat.
Yeah.
No go. Okay. What about you?
Every man I've loved has been conservative.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
You date a conservative guy?
I haven't dated, but I've dealt with one.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, didn't you say that part of the reasons your relationship broke up, I think if I recall, you said he was a bit more on the conservative side, your ex-boyfriend of 3 years?
I wouldn't say he was like conservative.
Maybe not like
You
politically.
said it was Islamic, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was religious.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Muslim.
Okay. What about you?
Yeah.
Word?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
And I married one.
There you go. Okay.
I don't date men.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
I want to ask this question. Would you date a young Donald Trump?
Like literally young Donald Trump?
Yeah,
When he was young?
Yeah, when he was young.
Hell yeah.
Oh, okay. All right, there you go. Would you date
a
young
well-rounded
Donald
guy.
Trump?
No.
Okay, all right. What about you?
Of course.
Or would you date Donald Trump now? If he was
Well,
single.
he's married, so
If he was single,
that would be
yeah.
rough, and I like Melania, so I'm
Yeah,
not going to do that to
okay,
her.
all right.
But yeah, in the 90s, I have friends who used to date him in the 90s. Two of my friends.
Oh.
And apparently he was a great guy, super fun, super smart. I mean,
Wow.
you know, in Manhattan, everyone above a certain floor
Oh, right, 'cause
is a
you're-
Trump fan.
yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone below a certain floor hates him. It's kind of vertical in Manhattan.
Interesting. Okay. Would you date young Donald Trump? DT?
No.
No. Not your type.
I don't even know much about Donald Trump. I don't.
Must be nice living in Australia away
Yeah,
from.
no, actually, no, I haven't. I've only seen like
Okay.
memes of him. That's
Sure.
it.
Would you date young Donald Trump?
I don't even know what he looked like when he was young.
He was
Should we-
very dashingly
Nick, pull up
handsome.
his mugshot, please.
I don't know much about him, so I can't really have an opinion.
No, I think he's a little bit too.
I think
public for me.
he uses as much fake tan as you guys. I'm
Oh,
sorry,
is it
that
fake
didn't land.
Oh my god.
My bad.
It's a natural
This
tan,
isn't fake
babe.
tan.
Oh, so it's natural?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's the
okay,
Gold,
so-
it is the Gold Coast.
Yeah, yeah, my bad. Wait,
Oh my God, that's
would you?
not.
Okay, whoa, what? They photoshopped this.
not
They
young.
photoshopped
This
this.
is recent. This is not young Donald Trump.
They photoshopped this. They put red in his eyes. That's definitely they.
So mean.
Anyways, handsome guy, right? Would
So,
you?
like, I wouldn't date him if he was younger than me.
Okay, all right.
I'm curious. So, if the election was today, would you vote for Trump?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, but are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes.
Oh, I thought you didn't you say you were from Russia?
Yeah. I
Kazakhstan.
came here when I was 3. Uzbekistan.
Kazakhstan's
Oh,
the,
okay.
Kazakh's the best.
Uzbek.
And
thank you.
I think I know your answer. F no.
I was just going to say no.
Okay. And then,
I'm still on the fence. My
On the
family
fence?
knows I'm very, very divided.
okay.
I feel you.
Just don't know.
And then Australia, so
Yeah, they
not
can't.
applicable. Who are you going to vote for in the presidential election?
I don't vote.
Okay. Okay. No idea.
Trump.
I think I know your
And
answer.
I'm like, you know my answer.
This is a Trump-heavy panel.
Why don't you vote?
We could do young Donald.
There he is.
That's cool.
Still kind of old, not gonna lie.
Yeah,
He's
do
just
you
a
have
little.
Oh, is that successful Donald though? Yeah.
This is
That's before he really started.
Fix his eyebrows.
That's right. Look, he's got some eyebrows. Yeah,
His son
it's
is
not
gonna-
body
his
shame,
son is
okay?
gonna be so good looking.
All right.
Trousers on.
Yeah, this is a bit. I think perhaps some of them are a bit frightened in your presence, Charlie, to reveal their super progressive and liberal positions here.
I'm not that. I'm not a bear.
He's not a bear. Not a bear. I'm going to read. Actually, I'll wait a little bit on the chats. I did want to come back to the feminist conversation. Would you date a guy who's not a feminist?
In what way?
Like he's just not a
Describe him.
feminist?
Like, what is he not? Does he want me to not vote?
He's fine with women voting. Let's just say that. But he's not a feminist.
I don't know. I think that question has to be elaborated a little bit more. It's pretty generalized. It's hard for me to say.
Okay. I'll move it on. What about you?
Well, is he anti-feminist or is he just like, oh, I don't hold political views type of guy?
He is anti-feminist.
Okay, no.
No? Would you date an anti-feminist guy?
No. Oh, no.
Actually, and you were gone when we asked this. Would you date Donald Trump?
No.
Young Donald Trump? Young Donald Trump. Okay.
So many yeses.
Yes.
Would you date an anti-feminist?
It would, if he's hateful and hates women, I don't want to hear it, so probably not.
Okay. Well, so you can be not a feminist, but also like women.
Okay, then you sure.
Yeah.
But
As long as he's not one of these angry
you can't
ones.
be anti-feminist and like woman, really.
No, you can.
To that degree. I mean, because anti-feminist men are saying that women shouldn't vote, that they should stay in the house.
No, not necessarily. Not necessarily. So you can be. So feminism is an ideology. It has nothing to do.
Yeah.
Like, you
but
could
people
love
who
women.
label themselves as an anti-feminist man.
You're saying they
let's say-
tend to.
Yes, they tend to be those type of guys,
It's not
and we're
clear to me
going
if that's
under
true.
generalization. You know.
Then let me ask this question: do women who label themselves as feminists, do they hate men?
No.
Okay.
Are there
So
feminists who hate men? For sure, very
Sure,
much.
yeah, and there's
But-
anti-feminists who hate women.
Yeah.
But
And
I
there's
don't think
feminists who hate women. It's a weird
There's
world.
anti-feminist women who also don't have any hate for women either.
Yeah, it's a weird world.
Yeah, but you can be a woman and be anti-feminist.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not clear to me. So what? I mean, if you had to assign a percentage, what percentage of anti-feminists do you think also hate women?
Over half. That's why I would
More than
just.
half?
Yeah, that's why I would just choose no
Pretty
for
big.
that man.
It's a pretty big number. Not sure. I don't know if they've done a study on this, but I can't imagine that that's actually accurate. Where were we? We're going around the table. Would you date an anti-feminist?
No.
No. Okay.
Probably not.
No.
Yeah, sure. Take back the right to vote. I don't care. We didn't earn it.
What?
Oh, there you go. Okay.
That's a new one.
It's based.
Okay.
I would.
You would. Okay. All right. Yeah. Well, there you have it, folks. I don't. Hold on. First
Wait,
off,
I have a quick question. Can I please ask?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you say take back the right to vote, okay, cool. Let's say they do that and they promise you everything traditional, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then they say, by the way, because of the way that we've been living under the way things are right now, we're under the whole population thing where there's not enough workforce, which is already what they're saying, right? So what if they implement a new law where they say women have to have 4 kids, 5 kids, 6 kids even, and they write that into law? You can't vote on it. Are you okay with it?
Oh yeah, I want like 12. Like I want a huge family.
And you are okay with
Yeah.
all your daughters being forced to have 6 kids and their daughters being forced to have 6 kids?
Yeah.
Like you understand that it's not just you being affected, it's everyone around
Wait,
you.
you object to people being forced into something?
Yeah, I object to people being forced to have 6 kids.
Hold on.
Like,
What about the
can you-
draft?
I'm against the force.
Yeah, but okay. The current status quo is men are forced into
Yeah.
registering for the selective service.
Because we already agreed that there has to be
Yeah.
a draft.
By the way,
didn't
the
we?
scenario that you outlined I can't imagine. I don't even think
I would hope it would
historically-
never happen,
I don't
but-
even think historically there's ever been a law that compelled women to have children.
Yeah.
Now, it could have been socially and culturally.
They don't even have that
there's
in
an
Saudi
expectation.
Arabia.
Yeah, they don't even have that in like.
It was just an example. I just wanted
countries.
to see where her mind was at. She answered it truthfully, and that's that. It's not an argument thing. It's just I wanted to see where she stood with that. Like she's 100% okay.
I have
with
a question.
having no
What if we
rights.
lived in a world that forced men onto the battlefield and they had to die and go in the trenches and get trench foot and get chemical gassed? What if we? Oh, you mean the current world? Oh, okay.
What if we lived in a world
What?
where
That's crazy.
men created that themselves? Oh wait, we do.
Well, actually, here, let me just rebut what you're saying. So they actually did an analysis of monarchs, and they actually found that queens were much more likely to wage war than kings.
Yeah, queens were also a lot more likely to have successful empires. So that's one thing.
Okay, but that doesn't really.
It does, because why did they have?
But you're
such-
saying, but it's men's fault. If I point out
I
something
said
that.
men. No, I said that thing, the war thing. I didn't say everything is men's fault, did I? I said the war thing.
Right,
Who
that's
created
what
that?
I'm talking about.
Men. Or do you
Who
have
created?
war?
It's not clear to me if men created war.
So, are you arguing that women are
You think-
actually at
you
fault
think-
of war?
let's
Is that your
assume-
argument,
Hold on.
Brian?
Let's assume that there were no men, and it was just societies of women. They could, what is asexual reproduction? I don't know what the term is called.
Parthenogenesis.
You don't think like differing tribes of women? You don't think they would like engage in warfare?
100%. I just don't think that they would have the current draft that we have. I don't think
You don't
that.
think there would be a?
The
Well,
things.
this is a very hypothetical scenario.
Yeah, it
but-
very much is, but I don't think we'd have the current draft scenario that we have if women were the ones at the front lines. There's no men ever. No woman wouldn't be choosing, let's just send everyone to war.
Wait, so what's the argument?
What's the argument?
Are you saying women want peace more?
No, he just asked me who started war, and I said men.
Oh.
And I was
I didn't ask you that question. That manifested out of the ether.
What just happened?
Okay, anyways, I had that point. I said men started war, and you were arguing against that. That was that. So you're saying that if men didn't start war, then who did? Women.
It's not clear to me if it's because of gender that wars occur. There's various geopolitical conflicts. This is my land. No, it's my land. It's not clear. I'm a man. I have a pee-pee. Because of this, I'm going to go to war with other men because they're men. That's not the justification or pretext for war.
I think that the current way that we handle war and that war is because of men.
How's that?
That's just my opinion.
How's the way we handle war?
The current political state, the way war is, I just feel like that's because of men. If you disagree and you say it's because of women, that's...
No, I'm not saying it's because of women. It's not clear to me if it's because of gender or because of sex.
Oh, I believe so.
Hmm?
I believe so.
So you think, men engage in warfare because men?
Yeah.
Because of our male nature?
Yeah.
It couldn't be due to geopolitical conflicts. This is my land. No, that's my land.
I feel like it could be handled very much other ways than war. But because of the way that the world already is, we're at a point where the only option is war. You can't give humans war and atomic bombs and all these things and then expect them to be actually, let's just have peace forever and ever. Because you guys already introduced war and all these things and the current political state, we're always going to have war with the way we run things right now, yeah.
Okay. I'm not really hearing an argument, though.
There was no argument. I just said that this was because of men. You wanted to argue against that, so it's kind of prolonged.
Is it because of men or because of human beings?
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm getting at.
Well, I think it's because of men.
So if women ran the world, what would that look like?
I honestly don't know, but a lot more peaceful than
Free
it is right
tampons.
now.
Free tampons.
That's it.
So that's an interesting question. Do you fight more amongst other women, or do you see men fight amongst other male friends?
Honestly, the way things are handled, I see men have a lot more conflicts than women.
Men are more physical, but not to say women
Do
are more
women hold
diplomatic.
grudges more, or do men hold grudges more?
Honestly, the way I see it in the world, too,
You know the
men.
answer. I could see it on your face.
Men duke it out faster.
Do men forgive quicker?
I don't know about that. I think it depends on the man. But
Do you hold grudges against other women?
I don't.
Wait,
No?
you were going to say, actually, when it came to the grudges question, what was going to be your statement?
Oh, I don't feel like,
He was asking who holds grudges more.
I don't know. I don't think
Okay.
women
All right.
have to.
Going
hold
around the
grudges
table,
more.
go ahead.
About who holds grudges?
Huh?
What was the question?
You didn't hear what he literally
The
just said 10
grudges?
seconds ago? Yeah? What do you think?
I wanted to say that there's lots of war in non-humans. Chimps and lots of
Yes,
animals do
that's right.
war. And a lot of females. We talked about mama bears. There's very few things more violent than a mama if you come after her babies. So I don't think violence is the exclusive bastion of men. I just think because in sexually dimorphic species, ones where the male is bigger than the female, men are stronger and can do more damage. They're just bigger. But that's not all animals.
Is conflict inherently masculine?
it's inherently human.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, human.
Yeah.
Would the world be better run with more of a feminine approach or masculine approach?
I feel like
to be a blend.
it needs to be more balanced because
I
what I
agree.
mean by that is men aren't just masculine forces, whereas women aren't just feminine forces.
They're a blend.
Exactly.
So currently in America, is America run in a more feminine way or more masculine way right now?
It's kind of hard because even I feel like if you look at most men in America right now, they have a lot more femininity than they should. Like
I
they're not
agree.
masculine enough.
So
I don't know.
So let me ask it differently. Do you think in America feelings triumphs over reason, or does reason triumph over feelings? What do you,
The former, and
Feelings.
it's nonsense.
feelings over reason?
Right now, I feel.
Currently, yeah.
I think certainly on the internet, and it's nonsense.
And that would be more feminine than it is masculine.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyone care to disagree?
Anyone else want to weigh in?
Bring back men. Even my most ardent feminist friends.
Bring back men.
At certain times, they want a man. That's in us, and
It's built
maybe
in
there's
you.
a time to be sort of a man, and there's a time to be what's ascribed as more feminine, right? When you listen to your wife kvetch about stuff,
Yes.
you're kind of
And
giving
so,
her that.
so when society is more feminine, it is so in the traditional nuclear family, it is dad or the male's job to say no, to be the rule giver, to put in order and regimen. That's not to say that mom can't, but mom is supposed to be there to be the more empathetic, compassionate, and we see this time and time again, by the way, of boys that are raised by just moms, very, very violent in their trajectory, right? Especially if they don't have men around. It's just the way it is, because they've never had a male figure to tell them no. Do you guys think in America right now we have a self-control problem?
I do.
100,000%. Yeah.
Do you think that might be because we have more homes without fathers than homes with fathers?
It might even be a product of capitalism. I'm going to bring that back.
You might be.
Because if I can buy it, I'm going to buy everything. I want to buy 6 of these types of sweatshirts rather than just one. And that comes back to self-control.
Yeah, we definitely do not have willpower or self-control. It's actually the 2 greatest predictors of human success is intelligence and self-control. One of those you can control, one of those you can't.
Did anybody else want to answer?
I know,
this
I'm
question?
just this lively chatter here.
He was asking a question. Okay, here, I'll help prompt things along then.
Let's talk about something like abortion, trans. Is there something I can get like people talking
I
or
got
something?
some. Okay, I got something.
All right, come on. Because I got to go in about 30 minutes, okay?
Okay, perfect. Hard out at like 8 p.m. about?
Yeah, like
okay.
8:10.
Yeah, we got.
Yeah, okay.
So, okay.
I got to get home to my one.
I'm going to make it dating related, but related here.
Make it spicy. Let's get.
I'll give you spicy.
Let's get
I
to
got
habanero.
spicy.
All right, let's.
I got
turn it up here,
spicy.
all right.
Okay. Would you object to a man not wanting to date a trans woman?
Would I object to a man not wanting to date a trans woman?
So a biological man who thinks he's a woman. Yeah.
No, that's his choice. He doesn't want to date a trans woman. No.
No, the same way I wouldn't object to a woman not wanting to date a trans man.
Yeah, I agree with that.
No.
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 I mean, that's his choice if he wants to date a trans man or not.
All right. So let me try to spice it up here.
Go ahead.
What is a woman?
That's a good question.
Biologically?
Yeah,
tell-
we'll start
you
with
tell me.
you. Go ahead.
Uterus.
What is a woman?
Uterus. Cool.
Uterus,
has a uterus.
hormones.
Are there
etc.
other definitions of women that we should accept?
This is an important. This is
actually
definitely
not a
dating
silly
related,
question. This is
dating
super
related.
important. It ties with the other one.
It ties in with feminism too.
Yeah.
Sure. That's the ground. That's the fundamental
Question.
importance.
Fundamental.
Yeah.
Important.
How about this way? Anybody can chime in. Can someone that doesn't have a uterus that has
Wait,
a
should we just go around and let
Yeah,
them-
sure. Go.
What is a woman?
A woman is someone with a uterus. However, a uterus doesn't always define a woman because, for example, you can have your uterus surgically removed. You're not any less of a woman because of that.
Should we have them all answer?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
And then if you want to respond, go ahead.
Yeah, I believe that a woman has a uterus,
So that would make me not a woman, in essence.
Here, let's let the girls answer. Go ahead.
No.
You're asking if gender and sex are synonyms, and that's the big debate. If you think the word woman is a synonym for the word female, then you would say a woman has primary and secondary sexual characteristics. If you're saying the words woman and female are not synonyms, then you could include like trans people who call themselves women but don't have the first or primary or secondary characteristics. So that's the debate, right?
Anyone with a uterus.
Or had.
I mean, biologically, it's someone that has XX chromosomes.
Yes, someone with a uterus.
XX chromosomes.
I mean, yeah, I think there's men and women. There's not really anything in between. I think you need to be born with uterus,
Yes.
everything.
Well, intersex
So-
is more common than red hair or green eyes.
It's not true, but that's okay. It's a
Is
good
it about
talking
1%,
point.
right?
It's not true. No,
It's
not
not?
even close. But it's a good talking point.
Yeah.
What is it then? Because it's not
like,
zero.
It's like 0.001%. But it
exist.
is more. It totally exists. Yes. No, I only pick on you for that because.
If I'm wrong about but they do exist. So we do have people that
100%,
are
yes.
that are not male, sort of, not female, sort of.
But it's a deformity, right?
Right,
So
but they're not choosing to be trying to become.
Of course,
Yeah.
no, I'm
trying to
not
become
talking
a
about
male.
something
So
else.
for example, if I was born without a leg, that's absent of being two-legged. It doesn't create a new category of something, right? So,
Okay.
and it only intersex is XXY, so they're either more female or more male. They're usually more female, but sometimes they cannot have both sex organs, aka they cannot impregnate themselves. So it's
hermaphrodite.
Yeah,
Right, yeah,
exactly. Let me ask it this way: does anyone believe that biological men can become a woman?
I think people can call themselves unicorns at this point in time if they want to. So if that's what they choose to say, that's what it is. But becoming a woman is a very, in short, no.
I'm not going to deny trans people as women.
Okay, so can I pause there? So if, as a woman, can womanhood then just be appropriated? Someone can then say, I am what you are.
No.
You said you're not going to deny trans women.
Yeah.
So Dylan Mulvaney, who's a biological man who thinks he's a preteen woman, is he a woman?
I feel like I'm just not in the position to tell him he's not a woman. If he says, if they say that they are a woman, I have no, you know what I mean? I'm not going to be like, are you a woman? Are you a man? That's nothing to do with me, honestly.
Got it. So if I'm 30, if I said I was 12, would you acknowledge that?
Yes, I would.
You would? Okay.
Yeah.
I would acknowledge it as dumb.
It's dumb. So why is it dumb for age? But I guess your answer previously.
Yeah.
But why is it with sex or gender, we kind of get really cautious and saying, well, I'm not going to deny it. But if I said I was a wolf, you would laugh at me. If I said I was a giraffe, you'd laugh at me. But with sex and gender, we're like, oh, you could be whatever you want.
Because I don't know, honestly, I've been looking at it from different perspectives ever since that issue kind of came up. Because I'm also, like I said, religious and also believe in the Bible. So it's like really conflicting, you know? But I feel like I heard this one thing on it where it was saying that it's almost like, I'm not saying this is my concrete belief, but I just heard this, which kind of made me think a little bit more about it. And they were saying how it's kind of like a mental illness. Like, you know how someone could be 30 and they could truly believe they're 12. Like, those people really exist. It's a mental illness.
Yes.
Those people exist. You don't deny them that they exist. You don't tell them, yeah, you're 30. Like, what are you doing with your life? Like, you acknowledge that it's a mental illness and you treat the person as such.
Great point. So if somebody, you're in healthcare, came to you and they said, I'm anorexic, so I think I'm fat. And they said, I want liposuction, which means the forcible removal of fat. Should you give them that surgery?
Of course not, because that would be compromising their actual health.
Hold on. But you just said that we have to affirm somebody's mental illness. They want liposuction. Why shouldn't they get it?
No, I didn't mean affirm their mental illness as in accept, oh, you are 12. I'm saying we shouldn't treat them as in, you shouldn't go up to them, to the 12, the 30.
The 30-year-old who thinks he's 12, which is a thing.
And you shouldn't, because like that's how people talk to trans people, right? They'll go up to them and be like, ha ha, you think you're a woman. Treat them with that disrespect and all that disdain. Whereas if you see the 30-year-old who's a 12-year-old, you don't go up to them telling them that they're 30. You accept that they have a mental illness.
Of course.
And you
so
know what I mean?
Let's apply it to the trans thing, the 30-year-old, 12-year-old, and the liposuction thing. Wouldn't it make more sense to treat the person and say, you're not what you think you are, rather than affirming the lie that they think there's something else? Because in the liposuction example, anorexia, you'd be like, no way would we give you forcible removal of fat if you're anorexic.
But they'll just go to the next doctor who will.
Will they? A doctor will not, under current medical procedure, give liposuction to anorexia
In America.
patient. Correct. But in trans care, a 14-year-old can get their breast removed if they think they're another sex, if they think it.
See, and that's where like it's really complicated because it's like if it is a mental illness and if that, I'm not saying I 100% concretely believe this, but if that's the case, then there should be a line of marker because it's like you shouldn't let someone who wants to mutilate their genitalia before their brains even develop.
I totally agree.
Do that if it is a mental illness and it is something that's heavily messing up their brain. 'Cause what if
you're onto something.
you know?
So the question is, when it comes to trans people, why don't we treat their brain instead of their body?
See, I feel like, yeah, that's a really good point. That's a really good point. I can't really argue against it. I also, even though I accept trans people and I do believe that trans women exist, I'm not going to deny them of.
I don't know. You're closer.
But
you're
if
just
my
saying
daughter,
that as I think you're saying that as a talking
but
point.
listen,
though.
but if my daughter, who is 10 years old, tells me, Mom, like I want, or actually let's make this easier. If it's my son that tells me, because that way he has a genitalia that could be cut off, right? If he tells me, Mom, I'm not a boy, I'm actually a woman, mutilate my genitalia, I wouldn't do that.
Okay.
I wouldn't.
But you just said.
But if they turned 18 and they asked me, Mom, will you consent to me doing this? Like, will you disown me as a child, or are you going to accept me as your child who's a woman? I would accept them as my child.
You're being consistent, and at least you acknowledge the adult-child distinction, which is super important. Which right now, just so we're clear, in California, as a 14-year-old, you can get your breast chopped off, hysterectomies, like insane, irreversible damage.
I don't believe that should be the case.
It's great, and I think that's a bipartisan agreement. However, it gets back to the question of, and I don't even know if you believe it, but you're saying it, that you say trans people exist. Okay, they exist as human beings.
Mm-hmm.
The question is, are they objectively the thing they say they are?
I'm not one to answer that.
Fair enough. Does anybody have a comment on that?
They used to call it gender dysphoria, right?
Yeah, that's what it was in the DSM-3, DSM-4, and then the DSM-5, which is the Diagnostic Statistical Manual for Psychiatric Care in the United States. But no, you've been intellectually honest on that. And I think it's not a silly question, because I'm here with a panel of women. What it means to be a woman is a very serious thing, and it's a beautiful thing, but it shouldn't be trivialized for somebody that can just appropriate it, wear a dress and some makeup, and all of a sudden they enter the club of womanhood.
It's sometimes frustrating what the most ardent ones think is womanhood, that it's just wearing pink and prancing around. Women are.
But isn't that an
more than
insult to women?
It sometimes feels that way to me. Is like,
Do you
that's
think
what
it's
you
an
think a
insult?
woman is? Like, we fly planes and shoot guns. We do other stuff too.
Yes. But you're
and
complex,
of course, the big one, motherhood.
complex beings made in the image of God.
Yeah, it's like some weird
Not
neat-
just a costume. It's not like dressing for Cinco de Mayo or something,
It
right?
feels like they're wrapping themselves up in cosplaying womanhood in a sometimes weird way.
Yeah, you brought up Dylan Mulvaney, and in his first videos, like the day one of womanhood, was like, well, I cried 4 times and like went into credit card debt, and it's like, is that what you think this is?
Thanks
Yes,
a lot,
but
right?
they do, because they think that again, I don't. Sorry if I'm interrupting, Brian, but I don't trivialize that some people that are trans are suffering. So the question is, how do you treat suffering people with the truth? So in a medical situation, if somebody comes in and you take their diagnosis, what they want, and you know that there's something better for them, then you should lose your license as a doctor. It doesn't matter what the patient wants. The doctor should be treating them towards, but the issue is that the new standard of care is no longer to try to bring somebody back into biological alignment of their birth. It's now to try to let them on whatever journey they might think they're on. And especially with youth, that's a dangerous trajectory.
I'm going to switch things up a little bit here. We're going to do something I don't think we've really done before. We're going to do a little tagging in, tagging out. So this will only be temporary for the last about 20, 30 minutes that we have Charlie. So I'm going to tag 3 of you out. You're going to stay here. We'll tag you back in 30 minutes or so.
Do you have like subs? Is this like a hockey game?
We're going to sub people in, so you guys are going to get tagged out. So I'm tagging you, and you out. So just you guys can kick it back there for like 30 minutes. You can, grab a slice of pizza, take a little break, and then other girls tag
other
in.
people?
In the Harry Potter closet under the stairs.
He has like, you just have
the cupboard under the stairs.
You just have women waiting to come in here?
Ready to go.
Begging to go.
Ready to go.
All right. Binders
They're
full
coming.
Of women ready to come.
Binders.
It's like
By the way, for everybody watching, this is a book plug.
Yeah.
Can I do this? Can I just do this
go
super
for
quick?
it. Perfect.
Everyone, hello. You guys can get my book, 45books.com. Right Wing Revolution. It's available for sale. Get a copy right now as we're doing the hockey change.
Be sure to get it.
Is it on audio?
Yeah.
Yeah. Where's the other?
Thank you.
Wait, where's
you can
the?
Keep that one.
She's right over there.
Where can you? Hello? Did you?
Yes.
Did you not get the memo?
Quick, sorry.
I'm here. I'm always here.
Hello.
All right.
We went to the bathroom.
All right. We tagged in 3 here. We tagged in 3. So, all right. Welcome, guys. Terrible time then. Okay. So.
Hi, I was wondering where you were.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, if it goes well.
Absolutely. It's hard. Yeah. I'm gonna put the.
I'm signing it to Heather, by the way.
He's signing it to Heather. There we go.
The husband is a fan of his.
Boom. Beautiful.
Oh, nice.
Just the husband, for the record.
There you go.
Yeah, we don't.
I'm kidding.
Something
sure
that I
we'll
think
have
could
the
be
same
interesting,
No, I know. I'm kidding.
interested about
You're great.
talking about is submissiveness. This is related to dating here. Nick, could you find that umbrella picture? And I'm curious, Charlie, if you kind of agree with this kind of, I guess, the biblical order of like a relationship. Nick, do you know what I'm talking about, that umbrella picture? So going around the table, starting with you, do you think when it comes to dating, women ought to be submissive to their partner?
Yes.
Okay.
Generally, men lead.
Men lead, women follow? Okay.
Generally.
To a degree.
To a degree?
No.
No?
Whatever works for the couple.
Okay.
I don't care.
Don't care?
If the man is deserving of it.
If he's deserving?
Depends.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, the wife should be submissive to the husband.
Nick, could you pull that photo up real quick? Okay, so you got Christ, husband,
I believe that.
wife, and you agree
Yes,
with
but the key is that the husband must submit to Christ. That's important, is that if the husband fails to submit to Christ, then the wife no longer has to submit to the husband.
Oh.
I see.
That's the kicker that is not talked about.
See, I've never heard of that point when people talk about submissiveness. They always say you have to follow the husband as
Well,
the
it's not what the scripture says. The scripture says that women submit to your husbands as husbands submit to Christ.
See, that's a lot more valid.
And so if the husband fails to submit to Jesus on the throne, well then, again, the entire contract falls apart.
So if the husband's an alcoholic, a drug addict.
Yeah, I mean, you have to use prudence, but yes, if the husband is repeatedly defying God's teaching or law, if he's being adulterous, if he's being abusive, then submission is violated because he's not submitting to Christ. That doesn't mean that the husband won't sin, but if he makes a pattern and a repeated defiant form of action, then that would be that would violate that graphic and that scripture.
Isn't that one of also AA's thing is submit yourself to Christ?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's
yeah,
right.
it's very important in AA to submit yourself.
AA is the most successful model to how to free people from addiction, and the reason, and they've tried to replicate it, is because in AA, it is a uniquely Christian or Judeo-Christian thing. They have to admit God.
I think when you're very down about yourself and down in your own life, it's very easy to accept God into your life. Otherwise, it's a lot harder for other people. But when you're experiencing something like addiction, it's a lot easier to bring God into.
Or accept a higher power. When
Yes.
you're down on yourself, it's like, oh, this is when I can accept a higher power because you don't want to kind of blame yourself. You want to be like, oh, it's a bigger
Yes.
power that's
Yes,
happening.
but it works because they realize that there is a God, and it is not Him. I'm not Him, essentially. So that there's a higher power.
Now, those of the three of you who we tagged in,
What's up?
you've heard Charlie here. You've heard some
And all my hot
from
takes.
Charlie.
Where were you hiding this whole time?
They
by the way?
were just
we were
in the
vibing
Harry
out.
Potter
Chilling.
cupboard.
We're in the cupboard, yeah. Cupboard.
Did you guys hear anything that you disagreed?
I heard
We heard a couple
Bronazons.
of things.
Shout out Bronazons.
You said his name wrong, Doc.
Bronazons?
Spelled
Well,
wrong.
that has nothing to... Okay.
Okay.
Did you hear anything that you disagreed with?
It was more generally disagreed with the panel.
Yeah.
It wasn't even him speaking.
going on.
It was about the whole war talk and how men will start wars and all this because of testosterone or whatever. That was crazy. I just don't agree with that. It's more of
Hold
a...
on, who's starting not
Well, no, it's not a gender talk ever. It is a class talk. It's
Oh, okay.
yeah.
but-
So it's an argument based off of class rather than gender. That's why the queen talk comes into play as well, where queens start more
Okay,
wars
there's-
than.
so you disagree with her on that.
Yeah.
But is there anything you heard Charlie say that you have any
Oh, I was supposed
disagreements
to
on?
bring up with Charlie.
That was the question, yes.
Didn't you have a few points? Let me think
go
about
ahead.
it
I
for a
remember
second.
we were just arguing in the chat, but I don't remember exactly a specific point.
Okay.
Do you remember anything we were
Maybe
saying?
a little bit
Well, I
about
think,
abortion, maybe a
We
little
can talk
bit
about abortion.
war.
I mean, that's never.
Oh.
That's never.
Oh.
Never gets old.
I'll hit it, whatever.
Yeah?
That's fun. That's
You-
a fun topic, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm down.
Whenever you want.
I'm down to hit.
Time to,
Absolutely.
habanero.
I'm down to hit on that. Let me just because some of these chats are going to fall off, I'm going to read like 3 or 4 of them.
Before,
This is going to be complicated.
Can I grab
though.
water just really quick?
Oh my God, what is it? This diva over here.
Okay, Beyonce.
We'll get you.
Jeez.
We'll just hang tight. Madison will get you guys water.
Thank you, honey. I love
Sorry,
you.
guys. I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna skip everything. I think. Shit, this is gonna be difficult. Sorry, guys. Hold on. I put everything on pause, so it's just gonna come in like Ladies, do not say man, do not give in. This is our chance to passively, aggressively remind men how much we hate them. Well, men are trash, and we need to remind them of this every day. I stand with the bear. Wow, Christine. Does anybody here hate men? Or does anybody here think men are trash?
Love them.
Okay, good to know.
Love them.
All right, sorry guys. These are going to come in like
lift
very.
the boxes for me that I can't lift.
MT, marriage and family is really important, but what if a woman feels gay? Can it be healthy to marry a woman
They paid
and have
$250 for this?
Yeah, to have and have a family, or should we try to change to not be attracted to women? I mean, I guess you can't change that, right? I don't know.
You can still have
Thank
families
you,
these
MT
days.
Lemp. We have a TTS coming in from
Nickelodeon donated $300. New question. You're in the woods and there is a bear. Do you want a random man for help? Hint, the male lion protects the pride. The male chimps protect territory. Animal instinct.
What a great hint.
Not because PP.
Really quick, so do you want a random man for help?
Sure.
But I think everybody here said man, so Nickelodeon.
Okay.
Everybody, or well, you're bear, right? You guys are bear?
No,
Bear.
no,
No,
I'm not.
Pandarian.
No,
We're actually-
Shut up. Okay, so it's 1/5 of women are sexually assaulted, right, in the U.S. So statistically, we should choose man, right? If it's a random person. Yeah. That's just.
You disagree with
No,
this
I'm not.
stat?
I'm gonna not.
No, it's just a
take it back.
statistical
All right.
line. You don't even have to like. I'm choosing man, but that's just it's
Not true.
You should choose the 4 out of
I'm not gonna
5,
take it
right?
back. That's
Sure.
Well, it makes sense, but
that includes verbal
Here, I'm
assault.
just gonna
which
get
is
through these.
Not the same thing.
Kill of cereal. Hold on,
includes
hold on.
It does.
Holy buzz, knucking barrel of monkey. It's Charlie Kirk, you're a legend and a pioneer.
He's a brave and a decent man. He's a pioneer.
He is. Welcome back, ladies. Do yourselves a favor and open your minds to his genius. Spice it up with a ghost pepper.
See, we're trying to get there.
We're getting there. We are getting there. Yo, Kill of cereal. Thank you, man. Okay, that one's coming through. Sorry, guys, we're getting through. I'm just trying to get through all of these because a few of them are about to fall off. Sorry that these didn't come through earlier. I just had to pause it just to get through all of them kind of in, instead of them coming in piecemeal, I wanted to just get them all out at the same time, just for the sake of time.
I'm so glad I'm not dating donated $300.
Oh my God.
So black dress.
You can
Say
answer this
your
briefly
daughter
if you
is
want.
15-year-old, hypothetically. It's prom at her high school. She brings home her date. Just so happens he's a 35-year-old man that identifies as 15.
Quick answer if you can.
No.
Object to it?
What type
Okay.
of question is that?
Well, it's because you said that any age can identify as any age.
No, I said that was a mental illness, actually.
Oh, okay.
I said
Oh, yeah,
that there
maybe I
are,
didn't.
I said there are 30-year-olds who
And-
do actually actually say I'm 12, and that's a whole mental illness.
That,
Like,
okay.
those people
So he says, didn't want to submit a second, but why is TTS not working? My question was tied to the current conversation and never went through. We had to pause it temporarily just so we could get through a couple segments here, but I just got it now. So and you submitted that just like 10 minutes ago. But thank you, man. Appreciate it. And then we just have a few more here, guys. A few more here. And Nick, you can hide this one that's a super. It's below the threshold.
The Bronasons donated $300.
Y'all crazy. Y'all
Leche
crazy.
bags. Leche bags. Leche bags. Leche bags. Leche
Hey, for the
bags.
sake of time, I got to skip that one, man. But Bro Naissance, thank you very much. We only have Charlie for a limited time here, but we got the message. Is that your nickname?
Yeah. From him, apparently.
From Bro Naissance. Okay.
Apparently,
interesting.
a lot of the chat said that last stream.
Oh, okay.
I didn't
They
know,
love her,
yeah.
but we don't know.
No, they don't. Okay, let's not.
Horse with no name. Thank you for the gifted 20 subs on
good
Twitch.
song.
Really appreciate it. Thank you. And then we just have 3 more coming in, and then we'll get to the question at hand. Alyssa, thank you for the membership. Guys, get Charlie Kirk's book,
There you
Right
go.
Ring Revolution.
Thank you.
How to Beat the Woke.
And
what is it?
save the West.
And save the West.
Can I get a book?
One sec.
I have a
We
copy.
got some copies. You'll get a
She
signed
needs
copy.
it.
Can I
Law,
take it
hold
home?
on. Law Paladins. Gold
She
Digger.
lives in
Hold on.
Canada.
Stop. Gold Digger had important point. Losing uteruses is a part of their plan for us. Draft for
It's not her
women
name.
is all part of their depopulation agenda to find what is progressive, ask what results in less babies. Nickelodeon, you get stuck in the pattern of what you invest your time in. If you go to college, you want the best career. If you invest in OF, you obsess over the money, sex, and attention. Invest in relations
Wait.
now. This is to the OF girls.
What if
Well
you do
put,
both?
Nickelodeon.
What if
you
you
do
do both?
OF too, correct? Yeah.
And college. What now?
Wow, that's a double whammy. And then we have Bronaissance. You look, we right if JoJo doesn't come on. Bronaissance. This deserves a champagne pop that we put.
Love JoJo.
This deserves a champagne pop that we put JoJo on. Say it with me, boys. We want leche bags. We want leche bags. Okay, all right. Yeah. Oh, that was the one that.
Wait, can I say something before? It's my birthday at midnight. I will be 26 at midnight. Tomorrow is my birthday, so
Champagne
we
pop.
absolutely need to have a champagne pop, or I will cry and riot.
And she will cry and riot. Okay.
All right.
Anxiety attack number 2.
By the way, panel, Charlie Kirk is gonna give you signed copies
Can I
of
take
his
that back to
brand new
Canada?
book.
What part of Canada?
I'm in Vancouver,
Oh, wow. Very
but like,
Now-
past
that's in
Vancouver.
British Columbia, right?
Yeah, a couple hours out from Vancouver. I'm in the boonies, so
Yeah.
I'll spread the word in the boonies.
You have to earn the book. So we'll see what you do.
She won't. She won't.
That's things in
She
life
won't.
to earn.
Here's the deal, though.
There you go. She earned it.
If he signs a copy for you, you have to display it by your bedside for the rest of your life.
I
Isn't
stare
his
at you.
face at the cover? Yeah. Oh,
For the rest of my life.
I'm sorry.
It's a big face. I will acknowledge.
No. It's like, come on. If let's say I'm so committed. You know,
You have to put it by
you're
your
a married
bedside.
man.
Okay,
I am.
deal? Is
That's
that a
right.
deal?
I can't have that.
He'll sign a
There you
copy
go.
for you.
I can't promise that.
Okay, fine. You can't sell it on eBay though. That's the rule. If you sign it.
How much does it go for on eBay though?
This
On
guy-
eBay, a signed copy would be more than retail.
I would hope so.
I would never give that up. I would never give that signed copy up.
There you
Really?
go.
Me and forever.
Okay.
Well, we got through all the chats. I want to thank you guys for sending all those in. I know you had to wait a little bit there. I just wanted to make sure we got through everything. Thank you guys. Charlie, you wanted to talk about schmortion.
Are we not allowed to say the word?
No, you can say the word. I'm just being extra.
Okay. I'm trying to spice it up. A
Yeah,
little bit here.
spice it up.
Let's go.
I'm trying to let me see if I can frame it from a dating related. Would you date a guy? Okay, hold on.
I'm so glad I'm not dating donated $300. Don't pause the TTS, Brian. If the
Well-
chats are interrupting the conversation, then you need to raise the price or not advertise it. You're killing
He paid
it with the
$300
show.
to say that.
Raise price, don't pause.
No. He makes a point though because
He's a
he
brave
probably
and decent
paid a
man. He's a
$300
pioneer.
Yeah, no, no.
before.
You got to raise the rates.
I do.
Yeah.
Well, we only have a few minutes left with Charlie, so
we'll see what happens.
Oh, okay. But in any case, I'll leave it on. I'm leaving it on. I just had to pause it just because we had to get through a whole bunch of stuff. But fair game. So, would you date a guy who was pro-life? Starting with you.
Would I date one right now? Yeah.
Okay.
No.
No.
Yes.
Probably not.
I don't think so.
No.
That's a requirement, yes.
Good for you.
I mean, I think women should have the right to choose in certain situations.
Okay.
Mainly based on essay.
Sure. Okay. Take it away, Charlie.
Yeah, I mean, who has strong opinions on the topic?
Don't look at me.
The Canadian.
Canadian.
All right. For those of you that are pro-abortion, any one of you can chime in. And you can take a second. When does life begin?
When you have consciousness.
Okay. When is that?
It's debated, but probably around 20 to 24 weeks, maybe 18 to 24 weeks.
So then would you say we should allow no more abortions after 18 weeks?
It's a little tougher after that. I probably would agree that maybe you shouldn't. If you do, maybe, I'll be more okay with it, but at the same time, I'd be a little weary about it.
Okay. Anybody else have a thought on that?
I don't care.
Okay. Okay.
No opinion.
Hold on, because some abortions late term are kind of crazy. You shouldn't
I
have
agree.
abortions super late term.
Right? Which America has the craziest late-term abortion laws.
Welcome to Canada.
Well, Canada's also out of control too.
Canada's any time in Canada.
Wow.
Anytime.
That's remarkable.
What does any time mean? Any time in the womb?
Up to gestation.
Yeah, up to just
wow.
Full
literally in
gestation,
Canada.
I think it's dependent on area.
I think but abortion is also a medical term, so it's not necessarily that someone wants to get rid of it. It's also a medical abortion. So like if you need to, because I had someone in my life who 6 months in, they were super happy about their pregnancy and they had to have an abortion because their fetus died inside of them.
So yeah,
Right.
that's a surgical removal though. That's
It's
not
still
an
it's still considered an abortion.
Is that right?
Yeah, it's
Well,
still considered an abortion.
You're not really aborting a pregnancy, so it's just a.
Maybe not aborting a pregnancy, but you're still aborting. It's still an abortion.
I guess yeah. I guess
Yeah.
that's a.
In the
conflict
US
over
too.
terms.
Yeah,
That's
it's
how
still
it
the
is.
same term. It's still the same term.
Yeah, it's just not technically an abortion. An abortion would be the...
Well, when you're thinking of abortion, you're thinking of aborting a live fetus that may be viable to live on, but an abortion can still be a fetus that is already dead, that you have to abort because it will rot inside of you and kill you.
That's the sensitive areas still in the U.S.
No, even pro-life people, myself, are okay if the fetus is no longer living, removing the fetus.
Well, that's what happened to this person that I knew. They had to have an abortion at 6 months because their fetus.
Again, I wouldn't say that's an abortion, but I don't want to debate that.
It technically is an abortion.
Well, like with Texas, for example, Texas law, right?
You're allowed to remove a dead fetus.
Yeah, that's still an abortion at that point. It's still an abortion. You have to abort the fetus. Because
I know, but is it living?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't have to be living for it to be an abortion.
Right, we're just qualming over terms. That would be a surgery for...
But we should call it what it is. If it's an abortion, it's an abortion.
Okay, that's an interesting debate. What is abortion then?
Removing a fetus, dead or alive, from your body.
Okay, dead or alive. I would say alive. We just disagree.
Yeah.
Meaning, I would say that ceasing the life. That's interesting. You said dead or alive.
But even when it's dead, you have to abort it.
You have to remove it.
Abort.
You can remove
Abort mission.
Well, you can remove it without surgery, though.
No, not when it's 6 months old.
Well, not 6 months, but at a month.
But so what about 6 months? What would you call it then? When you have to remove a 6-month-old fetus?
Again, we're qualming over terms. I wouldn't disagree that it requires surgery, but
is it not an abortion?
No, because you're not actually aborting the mission.
You have to abort the mission. The fetus is dead. Remove it.
So then 500 years ago, how did that fetus leave the?
The mother. The fetus would rot inside the mother, and the mother would die.
Not all the time. No, the woman could also give birth to the dead fetus.
But that doesn't happen all the time. But that doesn't. That rarely happens. That's why they call upon it to be removed, because 9 times out of 10 the mother will die from the fetus rotting inside of her.
I'm morally fine with that. That's for sure. Do you think that if a baby can feel pain, regardless of consciousness?
Hold on, I'm talking about a dead fetus at 6 months.
No, I'm not disagreeing with that. You're dwelling on that micro issue.
Sorry. Hold on, I'm listening. Okay.
But going way back to like when abortion should be illegal. So you say life begins at consciousness.
Wait, sorry, when should abortion be illegal? At what time?
I think all abortion should be illegal.
But at what time? You said when
at beginning at conception.
Okay, no.
I'm trying to understand your position.
Okay, I'll hold back. I'm listening. So
right.
I'm just gonna shut up.
That's okay. So you say consciousness is when life begins.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So then if somebody is without consciousness after a car accident and they're on life support, they're no longer living.
Unplug them. Take me out.
Unplug them. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, you're consistent. So even the ones that come back to full consciousness when their brain waves are no longer detected,
Too
doesn't
late,
matter.
baby. Unplug. I'm fine with that. No. I have no issue with that. What do you mean? How is that crazy?
That's kind of that's
a lot of people,
inhumane, isn't it?
That is not okay.
But also, I see her point, because so many people are kept alive by their family members who are grieving.
But I thought they're not alive.
No. So
they're kept. Their bodies are kept physically alive by their families that are grieving, and I'm talking about like for years and years. The families that can afford it, right? And it's like that's why I see her point.
But
like,
also,
maybe
a physically developing fetus is not the same as a full-grown human that's already alive.
For sure. What species is the fetus?
They're human, but they're still a fetus. That's why we differentiate a fetus from a human.
But what does fetus mean? What does that
fetus
word
is
mean?
a developing human. They're not quite human yet.
But embryo developing. So they become a human right when brain waves
when they develop mental consciousness.
Which could be as early as 6 weeks, 12 weeks, but I'll take your 18 weeks.
We don't know the exact date.
Yes.
We don't know the
but
exact date.
But if I told you, if we have data that shows 6 weeks, you'd be cool with cutting it off.
Yeah, if we could see 6 weeks that you had mental consciousness, that you could experience life and form memories, but at 6 weeks you can't. You just can't. Do you even have a heartbeat at 6 weeks? No.
Well, you do. Yeah, around 6 or 7 weeks.
Is it not 10 weeks?
It depends. I mean, we sort of know. I mean, every baby's trajectory is different. It's between 6 to 10 weeks. So yeah, but if a baby can feel pain and have a heartbeat, you're okay with that?
No, I don't care about a heartbeat at all. I don't care about a heartbeat in any capacity.
Why?
Because if I'm brain dead and I'm laying in a hospital bed and I have a heartbeat but my brain is dead, you're going to pull the plug.
Do you think that a human being is more than brainwaves?
No. It's all about your brain.
No, see, we have a good disagreement here. I think a human being has a soul. Does anyone else think human beings have souls?
No, I believe you have a soul, but your soul connects to your brain.
Oh, hold on. No.
Yeah, I think so.
Who else thinks we have souls?
I also believe we have a soul.
We have soul?
Yeah.
Soul?
Not sure.
Not sure.
Yeah.
What do you think? Of course. Yes. So you think soul, yes or no?
Sorry, hold on. There's water in my...
That's okay. So you think soul, brain, and mind are all one thing, right? That's what you think?
I think it all connects in some way.
Got it.
For sure.
So I believe that soul happens as soon as creation happens.
I agree with that. Yes. I agree with that.
So then if you are terminating a baby prior to brainwaves, you're still terminating a soul.
Your soul will go into another being. You'll get reincarnated into something else.
I don't believe that.
What
But
is your soul
You don't
without a
have to.
brain?
That's a good question. So, I mean, let's play this out. When you die, if we believe in a soul, then it transcends your brainwaves.
Yeah.
So then, I mean, it's not in your brain then. It's outside of your brain. It's your whole being is your soul.
Yeah, but you're not physically here, so what would be the difference between pulling the cord or not pulling the cord?
Exactly.
Your soul would still exist. by
Well, no,
your
for sure.
logic.
With that argument, we should just kill a lot of people and think nothing of it.
Sure.
Their souls will go where they
Well,
need
no,
to
no,
go.
I know, but what you're saying is that since somebody has a being has a soul, which is my argument, we don't have a right to pull the plug or to terminate that being, regardless if it has brainwaves or not, because the soul is there at the moment of creation.
Well, no, because when your loved one is suffering and they're,
Well, hold on. The fetus is not suffering. The baby's not suffering at 2 weeks.
Can I ask a question? How does this translate to like war? Well, there's a lot of people. No, wait, because no.
This is a lot livelier. I like your popcorn. It's good.
It's because it's
Can
like
I have some?
we can argue about abortion and things like that and how it's wrong, but then some more right-leaning are okay with war still and like sacrificing men's lives. So how does that translate with
No,
the
I mean,
argument?
it's a good question. I mean, I'm totally against the Ukraine-Russian war, for example. I think it should end. I mean, I think all human beings are made in the image of God. Nothing should be trivialized. But as far as like people being okay with war, I mean, you have to give me an example.
Wait, can I be charitable here? Would perhaps a better argument from your position be, why are these people also in favor of the death sentence? Is that kind of what you're
that can be enough.
Okay, I mean, that's a good question because...
Are you in favor of the death
Yeah,
sentence?
the death penalty, absolutely.
But
yes.
okay, so you're in favor of the death penalty, but you're not in favor of abortion because you
Yes.
think infants are innocent? Is that why?
Well, yes, let's take an example.
Yeah, okay.
This last week, 2 illegal aliens in this country just kidnapped and raped a 12-year-old.
Not the illegal aliens. Sorry.
Yeah, so a baby in the womb did not kidnap and rape a 12-year-old.
Okay,
But
so
they have
their
the potential to.
Hold on. Well, everyone has free will
Right.
and the potential to,
Mm-hmm.
but someone who just kidnapped and raped 2 12-year-olds, they're in a complete different moral universe than a baby who is sitting patiently in a womb.
It's the argument, like, I totally understand that fetuses are innocent, but it's the same argument that, like, you know, if it's the violinist. I talked about this before, the first time I was on the violinist
I've been through this
argument.
so many times. but
I know
yes.
you've been through this, but I'll still run it through. The violinist argument where you're hooked up, you wake up and you're hooked up to the most famous violinist and they're hooked up to you and you have to sit there for 9 months bedridden to take care of them.
But in order for that metaphor to be true, did you know the night before that you had a chance to potentially be hooked up to a violinist if you had a bunch of pleasure?
Okay, I get that part, but even at,
Because you agreed to have sex before all of a sudden the violinist showed up in your room.
Even at that point, accidents happen. Like you can, like it's also like you could just leave your front door open by accident. Now someone's sitting in your house for fucking
Hold
8
on a
months,
second.
9 months.
But having sex is a choice. Now, less than 1% of all abortions are rape, incest. But having sex is a choice. You don't have to have that choice.
But
and
you
choices
don't
come with
choose
a
to be
cost.
pregnant when you have sex. You don't choose to be pregnant.
Well, hold on. But you have a choice to have sex in the first place.
Yes, but you don't choose to be pregnant. Sex doesn't always lead to pregnancy. Women are only fertile for 5 days of the month.
Right. So why do you need to have sex?
Feels good. What are you talking about?
So we should just do what feels good, regardless of the choices or
Yes,
consequences?
people do that all the time.
But
People
just
love
because people
feeling
do
good.
things all the time, is that right?
No, it's not about people do. People like feeling good. People like
No, I
doing
know,
good things that give them dopamine
we're
and serotonin.
We're getting somewhere, right? So should what feels good be prioritized over what is good?
Sometimes it depends exactly on what it is.
Okay, so if I can have pleasure and a bunch
Sure.
of people die, that's perfectly fine.
I said it depends on what it is. If people are dying,
Okay, so again, back to the point is that you
Multiple
don't,
people.
outside of rape or those very, very fringe test cases, 99% of the time, you don't just wake up and you're magically pregnant.
no, you know that you had sex and you're
Bingo.
like, oh shit.
So hold on a second. So why do you then get to have the orgasm without the responsibility?
Hold on, because you don't get to have the orgasm. You just wake up pregnant.
Hold on a second, but hold on. But if the woman chooses to keep the baby, the man has to pay child support.
I don't agree with that.
Well, it's the law.
But yeah,
Secondly,
well, the
hold
law
on.
They made
might
that
be
choice.
stupid sometimes.
Well, that's right. Both parties made the choice, which is interesting. Do you think that men should be able to have a say before a woman has an abortion?
I think it should be a conversation.
I don't. But here's the thing. I don't think you
Should
should
both
be
parties
able
have to agree?
Hold
I
on.
think so.
I don't.
You're
I don't.
consistent.
I do.
Good for you.
I don't think you should be able to force women into abortion, just like you shouldn't be able to force women out of an abortion. You shouldn't. No way, each way or the other. No way. You can't tell someone to do with their body.
Hold on, but is it their body or is it that another body's within their body?
It's okay. But if someone broke into my house, I would put a gun to their head and say, "Get the out or die."
But wait, hold on. You invited the baby into the house with somebody
In-game.
in
Hold
a
on.
night of passion.
I didn't invite the baby over. I left the door unlocked by accident.
Somebody push it back.
Yeah.
Push it back.
But wait, that baby is then within you,
Okay.
and
And it's still my body within me, my body.
right.
me.
But is it your DNA?
It doesn't matter if it's my
Hold
DNA.
on. Why
I
do
don't
you?
care
Well, hold
about
on. Why
that.
do you have control over somebody else's DNA? I thought you
Because
said.
they're in me. If they
Hold
wanted
on.
control,
Oh,
they
got
should have
it.
come.
So
they
it's a
should have popped
location
out
issue.
earlier.
Super interesting. So location matters more than being. Just because somebody happens to be within a womb.
If it was my baby in Hawaii, take them out.
However, so if somebody has, that's not, if it's your DNA, you have total choice of your DNA to take a vaccine or not a vaccine. To be able to eat Coke, drink Coke, or drink Sprite.
If they're in my body and they're f***ing my life, I'll do what I want with them.
Okay, so that
Easily.
so just because somebody's location determines their moral worth.
No, it's not about necessarily location. It's about how they affect me.
For 9 months after you chose to be able to get in that circumstance.
It's not even just 9 months. It's after the fact too. You have postpartum depression.
No, yeah, so that's interesting. So we're getting somewhere. So your argument is you should do what is expedient, even if there is a victim and there might be a casualty.
They wouldn't even know they're a victim.
Okay, that's interesting. Is it okay to murder if the person does not know they were murdered?
Sure, why not? They won't even know. They have
So
no.
it's okay to go to an old person's home, a bunch of people with dementia, and
No,
just
no.
start popping rounds.
Sure, bye.
Popping rounds.
I don't believe it. You just killed your argument.
No, I don't. I'm not even.
No,
killing
you did
my
just kill
argument.
your argument. So we can go to old people's homes, dementia, Alzheimer's. They're drained on society. They don't know who they are. They don't know their name. They don't know their relatives. By the way, millions of people with dementia and Alzheimer's, and we
I
just
don't
kill
think
them
that you
because.
should.
Hold on. Oh no, you said you should be able to.
But it's not necessarily like if they're never gonna know, they're never gonna know.
Okay, so murdering dementia patients is consistent. You're right. You are being consistent.
I think there is a little bit of inconsistency because like after you're dead in a lot of cases in a lot of religions, right? So
A
like
fetus isn't even born though. They're not
yeah,
even.
but like
But
if you
when
let's
you're-
say
when
you're
you're
just
born,
a
it-
person on the street, someone goes and
They're
shoots
not
you,
even allowed to
you
be
won't
dead.
know. You
So,
yeah.
but hold on. If you go,
Same argument.
the idea is the question is this: is just because something is not born, are they alive and do they have value?
I don't think so.
Okay, so let's go through it. So just because is it because the baby is the fetus or baby is
They
small?
don't have consciousness.
Hold on, we've gone through that. I want to try to.
Sure, okay, sure.
Is it because they're small? Yeah, that's not your argument. Location, that's your argument.
No.
Environment, but you said degree of dependency. That's the one that you said.
You said it. Wait, you said environment. But I don't agree with the environment.
Well, meaning like where I'm going through the acronym of what most pro-abortion arguments are: size, level, development, environment, degree of dependency.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to. I always try to find which one your prior because every pro-abortion argument falls into one of four.
Oh yeah.
So degree of dependency.
Mm-hmm.
This baby is going to take from me.
Mm-hmm.
Are you glad your mom nurtured you for 9 months in the womb?
I mean, not really, to be honest.
So you wish you wouldn't have been born?
I'm chill with that for sure.
Okay, you're consistent.
I am.
Yeah. So if you were just to be killed tomorrow, not a big deal.
I wouldn't even be having this conversation.
MBD.
I think that this is important because 40 years ago, an average woman would not have answered it that way. They would have said, "My life is beautiful. My life has meaning. My life has purpose, and I'm glad my mom
I don't
sacrificed
think
for
that's
me."
the case for every single woman 40 years ago.
Well, the vast majority of women 40 years ago were not as depressed, not as suicidal,
No, I think you
not
can
as.
argue now.
hold
Vast
on.
majority is still the same way. She's inconsistent.
I'm
with the
inconsistent as
most
hell.
So
general
do you,
woman.
do you think that she is the mainstream opinion, or do you think she's a fringe opinion?
No, she's a fringe opinion
Okay, fair
for
enough.
sure. Yeah,
Fringe. It feels good.
Okay. So I mean,
completely.
do you think she's a mainstream opinion or fringe opinion?
It's pretty French.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that. That doesn't bother me at all.
Does anyone else have opinions on this matter? If I were to say that abortion was illegal in America tomorrow, that would be worrisome to you guys?
Yeah, 100%.
I think
Tell me why.
when we say pro-abortion, I don't think that that's necessarily accurate for how I feel. I think I'm pro-choice because people are probably going to get abortions anyways. I would prefer them be safe. It's not something I would necessarily do for myself, but I do think if it's going to be happening, which it is, it should be safe and it should be something that everyone talks about and everyone's educated on beforehand.
So in Texas, they just outlawed abortion. Abortion rates have gone down dramatically. So it's not totally true. It's half true. They're going to other states to get them. But the birth rate's gone up. So it's like this idea that people are going to find them otherwise. Sometimes they just have the baby instead.
Are you more concerned with the birth rate going up or
Well, all of it. The morality of it's the number one issue, which we do not have a moral obligation to terminate human beings smaller than us.
So I have a question
Sure.
for you. So if it was scientifically
Moral ability.
proven,
Yes.
like 100% without a doubt, that you don't have a consciousness, you don't feel pain until the day you come out the womb, you're fine with any and all types of abortions all of a sudden?
No, consciousness is not, that's her argument. My argument is that at the point of your DNA's creation, a new soul is entering the world. And the soul transcends reason. And I'll prove it to you guys.
So you're saying soul and consciousness aren't
No,
related?
not at all.
Okay.
We know that, at least in the religious realm, because when your consciousness ceases, your soul lives.
Oh, okay.
Because it goes to an afterlife.
Okay.
I think you're-
In a religious context. I'm not going to win you over on a modern
Okay, I'll
context
keep
on
my
that.
mouth shut. Sorry, let
No,
me
but let me try to win you over. Because there are points when we all see beauty when our reason or our consciousness is not able to describe them. I was at a loss for words. That sunset was so beautiful. It took my breath away. It was breathtaking. At times there are things that hit us on a soul level. We all know this when we hear a certain song, see a certain painting, experience natural beauty that touch us on a level that cannot always be described using our reasonable faculties. And I know we all have had those when you go to Yosemite, when you see a sunset in Santa Barbara, all of a sudden you're like, wow, that touches me at a level that is eternal and beautiful and is divine. My argument is that every being at the time of creation, which is when the sperm and egg meet, when the deoxyribonucleic acid is formed, that being has a soul. And if you don't make the soul argument, then you make the consciousness argument, and it's easy to make that because it's just I think our being is more than just a bunch of brain cells.
Well, no, I think we have souls as well, along with the
When does the
consciousness.
soul enter the being?
When you are created.
Got it. So
I would say so.
No, so I mean, you're indifferent towards allowing a soul to be dismissed without.
Because they'll move on. Because I fully believe a soul will move on to another
Got
being.
it. So that's interesting. So what was wrong with Auschwitz?
I mean, that was just horrible.
Why?
That's an insane question.
So the Jewish souls were going to another place. What's wrong with it?
No, because they were being tortured.
Well, no, let's say the death was quick.
No, it wasn't though. Let's not play stupid here.
Okay, a lot of deaths were at incidents to execution. If the death was
they were starved.
Fine. Well, some were, but let me rephrase it then.
Some. What an insane thing to say. Some.
Well, yes, some Jews were immediately killed when they got off of the rail cars.
No,
yes.
they were tortured. They were tearing away from their families.
Let me ask you a different question though. If the death was seamless and without pain and immediate,
okay, can
you
just pull away from the Auschwitz argument because that is insane to compare that to.
you just said that the soul goes to another place, and that's fine.
Yes, but it's not about the soul. It's also about the living being.
So it's about the form of death.
No, it's about the living being, what they experience. But I don't fully believe that fetuses experiencing a living life until they have consciousness, and I don't believe that they do until 22 weeks.
When you have a 14-week abortion at Planned Parenthood in Southern California, they offer for an additional fee pain medication for the fetus.
So
the data assumes
I knew
nobody can ask them, but the data assumes that at 14 weeks, which is legal, California's 20 weeks, right? At 14, the data shows that the fetus can feel pain and struggle, so they offer for an additional fee. You can either get pain medication for your fetus as you abort it, or you can get a pizza.
Or a pizza?
It's about $40 extra to get pain medication for your fetus.
Women also have to get an IUD with no pain medication.
Sure, terrible too.
The medical industry derived towards women is not fair.
So if there were less abortions in America, would that be a good thing?
Yes.
Of course. The question is how we get there.
That's a good question. How do we get there?
Birth control.
Education.
Yes.
So the more birth control that has happened,
the
more birth control we've had in the West, the more abortions we have because people have more.
People need to be implemented self-control.
How about this radical idea? What if people waited to have sex when they got married?
That will never happen.
Why?
Because people want to. I'm being.
I did it. Yeah, I waited for marriage. I mean, it was amazing.
That's amazing for you, but you are not.
But hold on. I know it's not easy, but that's a good question. Let me get to this though. To those of you that haven't, I'm guessing you all haven't waited till you got married. Do you wish you did?
No.
No? Do any of you wish you? So In the ideal, if I could paint a world for you that you only shared your sexual experience with one person that was your soulmate, that's not interesting to you?
No. Oh, that's cool. But
Wait, you guys don't
that's an
regret
ideal world.
any of the men you've slept with?
I maybe
I don't believe in
regret a man that I've
soulmates.
slept with.
You don't
but
believe in soulmates?
Not
How
necessarily.
about best friend?
No.
You don't believe in best friends?
I've had a lot of best friends in my
Okay.
life.
Perfect match.
No.
I don't think that exists
You meet
either.
so
You
many
guys
people
are
throughout
so
your lifetime.
jaded.
I do
You
think
meet
the
so
sex
many-
is better when
you
you're
meet
in
so many
love.
people throughout your
So
lifetime.
jaded.
At least we're consistent.
No, you're very
You
consistent.
can have multiple soulmates.
Multiple soulmates.
Yeah.
I would say, I'm like, with as big as the world is, you're not going to necessarily find exactly one person.
Because you're going to grow
Yeah,
throughout your life.
Yeah,
We're
because I mean,
changing
like-
all the time.
And sometimes
Your
people don't grow
soulmate
with you.
is-
But
So-
if that person were to grow with you, then that's
So then, if it's not a soulmate, then what, I mean this not facetiously, then what is the purpose of marriage?
I don't agree. I wouldn't do a legal marriage.
to come into a union.
Is marriage even a thing that we should care about?
If you got divorced, I don't wish that, but if
God
you got
forbid,
divorced
yeah.
in 10 years, what do you think of that?
I don't think that will happen. It's
Yeah,
not,
but
it's
if,
not,
like,
it's not even
let's-
a hypothetical I want to entertain.
Okay.
Charlie, do you think secular people should get married?
I think everyone should get married. I think it makes you a better person. What I find interesting, though, is that you've said it best. If you have as much sex as you want before, and marriage really doesn't mean much, does it?
No.
Do you think America was a better country when people waited to have sex when they got married?
You think everyone did that in America?
No, it was the vast majority of women in the 50s and 60s would not have premarital sex.
I don't think we have
Every
like
study
the
shows it.
technology to prove that though.
Well,
like we
no.
don't have the data
I think
that
a
we
lot
would
of
have
women
now.
are
First
still
of all-
having sex outside of marriage.
First of all,
hiding it better.
talk to your grandparents' generation. We have studies, we have surveys, and we know this, by the way, because birth control wasn't that widespread.
Yeah, but you can still
And
have
we
sex
did not-
without getting pregnant.
Right, but we
There's
know.
like times and months with ovulation.
But hold on a
stuff like
second.
that,
So let's
like-
just, you do not think that people are having more premarital sex today than they were 60 years ago?
I'm sure
No,
they
they
are.
definitely are.
Yeah, no,
Okay,
that's
all right.
They
So-
are, but that doesn't mean they weren't at all before.
So
They
I'm
definitely
asking,
were
do you think
before.
that's
Or vast
do you
majority.
think that's a good thing or a bad thing? That people are having more premarital sex?
I personally don't like it. I don't like hookup culture at all.
You don't like hookup culture, but you're not regretting sleeping with a bunch of guys before a soulmate. Help me understand.
Okay, hold on.
And then, wait,
guys is crazy.
Hold on, and you don't like
Bunch
hookup
of guys.
culture, but you also do
Okay.
OnlyFans. So help me understand all
so
this.
Let me okay, so my body count is 6, and 2 of those I was in a
Multiplied by 3,
relationship
that's
with.
the
The
real
third one I thought I was going to be in a relationship with. And the 3 before that, all of my friends were hooking up with guys, so I thought like, oh, that's what I need to do because they're all hooking up, so this is the normal thing. I should be hooking up, and I realized very quickly I don't like hooking up with random men. I don't
do
like
any
that.
of you think that women are being harmed by hookup culture?
Yes.
I agree.
So you all agree with that, but then you say that no, you don't think women are being harmed by hookup culture?
No.
Okay.
Wait, what?
We'll get that in a second. However, so then why don't all of you make a commitment that you're going to save yourself for marriage? You could do that. Society might not have to.
Because I'm already past the point.
Well, you can make a new. You can always become a new version of yourself. What's done is done, but you could say,
No.
I'm now going to save myself
wanna
from this
be-
point forward.
I don't want to be a new version. I want to be me, and they accept me for me.
What is me? What is that?
Whatever I've done in the past and up till this point.
So there's no improvement?
I don't need to improve necessarily. It's that I
You don't need to improve, okay.
Hold on. It's that I don't need to hide what I've done.
No, I'm not saying hide, but for example, bad example, if one is an alcoholic and they go through AA, and no, it's okay, and then you become a new version of yourself. That's growth, right?
Yeah, that's growth, but they should still know what I've done.
No, of
hey,
course
in
they
the
know.
Past,
They know it, but
Yeah.
I'm not saying you hide it. I'm asking the question: what is the argument against any of you young ladies saying, you know what? I'm no longer going to have premarital sex. I'm going to wait till marriage. Hookup culture is destructive. I'm going to find a man who values with me. He's never been with another partner, and I'm going to start a new chapter. What is the argument against that?
Because then you're going to come on this podcast and we're going to have a 2-hour-long conversation about how if everybody waited in the drive-thru and they paid $100, why has a man got to pay $2? You're gonna.
I
It's
don't
a
understand
conversation
it.
they have
Yeah.
on here about everybody being reborn. They're like, oh, so if you wait now, everyone's already done it. It's not fair to the next man. They have this conversation
I'm
every
not tracking
podcast.
your argument.
No, it's not really an argument necessarily.
She's giving an example about the fact that like if I don't, all these people are going to participate in this anyways. So why?
I got it. Okay, but
you're kind of gonna get on it.
Yeah,
anyways,
you're gonna
is
get.
what I'm saying.
You're gonna get treated like garbage whether you do it
so
or
you
not.
think you'll be treated like garbage if you don't have premarital sex?
Oh, easily.
Well, I just think maybe potentially the next guy wouldn't want to wait because they might be like, oh, but everyone
Hold
else
on,
didn't
but
have
this
to wait.
again, do you think that you have any leverage over the men in your relationships?
Probably hope so,
What do
yeah.
men want more than anything else?
Probably sex.
Why don't you stop giving it to them?
Nobody's giving it to anyone. What are you talking about?
Well, you said in your relationships you guys had premarital sex.
But
so.
you could also like not participate in hookup culture and also decide to not wait until marriage. Like
But
those things don't have to
They're
be.
not. You're right. They're not synonymous.
Yeah.
But then, if you aren't waiting till marriage, then you're basically saying marriage means nothing. That's effectively what you're saying.
Not necessarily
it's
because
not.
But then,
marriage
what is marriage?
Because,
What is
like,
marriage
for
about?
Marriage is not about
It's more than
sex.
sex. You're right. But what is marriage about?
It's a bond between two people.
It's the person
a
that you choose
formal
to have a
bond.
family
I agree.
with.
So, but if you can't you have a bond about marriage?
If you meet someone who you don't want to have a family with, but you're actually in love or whatever, and you want to have sex, you should be able to. And that's not hookup culture.
Well, no, you should. Of course, you should be able to. I'm not saying
Exactly.
what you.
So
I'm
you
arguing
should- you
what
don't
one
have
ought
to
to
wait
do,
until
not what
marriage.
able to do. Able and ought are two different words. Able, fine. You have the freedom to do it.
Of course, yeah.
I'm saying in the ideal, what is the argument against the women of America saying, men, you have to marry me to be able to sleep with me?
But also, why? Why?
You should ask your co-host right here because he doesn't want to get married.
Yeah, I don't want to get married. You know, look, maybe I might have.
I'm a super trad guy, so excuse my question.
So
Look, me
can
and
I
Charlie
also-
aren't going to agree on everything.
Yes.
But so what? I mean,
I do think that sexual compatibility is important.
Well,
in a
I
marriage.
guess
Because that
Can
was
I
one of
ask-
the biggest
You go.
pieces of tension with my ex-husband. Is we had a sexless marriage.
Yeah, that's a
And-
problem.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean,
But
and
you-
my,
but you-
and my
you-
new
you-
husband and I mean, we waited a while.
And you said that he was more of a femboy, right? The first one, or like
I
more
mean-
feminine, right?
Femboy
It wasn't necessarily.
Sorry.
I mean, he was
Or
a big,
beta?
tall Mexican,
Okay.
but he just like I made a lot more than he did.
Oh, okay.
He
Do you,
really
can I
wasn't a
ask?
provider.
Do you think that men should wait until marriage,
Of
or
course,
just
absolutely.
women? Okay,
Yeah.
because I agree with that. Then, if women have to wait, men have
I
to wait
think
as
that
well.
America, there's a lot of problems with America. One of the problems has been that sex, in its ideal, is weighted in a holy setting between a male and female that share that experience only with their life partner. Now, there's exceptions, there's mistakes, but if we just throw it all out the window and say men won't like me and hookup culture, I think there's a lot of damage and a lot of ramifications for that. And again, the point being is this: is I believe firmly young ladies are damaged mentally by having too many sexual partners.
I think men
agree
are
with
too,
that.
Okay.
though. I think
No,
men
they're
are
not.
too.
Men-
I think men are too.
Hookup culture hurts women far more than it
I
hurts
agree.
men.
It hurts women more, but I think men are like I don't think men realize how damaging it is as well to them.
No, maybe. Of course, there's damage to all people, but men are wired differently. Where many sexual partners for men does not hurt men nearly as much as many sexual partners for women, because women are far more relational driven and far more bond driven. So they look at sex as a culmination of a bond, where men look at it as sex, as physical, purely, not always with those other elements, unless there is a component of we're going to try to develop a long-lasting bond here. And the question is,
so do you think that men have driven hookup culture then because they don't care about it as much?
I think that it's both. I think women are driving it too. I think it's both.
But you're saying that when women have sex, they need to have that bond, and they're more concerned.
That's how they're
with-
wired.
Yeah, so women are wired to want to have a bond when they're having sex with
That's
someone.
correct.
But men don't care. So would you not think that men are driving hookup culture then?
No, I think both sides are. I mean, I think that men
So
are driving because women are making themselves available. That's the point.
Because they think it's going to be a longer bond.
Yeah,
Is
Yes.
that's kind of
yes.
No, of course, and women should know male nature before they start sleeping around with
Hold
men.
on. So is it a woman's fault or is it the
It's
man's
both.
fault?
It's both. If every woman today that was marketable, and all of you guys are on the market, correct, looking for life partners?
I've never been on the market.
Okay.
Okay, no,
But
she's
if
laughing.
every one of you, it's simple supply and demand. If you said, we're off limits until the ring is there and the priest says the final vows, how would men react, hypothetically?
They would
That
hop
would
on
decrease half the dating pool, probably, at least.
I totally disagree, because we know what that world looks like. We used to have it 50 or 60 years ago. You know what? Men grow up quicker. They stop being man-childs and infants.
So you're one of the ones who also probably argues against like there's like sexual chemistry and stuff like that. You probably argue no, that's
No,
not
I think
real,
sexual
or-
chemistry is a real thing, but it's a culmination of different types of love that are not just erotic. There are deeper types of love that transcend the physical. Physical is part of it. Sexual compatibility, as you say, is a huge part of the relationship. But all of you know this. You could have a partner where you had great sex and you have nothing in common. That's not a relationship. That's a orgasm and a one-night stand
That's
or whatever.
a situationship.
Yeah, okay, it's fine, a situationship. That's not something to build a life around.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, so no, we're not disagreeing. I just, without legislation or big decrees, I know this, that men have very primal, undeveloped, immature sexual natures, and that is not going to change.
So should
However,
women be punished for men taking advantage of women for that?
I'm not punishing. I'm not talking about anything. I'm talking about cultural stuff, not legislation
No,
or
I'm
punishing.
asking about hookup culture again. But sorry,
But if women want a man that they are worthy of, and many of you are not getting men you are worthy of, then you need to then stop giving the one thing that men want the most. And that is unlimited amounts of sex all the time, bodies on the internet, because men will only view you as a visual stimulation and they'll move on. And if you disagree, you do not understand male nature.
But the thing is men will treat you like that and talk to you like that, whether you want to do it or not. Because these two don't do OF. I do OF. Their Twitch chats are just as degenerate as mine because people come in there and say the most horrible things.
You're all very talented. You're smart. You guys shouldn't be doing any of that. You shouldn't. Stop doing
Twitch?
That. Stop.
What do you mean?
Stop.
We play video games.
I'm saying this as someone who cares about humanity. Stop selling your body on the internet. You're a lot smarter
We're
than
playing
that.
video games.
Well, yeah, we
Okay.
play
I play
World of Warcraft
Warcraft.
online.
You said you do OnlyFans? Yes.
I do. They don't, and
I'm
they get
talking to
just as
you.
horrible comments as I do. No, that's what I'm saying.
Okay,
That's
but
my
no, you're
argument.
making my argument. Men's
No.
sexual nature is very degenerative.
And
Okay?
I'm saying that.
How do you lift it up? You lift it up by saying you don't get what you want the most until you commit.
But the thing is hold on. So
you are then
Because-
leading. You need to lead men
Hold
towards
on.
a better future.
Because I'm not doing anything more crazy than they are. Okay, I'm not
Isn't
doing
that fair?
I'm not doing anything more crazy than they are.
I'm not trying to ridicule you guys.
No,
That's not why
I
I'm
don't
here.
care. I
Okay?
don't care. You can say whatever you want, but I'm saying they're getting the same degenerate comments that I am on Twitch streams.
Because
when
you're
they're
now
on
seeing a
Zoom.
window into men's sexual nature.
And that's what I'm saying. So
But
if
how
they're-
then do you lift it up? Do you lift it up by giving more sex and more
But they're-
bodies and
they're
more
always
pictures?
gonna treat us
That's
this
a
way.
So that's
They're
interesting.
always gonna treat
no,
us
that's
this way.
not true.
Yes, they will.
Let me tell you.
Yes, they will.
Men can grow up, but they need a goal. No, this is very. If you don't believe that, then you basically are dismissing all of
It's not
humanity.
that I can't believe that men will grow up.
Hear me
it's
out.
That, it's that
Men love being useful.
This is
Make
fine.
them be
Men
useful.
want a purpose. They want to go on an adventure. And so if you say you can be with me, but here's the rules of the road.
Okay, but I'm on the internet and there's how many thousands of hundreds of millions of men on the internet? I can't fix all of them.
I'm not asking you to fix all of them. You want to change the world, start with changing you.
It doesn't matter. They're not even doing OF
Hold on,
and
I'm
they're
not-
still getting treated like
Hold
garbage.
on. Again, if you believe that what you do doesn't matter, then you're a nihilist and just do whatever you
It's
want.
not even about me doing OF. It's about the way that men treat you
Got
when
it.
you're a
So,
woman.
so that's an this is the point though, is that how do you get treated better by men? Do you one sec. Let me ask you a question. Do you think you get treated by men better by showing more skin or less skin?
Obviously, if you show less skin.
Okay, so you
even
agree.
But hold on, because even when you show less skin, there's women in full-blown covered-up burqas, and they still get sexualized. They still get acid thrown on them. They still get
Okay, but-
R-worded in the middle of the street. Like, what are you talking about?
Okay, I don't agree with that at all.
That's
Okay, so if you
crazy.
want men's sexual nature on the internet, you are seeing a window into the depraved because there's no guardrails and there's no guidelines. So how do you lift up that primal carnal sexual nature towards something that is no longer?
Why is that my responsibility to
Well,
lift up their?
Hold on. It's not your responsibility. It's humanity's responsibility. But I would imagine you want a life partner at some point. Yes? No?
I'll figure it out when they come to me. I'm not gonna
Okay.
every man that
let me
is
tell
in
you,
my direction.
doing you're not going to find a life partner.
That's totally fine. I don't care.
Yes, she is though. Come on.
No, that's your point.
there
No,
is
hold on a
so
second.
many people who
hold on.
want to
hold on.
marry her.
If you think that you can find a virtuous, ethical man who tells the truth by showing a lot of skin online, you do not understand male sexual
and
nature.
that's-
You do not. And I don't profess to know female sexual nature.
So we talked about this a little bit.
Men want what they cannot see and they cannot have. Men want rarity, scarcity, and mystery. They do not want abundance and cleavage and skin.
Can we get the same for men? Can you guys stop slutting it up, please?
No, I'm not saying. I am asking. I mean, men have plenty of. What have I just said? I said men's sexual nature is degenerative. I couldn't be more cruel on males' primal carnal instincts. The question is, how do you lift us up to something better? Yes.
So we talked about this before. What's the difference between, so she does only lingerie pictures, right? So what's the difference between her and like Gigi Hadid or like any Victoria's Secret model, right?
Well, there's not. I mean, is Gigi Hadid in a really great relationship and doing great? I mean, I believe one of them has clinical depression.
She's dating Bradley Cooper, I think.
Most celebrity relationships last 6 or 7 years, maybe.
Well,
Yeah.
so your point is that they divorce more often, or what's
Well, I
the
mean,
point?
I'm asking if you want.
Are you saying she
again? If you're looking for celebrities for life partner roadmaps, you're looking at the wrong people. Okay. I mean, I'm asking.
So you're fine with comparing that and being like, oh yeah, they're both not. They can't find high value men or whatever you're claiming.
I am very short on their long-term prospects of being a couple for the next 30 years. I mean, if that's their question. But if you do not have to create a new roadmap. When women were more modest in their presentations, when women were more humble in their
Was
in
that
their life's work.
necessarily a woman being humble, or was that also the laws of the day and age where they could?
No, in the 1950s, the laws were fine. I mean,
you couldn't get a divorce because you never had a job. You couldn't get out of the relationship. What are you talking about?
No fault divorce ended in the 60s or 70s. You could still get a divorce. It just was
but
harder.
you had no job. You had no prospects. You had nothing. You had
That's a
children
separate
to
issue.
take
I
care
don't. You're getting too far off track.
Oops.
I'm asking a theoretical question. If more women than not made a commitment that we want a life partner, I think the reason why you all and women are willing to engage in hookup culture, even though you know it's destructive, hold on a second, even though you know it's bad for you, is because deep down women tend to be more insecure than men, and you think that you can get praise from men by doing this, and it gives you temporary security, and you're willing to then sacrifice long-term viability of finding a life partner for that temporary security.
You also just put that on me. I don't engage in hookup culture at all.
Okay, that's fine. I'm just saying more broadly, though.
Stop the cap.
More broadly, if women were willing to actually say that I am not going to present myself online, I'm not going to give myself, you would actually have more male suitors, not less.
I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried about more or less
but
male suitors.
How about good ones, great ones, ones that you feel as if this is the best man I've ever met?
I'll get there when I need to get there.
Great men are hard to find. They are. I could say this.
And I'll get there when
being
I need
around
to get
a lot
there.
of them. Okay.
And I'll get there
All right.
when I need to get there.
So let me ask you, what is more important in your life, good career or great marriage and family?
I want my bills paid, so whatever takes the cake.
Well, good husband can pay the bills too.
Yeah, and I'm not necessarily looking for a good husband right now because I'm not looking around.
Okay. Any other thoughts on that?
I was just.
Sorry, I kind of
dominated there. If you want, keep going.
I guess I am pretty jaded on this conversation. I didn't get to do the introductions, but I do OnlyFans management. And I think so. I read a lot of messages. I'm not on the site myself, but I read a lot of messages. And it kind of sucks because you see so many messages coming in daily that are like, I wish I wasn't with my ugly wife right now. You're so much hotter. So like for me as someone who's single and like in their 20s, it's hard to be like, yeah, I'm going to be a really perfect woman for like these kind of men. Does that make sense?
I'm going to be honest,
you know?
I even got that being on your podcast. I even got a message on my OnlyFans from your podcast being like, my girlfriend is so disgusting. I don't like her. I subbed to your OnlyFans because you're so much better than her.
It's really hard to see both these conversations.
No, that's okay, but you're actually proving my point, is you're seeing a window into the depraved male sexual nature. So then you have a choice. You can say, forget all men and become a lesbian and like just forget it, right?
I don't do.
No, I'm not saying you want to do that,
No,
right?
yeah.
Or you could be like, I actually think that men have a proper role in society. Most men today are grown infants, and women have a. You don't agree with that?
Well, no, I agree that they're grown infants, but it's not my job to fix you.
I'm not saying it's your job to fix you. You have a moral obligation not to make it worse.
Well, how am I making it worse? Because I have an.
Yeah, I'd say that you're participating in that.
So what exactly have?
It's all your fault.
No, I'm not saying it's all your fault, but
It's a lot, Julie.
But I'm saying this as agreeably as I can. If you are producing sexually explicit content online, you are increasing the supply,
And so I'm
not decreasing the supply.
So even if I didn't have an OnlyFans,
Even though you're a small part of it, I get it.
okay, even if I didn't have OnlyFans, the comments that I've gotten on all of my social media without it have been even more degrading than the comments I've gotten on my OnlyFans.
Got it. So, but you're blaming the comments for your action, not taking responsibility for your action.
No, because even if I post a selfie of just my face, I'm gonna be like, I want to come all over that. I'm like, I'm eating a cookie.
Okay, but again, you're seeing a window into the depraved sexual nature. And
so how is that my issue? Fix it yourself, you weirdo.
Okay, but you're right. That could be an attitude, and that has been the attitude the last 30 years. Where has it gotten us? Less people married, less people in happy relationships. So both sides have work to do. If you were a panel of men, I'd be talking completely different.
Are you saying it's a woman's
it's both.
job to fix men from being depraved, or what are you saying
I have an entire
here?
chapter of this book about how we should ban.
Sign that for me later, I'll buy it.
You're getting close to earning it.
I earned it.
So,
I earned it.
but no, I have an entire chapter of this book on how men need to stop watching and stop being.
No, I agree. I don't watch
both sides
pornography at all. I don't think anyone
both sides
should.
have growth to do.
I don't
but
think
we're here at
anyone
a
should.
female-driven panel, so I'm trying to.
No.
You know.
Well, hold
so
on.
Anyway.
Let me throw a little hand.
Anyway,
Wait, so
yes.
you
I'm
wanna
way over
ban-
time, but yeah.
You want to ban
Yes,
I agree.
absolutely.
I totally
you're in
agree.
You agree?
I agree.
But so you're on OnlyFans, so help me
Yeah, but I
reconcile
don't
that.
do pornography.
Is it lingerie, you said?
Yeah.
It's borderline, but yeah.
Yeah,
so,
borderline, but it's a Victoria's Secret model.
Fair
You can't-
enough. Yeah, okay.
so.
You do OnlyFans. Are you in favor? Do you object to Charlie's position on banning,
Yeah.
which would correspondingly, you're in favor of it?
You earned
Wait,
a book
do
with
you
your
mean
stance.
like if I'm like against it?
Like Kit Kat, Julie. Send
So
her.
he wants to ban, so you'd be banning what you do.
Oh, then no.
I'm so excited.
I say, Julie, ban.
I'm taking this all the way back. I'm taking this all the way back to Canada.
It literally says Julie ban.
Back to Canada.
All the way back
Speaking
to
of
Canada.
Charlie, do you think we should annex Canada?
No.
No, I don't want Canada.
Oh, okay.
No.
Nobody wants
No.
Canada. I hate it there too.
Do you
Don't
have
worry.
time for just a few more questions?
Yeah, like I got like five minutes.
is
yeah.
okay?
That was
Okay.
really good though, guys. But think about, I'm just saying that you have to then act in the direction of the man you want.
Yeah,
and men have
100%.
to act in the direction of the woman they want.
I agree.
And at some point, maybe romantically, we can meet halfway.
What
Romantically, I can
if
get my
Hold on.
boobs
what if it's a man who wants an OnlyFans girl and an OnlyFans girl who
Then
wants
he's a
man?
degenerate.
I do want to shift gears here.
But you, of course, you
bit.
get what you want,
Shift
but that's
gears
not
here.
what one ought want. Okay?
By the way, those watching,
they want.
afterwards, we do have Andrew Wilson. He's going to do a call-in once Charlie has to go.
My
but
king.
I do want to ask, going around the table to open something else up to the table, would you date a guy who owned firearms?
Yeah.
Yep.
I think so.
Of course.
love me so
Depends.
Yes.
AR-15.
We had this conversation
less
before. I don't know
spooky.
enough about guns to have an opinion.
It's the big, scary black one.
That scares me. So probably not.
All right.
Yes, absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, man. All right. Okay. Well,
Good talk.
I got to run.
Yes,
so can I just say
absolutely.
one thing in closing, though?
Go for it.
There's a lot of attention towards that men need to be better men, and that's a thing. I think that women are exempt far too often in that conversation.
Women
you guys,
can be better women.
There you go. And so
And
you
so
have to
can man.
take it as a good sport.
I'm so happy. Thank you.
The most
so
important
much.
thing you can do is give your life to Jesus and to give your life to God. See, she rolls her eyes. It's
Take
just
the book back.
take it back.
read the book
to
because here's why.
gonna spread the
Jesus
word.
loves you and he died for you.
I'm
and
sure
thank you
he
guys for
loves
having
me, but let me find it out on my own, please.
You could find it out on your own.
One question
you.
about the book, if that's
Yes.
cool. In the book, is there a specific chapter about dating?
Oh yeah,
in
no,
there?
there's actually a whole thing about life advice for men and women.
I'm super excited to read this. It's actually not even funny.
You're going to read it?
No, I think you'll actually.
Of course I'm gonna read it.
I think you'll actually enjoy part of it. Blake, what
No.
part of the book is that?
I'm
trying to
gonna
find
read
it.
the hell out of it. Are you
Which
joking?
chapter?
What's
I
the
have to
love
find
book
it.
you read?
Somebody said there
It's
was a
it's
segment.
advice for women and
Ethics
advice
of
for men.
abortion. I don't know.
Changing yourself. Yeah. It's here. Advice for men and women, right here.
Should we do read a paragraph?
No, not.
Oh yeah,
not-
that's
like
how
a
about,
book
how about this?
popcorn reading?
ASMR?
Date seriously right away with an eye towards marriage and family, which we talked about. If your goal is to put family and children above your career, avoid an educational path that has too much debt. Watch your weight and do your best to maintain your attractiveness.
I like weight.
Listen to your parents, especially your mom, and don't be afraid to ask her for advice.
She was crazy though.
Do you have a dad?
Yeah, but he was.
Does your dad love you?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, then ask him for advice.
What else you got there?
Volunteer to help out your Sunday school nursery. You can laugh at that, but it's a great way to see if you like
It's a
kids or
good
not.
segment. Thank you, Charlie, for
Thanks,
joining
guys.
us.
Thank you so
Appreciate it.
much. Thank
Charlie
you.
Kirk is. Wait, one sec. Oh, sorry. Hold on. I gotta play this.
Buy the book, everybody.
Guys, get the book. Charlie, I gotta play
yeah?
this right before you leave. Wait.
If
Hold on.
someone wants to pay
Wait.
extra-
Stop. Okay.
He's a brave and a decent man. He's a pioneer.
He's a pioneer. Thank you for coming, Charlie.
He's a
Good to have you.
pioneer.